Here's the thing. I became infamous on the internet in 2016 for accidentally beating off on camera. Now, luckily, nothing was shown. There was absolutely nothing exposed to the internet. It was just me doing my own thing.
Hello.
I went viral for it.
For now.
I just want the bust. Oh, man. Bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust. Oh my God, look how big he is. Oh my God. Wow. That thing is a monster. I just want the bust. Oh man. Bust. Give me the monster. Wow, it's big. Bust. I just want the give me the monster. I just want the
Okay, wait, hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. This okay, so I just noticed this. I don't know if you guys know Mr. Stuff on Twitter uploads like old archived like DSP stuff, some unrecorded stuff, some old shit. His YouTube's gone. Huh? What happened? How long has this been like this? That's pretty weird. That sucks. There was a bunch of that's like the second time this has happened now. So that sucked. That sucked, dude.
I just want the bust. I just want the bust. Oh!
Okay, we might as well get started then. We might as well. Shoutouts to my Elden Ringers in chat. Yosuke Higashikata, Ghost Hunter, Francisco, Damon Vector, Ditch Wizard, hello. C, Jay Wasso. Who's poppin'? Hello, Dooley. Welcome, guys. King B. Cruel. What's up? Okay, so yeah, like I said, Mr. Stuff, Mr. Huth Stuff, formerly known as, his YouTube's gone. I don't know what happened. I don't know how long it's been like that, sadly. I just noticed. I was gonna play a video just to start the stream instead of music, and his channel's gone. That sucks. Okay, anyways, let's get into what we're doing today. So I want to watch his stupid Elden Ringers thing. You guys already know. And we will be watching the level 1 live. It's probably gonna be trash, but you know, that's nothing new anyways. And I don't want to just sit here and watch him, so I'm gonna be playing something in the stream. I hope that's okay. But yeah, let's just get started. Why not? Let's go. Hello guys, welcome.
All right. So we got so much to talk about, really. We've got a ton to talk about. How about this? How about we start at the beginning, meaning going back to Wednesday, because I want to address something that apparently happened on my day off that I wasn't aware of, but happens all the time. As you know.
Oh, right. I probably should explain. Someone made a video. I see someone. We could find it. It's like someone made a video, DSP Gaming calls Elden... Oh my God, what happened? That was so quiet. What was that? Dude, thank you, Jesus Christ, for the 5 gifted fucking memberships, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, Josh Prime Gaming. Okay, Josh Prime Gaming made a video. I haven't seen it. I feel like I don't have to see it. Thank you again, Jesus Christ. DSP was calling the Elden Ring thing a scam, kind of, maybe, not really, and it got 42,000 with an L views.
The DLC is $39.99. Meaningful content.
Thank you. Jesus Christ. And then he does this face, clown mode. Anyway, so that got a bunch of views. He started getting comments.
I'm getting too much money.
And,
I'm getting too much money.
Happening? What the fuck is going on? Anyway, okay, thank you. And so then DSP is now gonna respond to it.
A ton of people on the internet who just basically
that's
are
basically what happened.
To always make me look bad no matter what it is I say and do. I'm constantly misrepresented. I'm constantly misreferenced, and I'm constantly held in a negative light, even though there's really no valid reason for it.
There's no
now,
valid
if there's a valid reason for it, that's one thing. But we've got a case here where literally, apparently, there's a group of people who are really angry with me, and I don't know why, because literally what they're angry at me for didn't happen.
Getting too much money.
Dude, Ghost Hunter with the 5 gifted memberships. Why is the member bomb alert not playing? What the? I switched to Firefox recently, and I think that's fucking with some of my stuff.
Getting too much money.
I don't know, dude. Thanks, Firefox. Thank you, Ghost Hunter, dude. I like Firefox, though. Ghost Hunter, thank you so much, dude.
Well, you know, I'm gay.
Yes.
I'm him.
Thank you.
Okay? Let's recap.
And
go back to Wednesdays.
I didn't even have to recap it because he'll do it for you.
Show.
Okay, let's go.
All right. On this very show, the Level 1 podcast, back on Wednesday, I had a big segment about Elden Ring's DLC.
Now it's King Bee Cruel. Yeah, my alerts are all fucking out. This keeps happening. I think Firefox messed with my shit. Thank you, King Bee Cruel.
I'm him.
A la Bloodborne.
You get a big juicy
too much
butt.
money.
Big juicy butt.
That's what you get, and you get a haha.
Out of the Erd Tree.
I'm sorry,
At
King
that
Bee Cruel.
moment when I record the podcast, which is starting around 11 a.m., okay, 11 a.m. Pacific time, all right, I talked about everything that was known at the time about this DLC. The price, the features, because we had seen some of those features shown in the release trailer, and speculation. At that point, 11 a.m. Pacific time, the trailer for this DLC had only been present on the internet for 4 hours. It had released around 7 a.m. There was no other information.
Yeah, so this right here is a lie. The interview was timed to come out right around when the trailer came out. It was like an IGN interview or something with Miyazaki, the director of Elden Ring. And so the information was there. And also, like, if you don't know all the information, why would you start? Like, the thing is, it's his news segment. So if it's supposed to be a news segment, then why are you covering it as if you know all the information and you're making guesses? Like, you're implying they're well-informed guesses and, like, you know what you're talking about. But you don't really, because you haven't even looked up all the information. It's not that difficult to just see the interview was around when the trailer came out.
Everything was speculation. Now, ended up,
and like, as if that makes it better, like, as if you saying the information wasn't out there makes your takes any worse. Like, as if that makes it any better. Like, what? That your takes are still bad. Calling it a scam without you even knowing, like, what it is? Ah, you see, he never said it was a scam. He implied it. He never said it.
Happening was, over the course of the day, more information was released because Miyazaki, the guy behind Elden Ring and other FromSoft games, was interviewed.
Thank you, BB11, for staying a member, dude. Appreciate it.
And when he was interviewed, he gave a ton of additional information about the DLC that was all positive stuff that, number one, is exactly what Elden Ring fans are looking for, and number two, actually answered a lot of the questions that we posed together when we were talking about this DLC back on Wednesday. So let's recap.
Let's recap.
Originally, when we were talking about this Shadow of the Erd Tree DLC, right, we were talking about some of the things that we actually saw in it, which included a new boss, you know, some new gameplay elements, etc., etc. Who is Mesmer the Impaler, right? The fact that you can access the DLC, where when you find Miquella, and Miquella's body is in that rotted cocoon down in the Moog's blood palace and stuff like that.
Spoilers.
So basically, we were discussing all of that in detail, lots of hype. And by the way, if you put it into perspective, the entire segment was hype. My entire border for Wednesday was
dumb.
Elden Ring. In
this
fact,
is so fucking dumb.
if I could just bring it up quickly, let me find it.
Oh my god. Boomer mode.
Well, now of course I can't find it because I want to do it fast. Now I can't find it.
Great.
Oh,
what
here
are
it is.
hotkeys? I don't know what hotkeys are. I don't know. What is that?
This was my border on Wednesday. Now, if you don't think that I'm hyped for this DLC,
now this is so dumb because what the like, who gives a shit? This dude is the guy that wears unlicensed Nintendo T-shirts with like an Italian Mario pizza dude and like the Beatles Mario shirt. Like, this shit's not from Nintendo, really. I don't like. What the fuck does this even matter? Look, did you guys not see? I had like, you know, like images of the game. That means I like the game, stupid. Like, what? I don't know, dude. Whatever. Look at this piece. Like, he has a Vault Boy thing. He never even played Fallout 76. or whatever. Like, what a big fan you are. I don't, like, you see what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. It literally
Positive
doesn't
about it.
matter.
Why would I make my whole border characters from FromSoft games with Elden Ring at the top?
Because you're pretending
If
to
you're
be
not
a
even
gaming
aware,
guy.
which you might not be, Elden Ring was my runner-up for Game of the Year when it came
Wow.
out. It was a very close battle that year for what game was going to win Game of the Year for me. I love Elden Ring. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I have DSP dancing at the corner of my screen. Obviously, I'm a big DSP fan. So everything I say, it comes from a place of love, dude.
I even said in the podcast on Wednesday, hey, I'm actually going to be playing Elden Ring again in May because we've had a playthrough that we were doing of it last year. It was my second ever run. It was a magic-based run. We had gotten all the way up to the Corrupted Dragon, which is that optional boss, the Lich Dragon or whatever. We had beaten him, but we hadn't gone ahead past that. Basically, we froze after beating the capital city and then beating that Lich Dragon.
Yeah, I'm 1 minute,
We didn't continue on because there's other optional stuff to do. We didn't get to the Blood Palace or anything like that yet. But now that we know, excuse me, that the DLC is coming out June 21st, hey, now we have opportunity to say, let's maybe pick up the Elden Ring second run in May. Let's finish it up, or at least get close to the end and get to the Blood Palace. Let's beat Moog with this new magic build, and then let's get set up for the DLC. And the other thing that we actually did, I praised Elden Ring, saying, this is a good game because you could respec whenever you want. So let's say we start this DLC and the magic build's feeling overpowered, or maybe immediately you find a new weapon and you want to try to use it, you could just go back and respec and use it.
What does this have to do with anything?
That's the great thing about this game, right? So I'm under the impression that most of the things I said about the Elden Ring DLC on Wednesday were very, very positive, right? The one thing that was a question mark for me was the price. It's a $40 DLC. That's the most expensive ever expansion for a FromSoft game, or I should say a Elden Ring, for a Soulsborne style game. And in previous iterations, if you looked at the price of DLCs that they had released, I think the most expensive one had been like 20. Don't quote me on that because I might be wrong.
Don't quote me. Don't quote me. Yo, I'm about to respond to this dude's video. I'm not going to do any research to respond. I'm just going to talk out of my ass. Like, why wouldn't you even look up the price of the thing before you even talk about it? I don't know, dude.
DLCs would be around 10 to 15 hours long. So I'm thinking,
so
man,
annoying.
If this DLC is $40, you've got to think it's probably going to be pretty lengthy. Like if the original game was $70, well, if it was 60, I can't remember. But, and the original game was...
Like, okay, so before he continues, like this whole rant is really ridiculous because all he has to say is, whoa, $40, that's a lot of money. Let's hope it's good. That's it. Something like that. I think I saw that on Twitter. Someone else said that, but I was also thinking the same thing. But instead, he goes on this long-winded rant about how the most expensive thing they had before was only $20, and therefore this time it could be a scam because the bundle is $80. If you buy the bundle of Elden Ring with the DLC, it's a scam. Like, what the fuck? Why do you have to say any of this, dude? And also, it's a news segment. I love to point out it's a news segment. This is supposed to be the news, right? Why are you telling me all this weird fucking shit, dude?
80 to 100 hours long. Then you would think that this DLC would probably minimum be 40 hours long, right? Maybe even longer than that, right?
Thank you, Incorrect Beans.
Again, my question was, I don't know. I'm curious,
and that's not what he said. And that's already a retcon. Because if he had said that, nobody would have said anything. But he didn't just say, well, I'm curious about the price. He didn't say that. He was shitting on the price, calling it a scam. Kind of. Should I pull up the clip? I don't even know. I have to find it.
This DLC...
I don't know. You guys know. I'm not even going to do it. It's not worth it. Just trust me. He was implying it was a scam.
DLC will be.
Because the bundle is $80.
Hopefully it's not a ripoff. Hopefully it's not, because we realize there's so much hype for this DLC that we're going to charge whatever we want, right? Now, I know for a fact that Elden Ring has been very inexpensive to buy. I just don't think it's been the digital version, but I know that Elden Ring's been inexpensive to buy because I've seen copies of it listed online for very cheap, like 10 or 20 bucks, okay? But what happens is these digital marketplaces overinflate the price of the games and never drop them. So...
Well,
during the actual show,
yes and no.
I attempted to go into the store and see what's the price, and I couldn't figure it out. And people revealed, it's still $40. I'm like, wow, that's kind of a lot. 2 years later, to be charging $40 for this
It's not
game,
a lot.
all right? But actually, if you look online, you can
it.
get copies used for like $10, $20. I've seen it actually like clearance on sale online for like $10, $20 new, but it depends on the time of year and where you're buying it from, okay? But anyway, so this is what we talked about on the show on Wednesday. Very, very positive. I'm excited for this DLC. It looks great to me, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm already making plans to return.
All right, whatever. I'm going to play Fallout 76, guys. I hope that's okay. Big ups Fallout 76. It's okay now.
Turned to Elden Ring in May because of it.
Big ups.
So that's where we left it, right? So yesterday, as you know, I check comments that are coming in on my videos from time to time. I have to approve a bunch of them. And I start to notice a pattern. All of a sudden, I start seeing a bunch of really negative comments coming in on my podcast from yesterday. I'm like, what is going on? Where are all these negative comments coming from? All right. And they're all around the same topic. Okay?
So that's interesting too, because obviously we already knew he read the comments, but dude, like he for sure just reads them. So you can just type whatever you want and he sees all of them. He literally goes through all the comments.
You are misinformed about the Elden Ring DLC. Why are you spreading mass information about the Elden Ring DLC?
Mass information.
What is this hot take that you have about the Elden Ring DLC?
Started a new save, by the way.
It's completely wrong. You're an old dinosaur who doesn't know what he's talking about, and you're just trying to create clickbait.
Huh?
Huh? What?
What?
So I went back and I looked at the video. The title of the video is like huge gaming news, Elden Ring DLC. It doesn't say Elden Ring DLC sucks. Elden Ring DLC is a ripoff. You know, it doesn't say any of that. It's actually a very positive
What?
titling of the video. If you actually look at the description of the video, there's timestamps. It'll tell you directly where to start watching my segment about the Elden Ring DLC. Okay? So there's really no excuse for someone to be misinformed about what's said in the podcast.
What?
It doesn't have a clickbait title that's erroneous or
What?
negative for the sake of getting people to
Like
click
as
on
if
it.
that
And
oh
you
my
can
God.
easily
Whatever.
access that segment of the show by looking at the timestamp in the description.
Yeah,
And
I don't
so
know.
I'm like
as if any of that is even relevant. Oh, I didn't put a clickbait title, therefore you can't make fun of me. What? Okay.
I'm really confused.
He's so confused.
I continue to read the comments, and it's so ridiculous. It's like, so you're slamming the Elden Ring DLC for being $40, but how dare you slam a DLC that's 60 gigabytes in size, the size of the entirety of the map of Limgrave, DLC with 10 boss fights, 8 new weapons, blah blah blah, and it keeps going on, and all of the comments are kind of like saying this now, and I'm not saying one or two. There's like dozens of comments are coming in like this.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, what happened? I'm like, I think I know what happened. Someone, of course, probably one of my idiotic haters, probably posted up an out of context clip or reference to my podcast. Basically, maybe taking the one segment where I was speculating and saying, man, I hope it's worth $40 because it could be a ripoff. Maybe they're going to just overcharge for it because you've been waiting for so long and they know there's so much hype. Now, that was one tiny moment of speculation.
Wait a minute.
Amongst a giant segment of...
Dude, he just started it by saying he was super positive about it. He never said anything bad and he didn't use clickbait. But now there's a tiny moment of speculation and an idiot troll made a video about it. Like, dude, I don't know. Let's let him cook, I guess. Let's
my
keep
podcast
going.
that was incredibly
Whatever.
positive about this DLC. But how much do you want to bet that's the clip that was taken? And likely they went to, like, for example, what do you call it? They probably went to like a Reddit or something. Right? Like a fan Reddit or something like that and posted it up there. So basically, these are people who are like adamantly looking to defend their game against people who slander it. Okay? Now, I'm not the biggest fanboy of Elden Ring. I'm a fan.
He's not the biggest Elden Ringer
when it came out.
He doesn't have the Elden Ring worm.
I had a ton of very positive things to say about it when it came out. I mean, it was my most played game of the year.
Yeah, like again. I don't know. He's like flexing hours played. What? Why is that relevant? Why the fuck is that relevant in any of this? I don't know. This is him wanting to be taken seriously. It's all just like a power thing. Like he wants to be seen as a real YouTuber, like Angry Joe or something, where people go to him for opinions. And then he says dumb shit, gets called out for it, and then he tries to flex his like gaming prowess on people. Like what? The fuck does this matter?
Yes, I put more hours into Elden Ring in 2022 than any other game that year, including multiplayer games. I still played Elden Ring more. All right.
Wow.
It was my runner-up for Game of the Year.
Wow.
But I did have some criticisms of it. I think I have the right to fairly criticize it.
There you go. He wants the right to criticize it. He wants to be able to say whatever the fuck he wants without anybody calling you out. Like, bro, dude, the crazy thing is that he posts this shit on YouTube. Like, once you say shit on YouTube, people can, like, respond to you. People can react to the things you say. You want to just say shit into the void and nobody interacts with you? You don't want anybody talking back? Like, what the fuck do you want? I don't understand. Like, you posted it on YouTube. You put your opinion out there. When you put yourself out there, you're open to criticism. Like, including, like, everybody who does that. I don't understand.
Game, and I feel like I did fairly criticize it when it came out.
Fairly criticize it. Yeah, his criticisms were all related to the money that he was making, too. He hated the game when he started making less money. And also, go back and watch him play it. He really didn't like that game. So I don't even know why it was second on his Game of the Year list. He only put it there because I think he thought people would get upset if he didn't put it there. Like, it's such a bullshit game that he put on there because he didn't like that game.
I really don't feel like I was overly unfair to it. I just thought that there was a lot of things that could have been improved. That's not the point of this video, so I don't need to list them here. You understand? You can watch my review of the game that I made in 2022 if you want to hear that.
This game runs like ass, dude.
But basically, to me, like, I'm like, so what really happened, right? And
whatever.
Exactly. Agent Coop says you even started a second run. How could anyone say there's Elden Ring hate on this channel?
Wow.
But again, this is exactly the situation I live in. You guys got to understand, especially those of you who maybe are newer comers here, and you ask questions such as, why do so many people hate Darkside Phil? This is why.
This is why.
Because completely out of my power, completely out of the realm of...
Again, with the out of my power shit. Dude, you posted it online. You posted shit on the internet. People can do whatever they want. They can respond to you. It's not like against the law, dude.
Anything that I've done wrong or can control, people always misrepresent me in the eyes of the public. And they'll say that I did things I didn't do. They'll say I said things I didn't say. They'll take things out of context, right? They'll take rage moments from me playing a night of fighting games where maybe twice I rage, and they'll say that was the whole stream, right? That's what they do. And so how do you combat that?
I don't get it. I've said this before, but he doesn't see a problem with... It's not him saying what he said. It's the fact that you spread what he said. That's the problem. Somehow that's the problem. How do you not see that that's like a issue with you? It's not what I said. It's the fact that you're spreading what I said.
Sadly, people on the...
Like, again, you posted on YouTube, right? People are supposed to watch this. You want people to watch this, right? I don't get it. I really don't.
Are so willing to become like this big defense force for the games that they're massive fans of, and they don't do any research. Because in reality, all these people that came to the video and watched it and attacked it in the comments, because the video now has like over 1,300 views. Just so you guys know, my podcast typically gets 300 to 500 views a day. That's it. If it's a more important thing, maybe up to 1,000.
And then this
one obviously has big inflated views by the hundreds.
So this is interesting too, because this is the same excuse he used when he tweeted about State of Decay 2. When his Paige Shill tweet about State of Decay 2, he said like, "Oh, it's intended for my little audience," like as if that makes it any better. So what if it's an audience of 500 or an audience of 1 million? Like, why does it being less people mean it's any better? That's just, I don't know. It's just like how he runs his cult. He doesn't want anybody to actually engage or watch with what he releases, but also at the same time, he wants you to engage and react to what he releases. But only if you're in the cult, not if you're just some guy.
So someone posted it somewhere and people came over to attack it negatively, right? So where did this come from? Right?
Where did this come from?
I hate to say it, people on the internet are far too leaning towards being so into defending things they like for no good reason. All right? You don't need to defend Elden Ring. Everyone knows it's good. Right? I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, wow, Elden Ring is terrible. Who's going to say that? It's objectively good.
You did.
It may not be everyone's favorite game, but it's still objectively good.
I could swear... Watching him play that a little bit, I've heard him say, "This game sucks, dude. This game fucking sucks. This game sucks." I've heard him say that multiple times.
You don't need to
Verbatim.
go defend it, especially on a podcast like mine. So, you know, I don't get a ton of views. I'm not a popular
There you
guy.
go. I'm the
No
small
one's
guy.
really listening.
This dude loves throwing stones from a glass house. That's all he is. That's his existence. You cannot ever say anything about him, or else you're bullying me. But I can say whatever the fuck I want.
to my
Great.
opinions as a
Cool.
revelation of something they didn't realize before. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't even make much sense to me that this would be a big thing. And I don't understand why people fall for it either. Because it's a trick, is what it is. It's, oh, you fell into the black hole of hating on Darkside Phil because someone tricked you into thinking he said something he didn't do. Because in truth, the things that, again, the comments people were leaving on the podcast don't even make sense. They're acting like I don't like
Why
Elden
is he
Ring.
white?
If you actually just watched the podcast, you would know I do.
Oh.
I say right in the podcast, I'm doing a second run, can't wait to get back into it, so many positives, excited to jump back in. How could you think I hate the game?
I don't know, dude.
Or I'm misrepresenting the game in a negative
Maybe it's
light
because of the things that you were saying. How is he confused by this?
on purpose, for clickbait views. What clickbait views did I get? I don't even understand what they're talking about. But the thing that really kills me,
Dude, this dude sucks, man.
okay, is a lot of the things that people reference to say, oh, you were wrong, is information that wasn't publicly available when I did my podcast on Wednesday. Right now, it's 11:26 a.m. This podcast starts between 11:10 a.m. At 11:10 a.m.
He's lost the sauce, dude.
Wednesday.
I have no... Like, he's talking about the time his podcast starts. What the fuck am I listening to?
Day, the 21st of February, none of the information about this DLC that people are using to reference and say, oh, you're wrong, was available. No one knew it was 60
No one
gigabytes
knew.
in size.
No one
No
knew.
one knew the
No
map
one
would
knew.
be the size.
Yeah, I saw it on... I saw the article's, like, timestamp. The time the article came out, it was out. It was already out. It was already out by the time he did his podcast. It was out before that. So I don't know why he's saying any of this. I don't know, dude. Maybe do some fucking research for your news segment.
Of Limgrave from the
Thank you,
original
dude.
game. No one knew there were 10 bosses. No one knew there were 8 new weapons. No one knew anything. This came out in an interview with Miyazaki later in the day. I think it was IGN, but don't quote me on that. I think it was. But it came out and then it's like, wow, this is all awesome, positive information about the DLC, and it literally answers all the questions that we had about it. So now I'm even more sold on this DLC. If you're telling me it's going to be a minimum
man.
of the size of Limgrave,
Now he's backpedaling. Now he's backpedaling on what he did. Like, dude, you could have done this yesterday or whenever the fuck he did it. All the information was there, dude. Come on.
oh, by the way, this is what sells it for me. Miyazaki outright said in the interview, this has tons of legacy dungeons. The major focus of the DLC is legacy dungeons. Like, that's what they worked on. Now, what was my favorite part of Elden Ring? The legacy dungeons. I wasn't really having too much fun in the open world. I felt the open world after, maybe Limgrave.
Okay.
And
do I care? Like, did I ask?
And what's the name of the magical area? I've already forgotten. And of
Nice.
course, I did like the capital city. But after you get through those areas, right? I felt like it was just kind of too redone, especially that whole final third of the game in the frozen area at the Land of the Giants. I didn't like that at all, okay? My favorite part was going into a dungeon that felt like it was Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Those were my favorite parts. They were hand curated by the developers of the game to be interesting, challenging experiences. I loved those. Give me more legacy dungeons, give me less open world, and give me less of the very randomly generated boring dungeons, right? They're not randomly generated, but they're ones that are very repetitive and boring, the ones that look like the crypts or the caves or whatever. I didn't really like those. Give me the legacy dungeons. And Miyazaki outright said there's a lot of these legacy dungeons in the DLC. You are preaching to the choir now, like that's exactly what I wanted. So now I'm even more pumped for the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC.
Dude, if I remember right, when he was talking about it, it was his chat that told him it was going to be legacy dungeons or whatever. And then he reacted and said, oh, that's so great. That's great to hear. How the fuck did your chat know, but you didn't know? I thought the information wasn't available. I thought there was no information. How the fuck did your chat tell you anything?
When it comes in June. Like, I feel like this is a feature of my year now.
Whatever.
It went from being, okay, I'm interested, but I wonder what it's going to be, to, wow, now I'm actually really excited. Okay? But again, why are people coming to my podcast telling me I'm misrepresenting the game, I'm hating on the game, this is a hot take for clickbait views, and leaving dozens of negative comments, voting the video down? And I'm like, what is happening? You tell me. It's nonsense. All right? And at least I'm happy now that we could talk about it today and actually talk about more of the positives about the DLC because I'm excited for it. But why does it have to be the result of a bunch of people coming and crapping all over me? Because you know what it is? Now there's another 500 to 1,000 people who hate me on the internet, right? They outright think I'm a jerk because I crapped all over Elden Ring. They didn't even bother to watch my podcast and see what I said. Someone told them I said it, linked it, and they just went right to the video and left a nasty comment.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's so dumb, dude.
What kind of a mentality is that? What kind of a person can you be to judge someone before you've even said what they've said? You didn't even bother to click play to see what was said in the podcast because there's no way you could watch that segment and come out of the other side of that podcast thinking that I hate Elden Ring and I'm crapping all over it for clickbait.
Yeah, he's exaggerating.
Not even present.
He's exaggerating you. They're making fun of you because of the take that you were implying that it was a scam. That's what they're making fun of you about. I don't understand what it even matters if people think you hate the game. I don't, like, who gives a fuck? That's not relevant to anything. Like, shut up.
In the video at all, right? So anyway, I got it out of the way. Listen, I'm excited for the Elden Ring DLC.
Great.
Really, I like all the additional information. 10 new bosses, that's a ton. 8 new weapons. I'm sure in those 8 weapons, there'll be 1 or 2 I want to try, so I might respec during the DLC and try them. That's awesome. Legacy dungeons are right up my alley. And if you remember Limgrave, that's the starting area of Elden Ring. That's the main area. There's 2 southern island areas to it that are optional, right? To the east, you go further and you get towards Caelid, but that's still considered Limgrave. And then there's the entire castle. That's at least, at a minimum, 20 hours of content, just the overworld. Now, if you're talking, there's dungeons and things in there. Remember, there's the underground well, right? There's that. And if there's more of those, just think about that. This is probably going to be 40 hours. That's great then. If it really is $1 an hour, I'm okay with that. Give me 40 hours of content for the $40 DLC price. I'll be very pleased. So, to me, everything is sounding great about this to me. Like, I really am excited and I cannot wait. I now feel like I now really feel like we're going to be in a situation where
Dude, come on.
This is a feature of the year. Coming back to Elden Ring in May to continue my magic run. Not necessarily finishing, because do we really need to go back to the Hallig Tree and do that with the magic run? We don't really need to. We can if we want to, but for us, it's just getting all the other content done and getting to the Blood Palace and beating Moog, which is going to be a challenge in itself. Doing all that with the magic run is really the focus. So doing that by, say, the end to mid-June, and then the DLC coming out June 21st, you know I'm all about it, right? So, very excited for that, and I hope that you guys will join me for that fun later in the year, all right? But as for these people who are misinformed, all I can say is, please do more research before you come crap on someone. I'm literally, of course, my first reaction is, oh, this is just a bunch of...
Dude, what? Like, he's telling people to do more research before crapping on me. But he can crap, quote-unquote, on a game before doing any research. So it's okay for him to talk out of his ass and say whatever the fuck he wants, but it's not okay for you to make fun of him without doing more research. Okay. Yeah, that's nice news segment. That's awesome.
But then as I start to read more of the comments, I realize it's not. These are people who actually really like Elden Ring, and they're pissed at me for something I didn't do. Nothing I ever said. I'm really head-scratching. Like, why would you be so adamant to jump down someone's throat and defend something when you don't even know what they said? You just immediately go into defense mode before even watching the podcast you're commenting on. That's
wait a minute. What? Okay, did he watch the video? Like, bro, did you watch the video, right? Because in his own little speech now, he's saying it's an idiot troll and he doesn't care what they say. So with your own logic, you didn't watch the video of people crapping on you, of the guy crapping on you. So how about you do a little research before responding to the video that you're trying to pretend that you didn't watch? I don't get it. I'm lost.
Dang.
I'm lost. I'm so lost. Whatever. Fuck you.
Anyway. That's the case. That's what happened. That's out of the way. All right. Wednesday was a great streaming day. Great progress in Baldur's Gate 3. We'll pick up with that today. And the night stream was Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. We did a ton of side questing, a lot of fun stuff there. Continuing on with that later in the week. Really nothing to recap that much from Wednesday because it
Yeah,
was,
like, did you research the input delay on Street Fighter? Remember when that Digital Foundry video or whatever the fuck came out about the input delay? And he was like, no, that's false. That's false. He was just saying that's false. What kind of fucking research is that, dude? What research did you do to like come to that conclusion? He shits on the game before doing
just
research.
a solid
Wow.
shooting day of RPG stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to game news, before we get to the schedule, I think it's time for us to do a little segment that I like to call
Great.
Phil's Day Off.
Phil's day off. Okay, we'll watch this.
Let's talk
Why
about
not?
what I did yesterday on my day off, shall we? Because
speed
we
it
actually
up.
have some interesting and positive updates to give you guys. All right. First of all, yesterday was a very busy day
Hey, do
where I
this.
was absolutely running around doing errands all day long. Okay? As you can see, I got a haircut was one of the errands that I did.
I
Out of
got
many.
a haircut.
We had to restock the house because we had actually been out of a lot of commodity
Big ups.
products, like paper products and things like that. So we had to go like Costco and many other things. So we were out and about for a very large portion of the day. And it was tiring to do that.
It was
but the weather was
tiring.
nice. It was actually sunny and cool. So we had some good weather for it. While we were out, is there anything notable to really mention from when we were out? Just a couple of things. First thing, we just happened to be at the local mall because we were going to actually eat dinner there. And we happened to just walk into Sears.
How do I fucking
Okay? Now,
insert
for those who
this?
don't know, Sears or Sears Roebuck and Company
Oh my god.
is one of the longest
For those who don't know what Sears is, are you fucking kidding me?
running department stores in the United States of America. At one
Oh
point, they were
my
huge.
god.
They were synonymous.
Now, we went to Walmart. I don't know if you don't know what Walmart is.
with like
shut
the big
up,
shopping
man.
experiences in the United States.
God.
You had Sears, you had Macy's, you know, those kind of ginormous department stores.
Fuck, he's so
And-
annoying.
Some people in chat, very rightly so, are saying Sears. Sears is still open.
What is Sears?
Yes and no. Okay.
Yes and
Yes
no.
and no.
Yes and no.
Right?
Is Sears still open? Yes and no, but also we went to the store. How the fuck is it not open? How the fuck is it not open? You just told us you went there, you piece of shit. What the fuck?
Basically, Sears is on its way out and going out of business.
Oh, it's going out of business.
But
Therefore, it's
there's
still open.
3 locations left, and my local mall has one of them.
Fuck, dude.
So my wife and I hadn't
I
been in
insert
Sears in
this?
like a couple of years actually. I think last time we were in Sears, I think we were looking for slippers for me in like the fall because my slippers had worn out, and we know that department stores are sometimes places that seasonally
Yeah,
have
mini
them.
rage.
And we had gone in there, and even then, like 2 years ago when we had gone in there, they were massively understaffed.
Oh my god. Now he's making
They
fun of Sears.
Barely had like the product was very disorganized, right? The store was in shambles.
Nice.
So we go in there just on a whim to see what is Sears like today.
It's like
Wow.
Seattle, dude. It's like Gotham City.
Is all I have to say.
Wow.
So we go into this Sears, and at the door is exercise equipment. Now, this doesn't make sense. This is the ground level of the mall, where
Hey,
any
Rebsy.
department store on ground level is supposed to have all their clothing and everything, you know, their high-end products. You walk in, it's just
Am I
a bunch
dumb?
of exercise equipment. Huh? And then we look past that,
Huh?
and there's appliances.
Wait,
But then we
what?
look
Hold
past
on.
the on ground level is supposed to have all their clothing and everything, you know, their high-end products. You walk in, it's just a bunch of exercise equipment. Huh? And then we look past
yeah,
that. and there's
what exercise equipment? I don't want to use that. What is that? I'm not gonna use that.
appliances.
Wife, you gonna use
but
that?
Then we look
No.
past that, and there's one row of shoes. And then we look over here, and there's some clothes. And then over here, we see jewelry. On the back wall, we see tool chests. We're like, what?
Huh?
We're like, what is going on? So we actually walk further into the store, and we realize half the store is closed off, roped off, and completely empty.
You should rope
They used
off
to have a
it.
big shoe department in the back. It's gone. They've blocked the entire department off. It doesn't exist anymore. The whole left-hand side of the store is taped off with that yellow hazard tape saying do not cross. And we're like, holy shit. The whole kiosk where you used to check out and customer service removed from the store doesn't exist anymore. Okay? Like, wow, what on earth? So we're like, well, I wonder what's on the other floors. We walk up to the escalator. The escalator up is closed, broken, and they're not going to fix it. The only way to get from floor to floor
How
in
do
the
you know
store
that?
is
What?
to use an old rickety elevator.
Nice.
And I was like, well, I would like to use the rickety elevator, but Kat actually looked at it and was like, I really don't want to use it. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, I'm actually terrified that elevator is going to break on.
Big juicy butt.
Dude, it couldn't handle her. It couldn't handle her, dude.
The way up or down, because the way this store looks, like it looks like this is a store on life support.
Oh,
like
man,
it's
that's
going to
good.
die any second.
The store
And
is
I don't
on
wanna
life
go in there and
support.
be the story on the news that people got stuck in the Sears elevator. And I was like, all right, well, I guess we won't then, because I wanted to actually see if there was stuff on the other floor. Because the thing is, if clothes, shoes, tool chests, appliances, and exercise equipment are all on one floor.
They just play your
What
eyes
else
out,
could be in there? I know that they have like housewares and like bedding. So that's what I was thinking. Like maybe there's housewares, bedding, and maybe like underwear and stuff like on one other floor. And that's it. There used to be 3 floors. Sears used to be like the one-stop shop. Back in the day, they had everything. I mean, anything you could think of for your house was at Sears. Even electronics. They would sell electronics, games, consoles, stuff like that.
I don't remember that.
Music systems, TVs.
I don't know. I didn't live in the 80s.
You know,
dude.
all
I
the
don't know.
appliances in your home. Yeah, the tools and stuff like that. Housewares. You can buy all your stuff for your kitchen in there. Everything for your bathroom in there. Your bedding.
Okay,
everything. Like, they literally had everything in there.
dude. I
mean,
get
that
it.
was
I get
like-
it. Shut up.
It literally reminds you of like going to like
Fuck,
a
man.
hospital, right? And going to see people who are sadly are on the end of their life and they're on life support, just sitting there saying their last goodbyes to people. That's what it feels like walking into the Sears. I was like, oh my God. Like, I can't believe it. Because, again, I gone to Sears my whole life. When I was growing up, I would go to Sears with my parents, and it was a vibrant store full of stuff. I was like,
Right.
what the fuck happened?
Okay.
How did they fall that far? They used to have...
I don't know, dude. Brunel Productions. Whoa, remember when he got like 100,000 views a video? Whoa, how did he fall so far? Like, I don't understand. He just complains about companies. It's all just projection. Every single company rant, YouTube rant, Twitch rant, everything is just him. He's him. It's the same thing. It all applies to himself. It's just like the inside thoughts come out through a different company, not his own.
The Sears
Right.
Wish Book. Does anyone remember the Sears Wish Book at all?
The catalog?
This used to be at the end of the year. Sears would send out a catalog to your house, and it would have all the awesome products that were available for sale at Sears in one thing where it lists them all.
Oh, they got
and the
dogs
whole
in this
purpose of
game now?
catalog was that you and your family members would go through the catalog and select things you're interested in as a Christmas present. So you would give it to your family members, but also other people in your family would do it, and you would exchange wish lists. They had to call it the Wish Book wish list. I did it every year. So my mom would give me the wish book and say, well, anything in here you like for Christmas? I was like, I want this action figure. I'm interested in this game.
Hey, let me guess. You got everything that you always wanted, right? You always got everything, huh? You
And the
spoiled
thing
child?
was, you didn't know half the time what the stuff was. It was like some photographer would come in and like film the action figure
Hey, King
posing and
Jack.
stuff. And the games, forget
the
it.
dog,
I
huh?
actually distinctly remember games would have the wrong screenshots. It would be like, oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it would be a screenshot of like Mega Man. I was like, what the hell is that? So obviously they didn't have the best editors or whatever, people that weren't into all the stuff they were selling. But they had everything. They had like, again, things that you would not think. Guns. There were guns in that.
Whoa.
There were, knives.
It's like Walmart,
Like things that
dude.
kids shouldn't see were all in this wish book. It was just for the whole family. Everyone would select what they want for Christmas. And you could either mail order it or you could go to the physical Sears store near you and buy it as a Christmas present. This was part of Americana. This was a major part of American
Americana.
culture, a tradition everyone was doing around Christmas every year.
Okay,
And
dude, holy fuck. He got that. Dude, oh my god, I'm having like a fucking epiphany. That opinion is from a fucking Angry Video Game Nerd video. Dude, I swear to god, there's an Angry Video Game Nerd video about the winter wish list or some shit. And he goes through the Sears catalog, and that exact same shit that DSP just said is in that video. I swear to god. He just steals his fucking opinions from other people.
and buy it as a Christmas present. This was part of Americana. This was a major part of American culture, a tradition everyone was doing around Christmas every
Dude.
year. And now Sears is dead. It's like, how do you go
Wow.
from being that prominent that
That's
you're actually a part
insane.
of most people's American Christmas lives and traditions
American.
to not existing in the span of like 30 years? That's wild to me. Like, what a horrible mismanagement. If anything, it just shows
It
they
runs like
did not
shit,
know how to
dude.
hang with the internet age. As soon as the internet came out and everyone started doing stuff online, they just...
Wait a minute.
was the end
That
of
kind of
that.
reminds me of you.
But anyway,
Anyway.
so that was eye-opening and shocking for us to see that. For dinner, we had some ramen. We hadn't had ramen in a really long time,
Oh,
so we each
boy.
got a bowl of ramen. I got they
The
call
fuck?
it rich chicken ramen, I think it was called. So the broth was a lot more savory, and it had amazingly delicious dark meat chicken pieces in it. It was ridiculously good. That's probably out of all the ramen that I've had since I lived out here in the last 10 years, that was probably the best one. So I'm probably going to continue to get that style of ramen in the future. I always used to get like the one that has the slice of pork in it, which is fine.
What?
But this chicken was super outstanding, how delicious it was. It really absorbed the flavors of the broth of the ramen. So
what the fuck is
probably
he
gonna
talking about?
Get that. No, not in a cup. This is a gourmet restaurants. There's a lot of restaurants out here that do ramen because where we live, is just outside of Seattle in Washington State. This is a hotbed of Asian culture in the United States.
Asian culture.
All the Asian cultures, when they come to the U.S., they come through our local airport because we're the closest to Asia. So a lot of them just stayed here. They came and said, we're just going to settle here. So we've got all these
I know what he means, but he just said he's the closest to Asia. But I know what he means. But it's
kinds of
funny.
Asian cuisines and things. You know, Vietnamese.
Dude, Seattle's like right next to Asia.
You know, Chinese, Japanese, Indian, you know, all those are right here, and we have a few really good ramen places to go to.
game
We
runs
just
like
happened to
shit.
have
Hold
an
on.
amazing one yesterday. It was so good.
It was so good. Oh man, it was delicious.
The only other thing really of note while we were out, we saw not one, not two,
Not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6.
but 3 different car
And when I say
accidents.
that, I really mean it.
And that's like unprecedented. Like maybe every once in a while around here we'll see like one. One person looked like they had completely driven off the road into a ditch. I don't know why, because it
What?
looked unprecedented. Like maybe every once in a while around here we'll see like one. One person looked like they had completely driven off the road into a
What?
ditch.
You saw an accident?
I don't know why, because there was no accident. They had just driven off the road into a ditch.
You think this is it? Oh, I have Rabsy doing research. Let's go. Holy shit. What do I got like...
And JCPenney will put out these holiday wish books.
Yeah.
So every year it was a tradition to browse through these books and circle all the things that you wanted Santa to bring you.
Holy fuck, dude. He stole this whole video 10 years ago, too. Jeez
Everything
Louise.
you could possibly imagine was in
Yeah,
these
because, dude, the thing about the guns, the thing about the furniture, all of that stuff is in this
books.
video.
There were video games, of course. You'd see all kinds of crap like the Rollin' Rocker and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. For $39.87? That's criminal. Speaking of prices, it's funny that at some point the NES and the Atari 7800 were both the same price. For the 7800, it says it
$80
has
for a
super
console.
responsive joystick.
Anyways, yeah, so that shit's stolen from that video. There's a part about guns, there's a part about the Americana culture, you would share it with your family. Here's the gun part.
Parents what they want, and there were even coloring pages in there. But then there were things like knives and guns. That's terrible that a kid would be flipping through and see that. You'd go from a page that has all kinds of kitty sleeping bags, and right on the
Dude.
other side of the page is a gun cabinet.
Even the way he says it is stolen.
The cops
Are
showed
you
up with a tow
kidding?
truck to try to get their car out, but their car
Holy
was really
shit,
like
dude.
wedged in.
That's
I was like,
crazy.
dude, I don't know how they're gonna get that out in one piece. That thing's probably gonna fall apart. And then going one way down this road, when we were leaving our house, we actually saw someone rear-ended someone else. And then when we were coming back the other way, we saw that someone had also rear-ended someone else on the other side of the street.
Line for line, bar for
Like,
bar.
what happened here? I don't know what happened because it wasn't like you were
Oh,
saying.
man.
Oh, was it like a rainy
Okay,
day?
what's next? He's got timestamps, thankfully. He's got an AI dent in the chat doing timestamps for him. Let's see. Anything else interesting here? Weekly schedule, audio equipment for gaming, co-op gaming. Let's see. Let's see this.
Doko Island Co-op. One of the
Let's see.
All right, at the gamer, I've had enough of you. Really,
What?
I've had enough of you and your toxic attitude.
What?
So if you want to apologize to me later, you can come back. But for now, just leave and don't come
Huh?
back. Okay.
What?
So that's the deal with that. Now there is
Okay.
a positive update. All right. Since the time when we did our Dondoko Island Co-op, one of the problems that we ran into was the audio. And what I mean by that is
What do I mean
basically,
by that?
I have one pair of neck phones. By the way, this is the new pair of neck phones. I should call this out.
Oh my
I
God.
did buy a replacement pair of neck phones. If you remember, these were breaking in January. I had them for about 2.5 years. They weren't charging anymore. So this is a new pair of
I jokingly skipped 5 times speed. And I actually skipped all of his little ramble there.
neck
Holy
phones.
shit.
Okay.
That's crazy.
So when Kat was in here to do that co-op, she was using these neck phones. I was actually really enjoying them. She was like, wow, they're comfy. They sound pretty good. So she was using them while I didn't have any audio. Okay. So basically we were looking for a solution. And after having seen that, a fan contacted us and said, I liked your co-op in Dondoko. It's a shame you didn't both have the audio. I'd like to fix that.
Why does that even matter? Like, when you really think about it, why the fuck do they both need audio for Dondoko Island? And also, you can't just use earbuds, you fucking dumbasses. Like, you got 2 people's brains there. 2 people's brains in the same room, and you fucking idiots couldn't think to use earbuds? 1 each?
So
You
unprompted,
guys are really fucking special, man.
unasked for, a fan got us another pair of neck phones.
Wow.
So now when we go to play our co-op, whatever it may be in the future, because we don't know what the next co-op will be, we're each going to have a pair of neck phones to wear, which is really cool. Okay?
Is it?
So there you go. Why not buy an aux splitter? We did buy an aux splitter. You just stop talking out of your butt. These people, I swear to God.
How would he know?
You weren't here for the stream, were you? We had an aux splitter.
Bruh. Bro, even. Like, if he wasn't there for the stream, why are you shitting on him? Holy fuck, dude.
These people, I swear to God.
These people.
You weren't here for the stream, were you? We had
These
an aux
people.
splitter.
What do you mean
My
by
wife has earbuds. She put in the earbuds, but they're noise-canceling earbuds. She couldn't hear anything. She's like, well, this doesn't work.
What a
And
dumb
we don't have
bitch,
another
man.
pair of headphones in the house that would work with the aux splitter. Now we do. So now we'll each have a pair of these to wear when we do content moving forward. Okay? Pretty cool.
Hey Phil, I have my earbuds, but they're like noise canceling, so I can't hear you talk.
Like, what a dumb bitch, man. Just wear one. Just wear one. Why do you have to wear both? Both with an L.
So thank you to
Whatever.
the fan who donated that. You know who you are. You didn't ask for a shout out. I'm assuming you probably don't want the public attention because of trolling. But thank you so much. So now we have an extra pair. And when we do co-op again, and here's the other cool thing. Even though we're not going to be doing co-op all the time, I now have a backup pair of neck phones. So if these break in a year or two, I'll have a backup pair as
Why
well.
does he
So
break
this is
so much
incredibly
crap?
useful. Thank you so much to the fan who donated those. And now I knocked my receiver off of the table.
Okay. Cool. I'm glad we got an update to the co-op situation.
Okay.
Audio
It's not really a receiver, it's more
situation.
of a decoder,
That's really
a
interesting.
surround sound Dolby decoder for my headphones.
All right,
So.
let's go to.
Okay,
Let's go. Weekly schedule. No, thank God. Updates on Palworld. Let's see him
Weeks,
shit
'cause I
on
stopped playing it
Palworld.
after-
Let's see.
For me, this is a huge non-announcement. And
Oh wait, there's a news segment. Okay, non-announcement. Let's see his news. Let's see how much research he did for the
Fantasy
news.
7 right now. Okay, just to forewarn everybody. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you'll live with quickly. No, it's not that I missed the tip. I don't shout out contributions till the end of the podcast because someone said I tipped you, didn't shout it out. I shout out all contributions at the very tail end. So
Okay.
let me get through the news and then we'll get to that segment.
Get
okay?
fucked,
And thank you for
idiot.
the
Debunked.
support. News story number 1: Mortal Kombat 1 is finally getting cross-play next week. Mortal Kombat 1, which came out in September, is now over 6 months old, has lost about 87% of its player base, is now getting crossplay.
I had to do it to them, snipe.
Dude, thank you, Wesley H.
$5 from Wesley H. How dare viewers not know everything that's happened on his stream, but if a detractor brings up something dumb he said, he'll say they're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. What, you don't watch all my shit? You don't watch everything? Also, Lowered Kane got fucking scammed. $2. They're regarded pimp, regarded style thinking. Yeah, 2 people in the room with a combined IQ of 62, man. Jesus Christ.
Huh?
Huh?
If ever you heard something that was too little too late, I think that would be it.
Oh, Punish
Like-
Lasagna, you got scammed too. $1.99. Tradition equal consumption. Yeah, dude.
What the hell were they thinking waiting
The
over
Sears
6 months to add
catalog?
a feature they promised would release around launch? They said it's coming around launch. 6 months later?
It's not even 6 months. He said over 6 months. Somehow 5 months is over 6 months. Also, I would say 5 months is around launch. I mean, it's kind of far, but also it's whatever you define as around.
So they also, hand in hand with this announcement,
That lip stuff was weird.
6 months later,
The fuck was that?
they said it's coming around launch. 6 months later,
Look at his fucking... So there's one. Lip smack does it again.
so they also,
The fuck?
hand in hand with this announcement, dropped the Peacemaker DLC trailer, which shows John Cena as Peacemaker. I hate the John Cena Peacemaker character. I think it's stupid. I think it's just John Cena in cosplay. I don't see him even as a defined character with a personality. And I saw both the Suicide Squad reboot movie as well as the entire Peacemaker
All right,
series.
if this dude saw both of those and doesn't understand the character, he's fucking stupid, man.
And I still don't like the character.
Right. You're dumb.
He looks terrible, honestly. He's kind of he has crappy animations, honestly.
If it was Hogan.
I'm not going back to Mortal Kombat 1 to play with Peacemaker. If
it was
certainly
CM
not going
Punk.
back to Mortal Kombat 1 to play crossplay. The game doesn't play well without crossplay. The connections are awful. Usually the average connection is 80 to 100 milliseconds, which is unplayable online for this game. And now they're going to do crossplay. Like, what a joke. If you're
Okay.
interested in Mortal Kombat, congrats if you want to do crossplay. For me, this is a huge non-announcement and a waste of everybody's time.
Okay.
What a shame, because Mortal Kombat at one
So
point...
you see, this is why people make fun of him. Look at how negative he is being over the crossplay thing. Someone could make a video that this dude like hates the crossplay in Mortal Kombat or whatever. Like, he's doing the same shit again. This is what he did with Elden Ring. He's shitting on the thing, and then he's just like, well, if you like it, then, well, it's okay. Bro, you just shat on it. I don't get it. This is why people don't like you, dude. The way you talk about things, the way you're so toxic, you just come off as negative for everything. It doesn't matter what it is.
Premier fighting game, in my opinion. Like that whole Mortal Kombat trilogy of 9, 10, and 11, they were very prominent, and they really dropped the ball.
I don't give a fuck. Shut up.
After 11 hours, has now reached 25 million players.
Yes, Palworld.
15 million players bought the game on Steam. 10 million players are playing the game on Xbox, although it's not clear-cut if it's people who bought it or people just playing it on Game Pass, right?
Okay, people played it. That's why they
25 million. Yikes.
Yikes.
That's so many. Now, listen, again, I get the appeal of the game. I played it for 11 hours. I get it. Personally, I found myself getting bored once we hit the gameplay loop of exactly what it would be. Again, like I said, if you play it with friends, it's probably way more fun. But as for me, these survival games don't last long anyway. I do lose interest in them. So, it is what it is. But wow, what an achievement for an indie studio pumping out a game like that and getting that much popularity. The final news story I want to cover today actually surprised me.
Popularity.
And could actually, in my opinion, change things. Are you ready for this? I don't know if you heard this one. Supposedly, PC support for the PlayStation VR 2 is coming by the end of this year. I'm going to repeat what I just said. If you buy a PlayStation
Dude, that's cool.
VR 2...
Let's see. Okay, let's see how he's going to shit on this. Because that's actually really cool. It's a cheap, like, headset that I don't need to buy a PS5 for. Are you kidding? That's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool. How will he toxify it?
Which right now currently only works with PS5.
Relatively cheap, I know. But it's not like a Valve Index.
By the end of the year, it's supposed to work on PC. So you understand what that means?
Oh my god.
That means...
What does it mean?
You'll be able to play
Whoa.
PC VR games on the PSVR 2.
Whoa. Well,
So I have a question.
whoa.
If you have a console, right, is it a no-brainer to just buy this device? And also, if you're looking for the absolute most versatile VR device, does it not make sense to buy the PSVR 2? Because you're going to be able to play all the Sony...
I mean, not necessarily. You can get like a Meta Quest. There's no cables. It's wireless. You just charge it. It also works on PC too.
exclusive VR games from PlayStation 5, and also all PC VR games on this thing too.
Yeah, but then you gotta buy a PS5, bro.
Because the news stories aren't clear, and that's what's kind of pissing me off. I couldn't figure this out. If you could play everything on it, that sounds to me like this is the killer device, right? But I don't know how it really works. Some people are saying, no, I'm misunderstanding the situation. Okay, so how am I misunderstanding?
Nice. I love the news segment where he doesn't fucking understand anything.
The correct information.
That's cool. You know why he does this? Because he reads the headline. He reads Twitter headlines, not actually the article, and then he just goes off of that and does no other research. Very cool. Very
what is the truth of the situation so we can report this fairly?
And then he asks his fucking chat.
If you're saying, why would it be a big deal for it to work with PC if you can't play PC games, is my question.
What? Are you stupid? Yes, but I don't get it. How is he confused by this? You don't need to buy a Valve Index or some expensive
one. Most PS5 VR games suck for me. MetaQuest 3 plays all my VR library on Steam and has more features than PSVR 2. Dean Richards says, PSVR 2 headset will allow you to play Steam VR. Okay, well that's what I'm saying. It'll let you play PC games on it, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
What, hello? Burnell?
Can't use...
How is he confused by this?
Okay.
It's just gonna, if you plug it into your computer, it's gonna work as if like it's a Valve Index. It's gonna work.
Okay, I'm getting the full story.
I don't get it.
So here's how it works.
How is
if
he
you have
confused?
a PSVR 2 and you plug it into your PC, you can play all PC-oriented VR games on Steam. If you plug it into your PS5, you can play all the PS5-centric VR games on that console.
PS5-centric.
There's no crossover. So
you guys like PS5-centric VR games?
So if you own a PSVR 2 and you want to play all the games, you have to own both a PS5 and a PC. That makes sense. To me, though, that's the killer device then, right? If I want to play the best of VR, I want a PSVR 2. Because if I get a MetaQuest, I can only play games on PC. If I get previously it would have been, if you get PSVR 2, you can only play the PlayStation, but now it sounds like since you could do both, why wouldn't you want the one that does both? Because,
dumbass, you need to buy a PS5, dipshit. What if I don't want a PS5? I can just get the PSVR. I don't know.
Right? Am I misunderstanding that?
Why is this a bad thing?
I would want the PSVR 2. Immediately, this would devalue the other devices.
It doesn't devalue anything. You see how negative he is. I don't understand. How fucking business degree my ass, bro. What the fuck are you talking about?
You'll already have a VR device that works with it.
It's just more options. It's a good thing. It's good for the consumer, I guess, because it's another headset you can buy
Right?
that'll work with your PC, and I don't have
So
to buy a
me,
PS5.
I think this sounds like a great idea and a great value. I think that Sony's doing the right thing here, because spending $600
He
for a
has
VR
to
device
shit on
that's
the other
limited to
ones.
games only on PS5 sounds terrible. There's way more VR games on PC than there are for console, so it makes sense to have this
the
expensive
Grimmer.
device working with those games. So let me get this straight. You would be able to play Half-Life Alyx on your PSVR 2 on your PC, correct?
Okay.
That's it then. That's the device. If I was to choose, I would get PSVR 2 for sure. 100%. I'd be buying that.
Why don't you?
So that's my take. You could disagree.
Will
If
he go
I'm
into
wrong,
why
please
he
correct me
won't?
in the comments of the video. Please don't roast my testicles like the people about the fucking Elden Ring DLC who are all
What?
wrong. But if I'm saying things wrong here, please correct me. But for me, like, that sounds to me like that's the VR headset you want, the one that does everything.
Wait a minute.
It does
Wait
the
a
best-
minute. Isn't that exactly what the guy was doing? The guy made a video correcting you on your stupid ass take based on no information. That's what the guy did. Now you're telling people to correct you, but you shat on the dude's video. What?
Of both worlds, correct?
Okay.
Like, why wouldn't
Whatever.
you want that? Makes sense. Okay. So anyway,
Okay, moving on.
cool. That's the news. Now it's time to get ready to do shoutouts, and then
Okay, shoutouts. Let's see. Timestamps. Thank you for these timestamps. Discussions on online drama. Oh, great. We got quite a rant here. Let's see. Let's see this one.
Blackjack Yak just did a super chat. He says, I should have become a member of yours a long time ago. You've handled the review tech drama situation with maturity. Again, I didn't even know that there's a review tech drama situation until the tip this morning. I don't pay attention to any of this, nor do I
Right,
care.
right.
You're a good man and a great example to others. All right, thank you, Blackjack Yak. Well, the only thing that I will say about this, and this
Nice.
is not
He doesn't know
personally
anything.
towards Rich or anyone, but here's what I really don't get. So I'll be on a stream talking very normally about a topic, and somehow it gets skewed into drama, and now it's drama for everyone for like a week, and everyone's talking about it. I'm like, but what are you even talking about? There was like no drama. Like, just perfect example, the whole Elden Ring DLC situation from Wednesday, where literally I said nothing negative, and somehow people think it was negative and sent people that misposted it, misrepresented me, and now it's drama, right?
Oh my god.
There's
Hate
other
Army.
content creators who constantly have drama stuff
Welcome, Hate Army.
happen, and no one ever covers it like that, ever, right? Like every once in a while, someone tries to get me to hear. Did you hear about the drama about Wings? Did you hear about the drama about Review Tech? Did you hear about the drama about this guy or that guy? And I'm like, no, I don't pay attention. But the stuff that it sounds like that's going on with them is way more drama or any. So you would think that would hook people, and people would be all over that shit, right? But they're not. They're just not. But if it's me, if I fart on stream, it's like, oh my god, did you hear that Phil dropped a nuclear bomb on his stream? Right? Like, no, I farted. It's a normal thing that people do. It's a natural occurrence. It's unfortunate when it happens. It smells, but it happens. But for me, that's like the end of everything, that I did something like that. But then another creator does something insanely overdramatic, bad drama, but it's gone in 10
I don't like. What is he talking about? I thought you don't know anything. I thought you don't know about the drama. So what did those other creators do that is drama filled? How about you tell me instead of being a vague fucking asshole about it? What are you talking about?
seconds, not a big deal. Right? It's just, it kills me.
I don't get it.
You know?
It kills me, dude.
I don't get it. Like,
I
there's
don't
been
get it.
drama things with Review Tech and
Listen,
others that have been way more drama-esque, than anything I've ever done, but I'm the one that gets all the ire of the internet for some odd reason. I don't understand that at all. I've been told about. It's funny because here's what happens, right? Oh, your guys are right. I didn't put on the gunner glasses. I'll do that. Immediately get bombarded. Whenever someone wrongs me, I immediately get bombarded with information about the negative things that person or group has done. Like after the Side Scrollers interview last year, people bombarded me with information about how horrible Stuttering Craig and Adam Kriegler are as individuals. They sent me like laundry lists of shit hoping that I was going to do toxic streams about them. Guess how
You threatened to. He threatened to. Like he forgets that he did that. Remember he said he has a bunch of dirt on Adam Kriegler? And he's like, be careful, Adam, because, I know things about you that, He was threatening him. Oh, I didn't do the stream. But you threatened him, though. Like, what?
many toxic streams I did about those guys?
Zero. Yeah, zero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not
He never talked about the side
who I am.
scrollers.
I don't care. But
He doesn't care.
I hear all this stuff, and I'm like, really? And then you look into it for 5 minutes, and a lot of it's true. There's clips of it and
How
stuff.
does
And
he
I'm
know?
like, so
Clips. Whoa. I thought you shouldn't base everything off clips, dude. What? I thought those clips can be taken out of context. What if they're just like a negative construct that people did? It's a clip. It's out of context, dude.
This is similar to some of the stuff that I've done in the past, you know. But for me, it's like unforgivable, right? When I did something in 2010, that's unforgivable. You can never ever forget that Phil said this thing in 2010. Yet here's everyone else on the internet has exactly the same shit that's happened to them, but they're just, no, don't even bother talking about it. It's not a big deal, right? Yeah, last year, Review Tech had drama with some kind of a, I don't even know what it was, some kind of a
I don't know what it was, except I'm going to explain exactly what it was.
Charity thing. And again, he kept bringing me up, so people are hammering me with information. Did you hear how he went back on his charity and he freaked out on his viewers and this and that? I'm like, no, I didn't hear. I don't care. Right? And then guess what? Never brought up again. If that were me, if I were in that situation, this would be the thing talked about for the next 7 years. Phil's an awful person. He screwed a charity. He lied about charity. He did awful things.
Yeah, I don't get it because this is really fucking stupid. Because no shit, the things that happen to you permeate in your life because people keep talking about you. Like it's your life, so no shit, you deal with these things all the time. Obviously, you don't deal with Review Tech drama all the time because you're not living his life. You aren't him. So obviously it's different. No shit, you think that all of the stuff about you constantly is being brought up. I'm sure Rich from Review Tech constantly thinks the same thing, that things are brought up about him. Like, no shit, dude. It's your life versus his.
He attacked.
You don't live like where he lives.
This attacks that. You know what I'm saying? So everyone else just gets a pass on the internet. Everyone, they're human. They make mistakes. They're okay. But when Darkside Phil sneezes and a booger flies out of his nose on camera,
shut up.
That's like cancel material, right?
Shut up. And this whole cancel thing, the 2010, oh, I said something in 2010 and you can't say that and people fuck with me. I said this before, but the problem with you, DSP, is that you say yourself that you changed. If you just owned up to it and you still did the same kind of jokes, I think he would be okay. Because then at least he owns it and he makes similar style of jokes and that's just who he is. He's just a dumbass who makes bad jokes. But it's the fact that he says he changed, and also while saying that, he still laughs at the old jokes, and then he also makes the same jokes and the same comments and the same shit. That's the difference here, where it's you don't own up to what you did and you say you're different, but you are in fact not different. That's the difference here. You see what's different?
It's like, huh? I don't get it, but that's just how I'm treated versus others.
Right. You're so special. You're the main character.
But again, I'm not part of any of this. I pay no attention to any of it. I don't know anything about it. Again, it really, literally just people send this shit to me. Here you go. Here's all this toxic stuff. Go ahead, destroy Craig and Adam. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't need to. That's not who I am.
I'm a Roman Catholic. I'm a good guy. You see, Adam? You see, I just threatened you. I threatened to cancel you. But you see how good I am? I have all this evidence that you're a piece of shit, but I'm like such a fucking good guy. Come on, man.
I'm not a drama creator. I play games. I do react to content. We hang out and have a good time. That's who I want to be. Not a negative person. You
fucking
understand?
Snake. Yeah, you're right, Kevin.
I don't understand that mentality, honestly. I received a $10 super chat from Dr. Oink. I bought the game and decided to roll Steve. Feels like I'm playing Dark Souls with a dagger. Shit seems unbalanced. How do you feel about the game thus far since you played?
Congrats to Chatham. Apparently he's going to have a baby soon, dude. Congrats. It's always exciting. Okay, personal boundaries regarding gaming and work-life balance. We'll check that out.
I don't know how many times I've explained to everybody.
Then we'll move on.
I don't know if this is meant to be like a meme.
Is he live? He might be live. Hold on. Let's see. Is he late? Jeez Louise. Yeah, he's late. Okay. Big surprise. DSP is late.
A mean message or not. Because I've explained this a million times. Guys, I'm in here 6 days a week. Full time. Right? Streaming. Constant gameplay. When I leave this room, I leave this room to spend time with my family. And the last thing that I want to do is pick up a controller and play video games. I'm not going to leave this room.
Yeah, all he does is pick up his phone and play video games. You see, that's a big difference.
With the stream off, go downstairs and play Tekken 8 and grind. Like, that's not going to happen. That's what this
It's your job, by the way. It's his job, by the way.
Is exactly what I do for a living, and this is what I do for gameplay. That's it. I want my life outside of this room to be separate from this so that my whole life isn't video games, video games, video games, video games. Do you understand? Now, I'm not saying...
Yeah, I don't get that either, because you go downstairs and you watch your wife play video games, and then you watch other people play video games, and then you look up gaming news on Twitter and stuff. Like, I don't understand. I don't see what's so special.
Nothing video game.
Thank you, Ramen Brahmin. Dude, my alerts are all fucked for the $4.99. My boss keeps a record of things I have flicked up on. He never brings up when my coworkers flick up. I'm persecuted, dude. Yeah. He's targeting against you. It's a campaign of harassment.
My wife and
it's a hate package.
I are gonna do. If she's gonna play a game and I can watch her play and comment on it, help her with it, that's different. Or if we're watching someone else play a game, that's different.
There you go. That's different. What?
Video game related, but like if my wife and I are gonna do, if she's gonna play a game and I can watch her play and comment on it, help her with it, that's different. Or if we're watching someone else play.
How is that different? Like, how is that different?
That's different.
He doesn't have anything to do with video games, except literally all he has to do with is video games.
But I don't want to just be playing games my whole life.
Oh, playing games. Okay, specifically playing games.
Right? Like,
is the issue. He doesn't play games off stream. He just watches games, talks about games, and watches other people play games.
That's nuts. Imagine if
That's
all you
nuts.
did. Imagine if you were a house painter, right?
Right.
So you're out all day painting houses. When you come home, what do? You go outside, you paint your house.
Okay.
Fuck? What are you, crazy? It's all you're gonna do your whole life?
This is dumb.
I'd lose my mind.
This is dumb.
I really would.
This is dumb.
So I purposefully separate that part of my life from my private part of my life. I am not going to sit here and grind in Tekken off camera. I don't have time. I'm in here so often.
I don't know, bro.
Playing games. I don't have.
There's so many like truck drivers that come home and play Euro Truck Simulator or whatever. I don't see. They just like the hobby.
Time outside of that to now go play Tekken offline. If you were talking to me 10, 15 years ago when I was single, I had no life, no family, no responsibilities. All I did was play video games all day. That's a little different. Then yeah, you could argue, why aren't you grinding off camera or whatever? I don't have that now. Dude, I'm 41, about to be 42 years old, but married with a family, busy shit, busy life. I'm not going to sit here grinding in Tekken off stream when I could be spending time with my family. Right? Like, what are you, crazy?
What?
Yeah, if you think that that's valid, I'm going to sit in my office playing Tekken away from my family when I'm not on stream. That's stupid. I'm not.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Why can't you play Tekken with your wife in the room? Why can you watch her play Starfield and Skyrim, but she can't watch you play Tekken? What the fuck is wrong with this relationship? I don't understand.
Right? Like, what are you, crazy?
What are you, crazy?
Yeah, if you think that's...
Yeah, you're crazy. Look at him hype himself up. It's like, yeah, you are, bitch. Yeah, you're fucking crazy.
My family. Right? Like, what are you, crazy? Yeah, if you think that that's valid, I'm going to sit in my office playing Tekken away from my family when I'm not on stream. That's stupid. I'm not doing
stupid.
It. Okay? All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Really, thank you.
$2 from Lord Kane 666. You don't have a family, no kids, no job. L life.
Yeah, L life, exactly. L wife as well. Thank you, Lord Kane. What do you think? What are you, crazy? Yes, you're crazy.
Get another
Lord
super
Kane.
chat.
Another super chat. Okay.
What do you say here?
Hello?
For now?
Steve has no giant combos. King has a 60% grab. Well,
Okay,
Tekken play very differently. And yeah, King fundamentally plays totally different from Steve, who fundamentally plays totally different from, say, June, who fundamentally plays different from, say, Lars, right? They're all different. So, but that is the beauty of a good fighting game. You have characters that play completely differently, and you can find a character that feels like your style and settle into that character. It may not be fair. Like, I mean, hey, I feel that same way about Street Fighter 6. Who are my favorite characters in Street Fighter 6? The bottom tier. Lily,
low tier god.
Dalsim, Zangief, Honda. Did you know Capcom Cup is currently going on, right? I think it started. And there's no E-Hondas, no Lilies whatsoever in Capcom Cup. 0 of them have qualified. Only one Zangief, and that's the best Zangief in the world, Snake Eyes, qualified.
Wait, he fixed his mic? He fixed his mic? He clickbaited me. Hold on, DSP just clickbaited me. Mic is fixed. What does that mean? Let's see. Play. Oh my god, he hit us with the intro.
Okay. Last night, on my retro replay stream over on
I mean, it's still really quiet. The mic isn't fixed.
DSP Throwback channel, I was reacting to the original Heavy Rain playthrough from 2010.
Ah, he clickbaited me.
Isn't there any way that you could raise the volume of your microphone. And I said, well, honestly, the only way that I could raise the volume of my microphone would be to manually raise it over here on my Scarlett device. I don't know what it's called. I don't think it's called a mixer.
You can add
It's a device I bought 10 years ago when people were helping me set up this professional mic setup that I have here with this Audio-Technica mic. So I'm not exactly sure what it's called. Okay? But basically, everything in OBS, which is my capture and streaming software, is max. Like, I cannot
I'm getting too much money.
Dude, what? What happened? Holy fuck!
I'm getting too much money.
Sniper bait with 10 gifted memberships, dude. Holy fuck.
Big juicy butt. Big black butt.
Thank you so much. My alerts are messed up. I switched to Firefox recently, guys. I think my alerts got messed up. I'm sorry.
This microphone any louder in OBS, it's 100% to the max. Okay? There's no, like, volume booster feature or anything like that.
Booster.
So,
yeah, he's going live, by the way. Okay, he hit us with the intro. Let's go.
that's as loud as I can make it, but people have been telling me for years, I mean, ever since I got this mic, 10 years now, my volume's lower than everyone else on the internet. Phil, why are your
You do lawyer crap 10 to 12 hours a day and watch LawTube? Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Meth Bear, thank you for the 2. It's crazy. Apparently you can't like something so much that you just want to spend time doing it. Whenever you have time. I don't know. Whatever. He's here. I'm gonna torture you guys. Enjoy. I heard him click. I heard the click. There it was.
Good morning, everyone.
There it was again.
Phil here, and welcome to the show. It's the Level 1 Podcast, broadcasting live.
Yeah, his mic still isn't fixed. It's still really quiet.
Today is Tuesday.
It is louder, though, but it's still quiet.
2024. I'm DSP, of course. I welcome you all to the show. We've got an interesting one today. I've got various different topics and things to discuss. Updates to give. Some news stories to cover.
There's his chat on
so
the
a good
screen.
variety show today. And it covers just a lot of different things. So, shall we? Shall we? I hope you're doing well. By the way, this is my final consecutive streaming day of the week, which is very odd because usually I'd be here 6+ days, and this week I'm only here for 5. And you might be wondering, well, what's up with that? Why is Phil only here 5 days? Well,
I don't care.
Of course, it is because of the big premiere and release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which comes out on Thursday. Weird, right? Used to be when I started on YouTube, every game came out on a Tuesday. Literally every single game always came out on a Tuesday. And everyone always wondered why that was. And I agree.
He's going to hit us with a back in the day.
Why was every game coming out on a Tuesday? Then some games would come out on Tuesdays and then Fridays. And that was also confusing. Why some on a Tuesday, why some on a Friday? Well, after some research, I actually found out games were only coming out on Tuesdays in the United States, and worldwide, then that same game would release on a Friday. So there would be this odd 3-day delay where, like, Europe and the rest of the world who were watching my videos, you know, I have a worldwide audience, would have to wait to play the games themselves. So in a lot of ways, my videos would give people a preview of a game that they couldn't buy yet, and they could determine via my videos if this was a game they were interested in and would buy and play.
If you went to DSP for that,
then over the years, all of a sudden, it was agreed upon. We're not going to be doing any more of these worldwide different release dates. Everyone's going to get games on the same day, and that day is going to be Friday. To which it makes sense. Like, okay, that sounds good. Let's all just have a worldwide release of every game on a Friday. Works for me. And now, it seems like they just release games whenever they want. There's been games on Fridays, games on Thursdays, games on Tuesdays. There was a game on a Wednesday recently. And it just makes me, like, confused. I think the reason they're releasing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on Thursdays is because it's leap year. So this is a rare year when there is a 29th of a month.
Okay.
So maybe they just want to be something special. We released a game on leap year day. That's something special, momentous to remember, right? or maybe by releasing it still in February rather than say March 1st, it keeps it into a different fiscal calculation for their bookkeeping.
Fiscal
It's in one
calculation.
quarter or month rather than another. I don't know.
Business degree.
It doesn't really make much sense. But as I've told you guys many times, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is one of my most hyped and exciting games of the year. I've been waiting for this game for quite some time, ever since essentially I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake. And at the very end of the day, you realize, whoa, that really wasn't much of a remake. They're redoing the entire series from scratch with this whole multiverse plotline where anything goes. And that means characters that previously had passed away in Final Fantasy VII can survive. In fact, that was one of the big, shocking twists of Final Fantasy VII Remake's ending.
Big
is
ups.
that Zack Fair, the character...
Okay, potential spoilers if you
he
care.
actually was and was basing his whole persona off of, doesn't die anymore and is still alive, right? That was like one of the big giant twists. And now the question is, how is that going to affect Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with that character still alive? What new plots will happen? What new scenes? What new fortunes will unfold? Just so you know, I should bring this up. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, as of right now is downloadable on PS5.
Wow.
You can preload it if you pre-ordered it. And it says right here on the dashboard, the picture that you can see. Should I show it to you? Would you like to see it? Watch this.
No,
This
explain
is
it
pretty
to me.
interesting.
Please
My
go
camera's
explain
gonna look all
it.
weird, so just ignore the camera. So here is the dashboard, all right? And here's what it says.
15 years
Final
streaming.
Fantasy VII Rebirth, the unknown journey continues.
Journey.
With Zack Fair standing right there on the right-hand side of the screen.
Wow.
So, if anything, I mean, is that not foreboding that this game's going to be very different from how Final
Dude,
Fantasy
his
VII
chat
originally
does not give a
unfolded?
shit.
It's now being called an unknown journey, right?
His
With
chat
Zack Fair prominently displayed in
couldn't
the art.
care less.
It's pretty cool. Like,
He
that
really
actually gets me
talks
pretty
to the
pumped
void, man.
To see what's going to happen
Holy shit.
here in the real game. And obviously,
That's
we're all going to be doing
crazy.
our best to stay away from spoilers and the like, but you know what's going to happen. Probably tomorrow, the entire game will be on the internet, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can try as best you can, but unless you live in like a cave with no internet, and the only way that you have a connection with the outside world is like a Dixie cup with this piece of string that goes out your door, and you talk to people by twanging, and maybe that's the only way you can stop it. You know, sadly, this is what happens with games these days. There's no way to avoid major spoilers anymore. There just isn't. Like, people are out to spoil everywhere. It'll be on social media. It'll be on every forum post. It'll be in stream chats. It'll be everywhere. And there's nothing you can really do about it.
I can't wait for him to get to the beach part and he sees Tifa and be like, come on, man, fucking Japanese, man. What the fuck?
I'll do my best when, those things arise to try to get rid of it. But, what can you do? Just to forewarn everyone, if you're going to be around for this game, I'm going to be loving it and playing the crap out of it, I'm sure.
How do you know?
But expect spoilers. There's not much that can really be done. There's no foolproof way around it, right? Anyway, so the excitement begins, right? Final Fantasy VII, I'm excited for that. Now, I have something very important to talk about. My schedule, all right? My schedule is going to be a little different come this Thursday. And I need to explain this to you so everyone will know up front, okay?
Taxes.
On Thursday, it's the premiere Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm playing the game all day long on both of my major streams.
Yay.
But my first major stream will be earlier and end a little earlier. Okay, so this Thursday, normally my stream turns on roughly around 10:45 a.m. Pre-stream music plays and the podcast starts around 11:15 a.m., right? Well, this Thursday, my stream starts around 9:45 a.m. The actual podcast starts around 10:15 a.m.
Oh my
and
God.
the gameplay will start
I don't care.
a little earlier than that, okay? However, the stream has to end a little early, too. Typically, I stream till around 4 p.m.-ish Pacific time. I have to end my stream around 3 p.m.-ish, okay? So FYI, starts an hour early, ends about an hour early. My late night stream on Thursday will remain the same. Starts around 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. We usually start by like 7:15 p.m. and it'll be around 2 to 2.5 hours of gameplay. So there you go. That's happening.
So there
Thursday.
you
I
go.
hope you'll come by Thursday and join me all day long, but the schedule's different. I'm gonna have to like talk about this all day because I don't want people to show up like late and miss out on the first hour of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because I have to adjust my stream for that day. Okay, so that's a heads up. Now, what we should do is quickly recap what I did yesterday.
Why?
And talk about the schedule for the rest of the week as well.
Oh my god.
And then we have some game news today. A couple game news.
Okay,
stories.
I'm buying some skip juice here. So it's interesting too. Dudette just messaged me behind the scenes. Him talking about the neck phones, how he got a bunch of a pair of neck phones for his wife for co-op streams is really interesting because he said himself he doesn't want to force anything. He doesn't want to force her to be on streams. He doesn't want to force content when it's not meaningful and special. But he's advertising a pair of headphones. He's like, wow, look, honey, someone got us a pair of headphones for you. That, you know, like, when do you think you're coming back, honey? That, like, he can use that against her now. That's just something that he can use against her to force content, which is really interesting to think about. He's not forcing anything.
I'd like to cover
pretty cool
for all of you. And then we'll see where we are in time-wise. If we have shout-outs to do, if we want to maybe do some suggestion box, we can go there. You know, it's up to you guys.
Oh, please.
Please. So let's do it. All right. Yesterday was a full day of gameplay streaming, and FYI, it was the continuation of.
We're already using our skip juice.
Yeah, basically it's tougher now. All right, and I had a good time yesterday with Yoshimitsu. I'm actually getting much better. Just so you guys know, I'm implementing so many new moves. I'm now implementing the unblockables into my gameplay. I have 2 different unblockables.
Jesus Christ! Hold on, we'll refresh. YouTube's fucking me over here.
I'm implementing the unblockables into my gameplay. I have 2 different unblockables that are very good. One leads to a big combo. The other one is a good trick in the corner where they can't really get out and they have to take the hit. My execution's getting much better. My timing's getting better. My mix-ups. I still think the one thing I'm lacking in is stance changing. I'm really not stance changing as much as I would like in the game. But outside of that, I'm doing good. I'm getting better at the game. I definitely am.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I'm happy for that. And I'm looking
Tekken
forward to
went
more
terrible.
as I
Yeah, I'm
continue
not
to play the
surprised.
game and I get better with Yoshimitsu. We climbed 2 ranks yesterday in one session. 2
Wow.
red ranks, which is great for tough matches. But then at the last minute, like the last 20 minutes of the stream, I ran into a streak of players who either completely just destroyed me, mind-addled me. Because
Were they
like,
cheating?
I fought a Victor, and he was a purple ranked Victor. That's the next rank up. He was doing things I never saw before. He's doing moves I didn't even know he had, and he's doing things over and over that just seem insanely safe. Like, there's no way for me to punish them or do anything about them. And I'm like, so if he could continuously just keep attacking, and I can't ever stop those attacks, I have to block everything. And then every once in a while, he has this attack that's so fast I can't react to it, and it hits me for like giant counter hit damage. What do I do? Answer, I don't know. I literally don't know. Like, that was, I feel like, the first Victor I ever fought in the game that knew really what he was doing and just used it to trick the hell out of me. And I was like, wow, mind-addled would be the best way to describe it after you lose to someone like that, right? Then the next person I fight is a Lee, and all this Lee does the entire round is crouch and then do 2 or 3 different kick moves over and over. And the problem is, not having fought many Lees at all, I don't know what those kick moves are. I don't know if they hit high-low. So he's just doing 2-3 moves, just randomly
Dude,
select.
I gotta buy skip juice. This shit. Okay, so this is all just to protect his ego. Because, like, really, what is the reason to even do this? To sit here and tell us, well, this guy dominated me, but I didn't know what he was doing. Okay, like, you didn't know what he was doing. Like, is that you just saying that to make yourself feel better, or like, why are you even telling us that you don't know what he was doing? That's kind of like what you're supposed to figure out, dude.
Not timing them or anything.
Why are you
just
telling
doing-
me this?
And he killed me because I didn't know what to do.
I didn't know what to
I'm
do.
like,
There's the shield. He has to protect his ego.
Oh my god, that sucks. So now the first guy I lost to because he was really good and he knew all this stuff with Victor I'd never seen.
There you
the
go.
second guy I lost to
Everyone he loses to is cheating, or he doesn't know what they are,
was
what they're
not
doing.
good. He just literally alternated the same 3 things over and over, and I didn't know how to counter them because I don't know the character well.
Nice.
Then I fought Paul.
Protect that
And
ego,
this
dude.
Paul Phoenix, again, really good Paul Phoenix, I would say. He's alternating between various different moves that I don't know what they are. They're like while standing combos that are like high-low mix-ups. Then he gets me to the wall, and he hits me so many times, he guard crushes me. And I said, he guard crushed me? There's a guard crush in Tekken 8? I didn't even know. I still don't know. There's guard crushing in Tekken 8? I've watched a ton of top-level gameplay. All right? I've watched tutorial videos. No one brings this up. I never seen it in a match.
Like, again, this is all just to protect his ego. Like, why is that anyone else's problem? You want me to feel bad for you? Do you want me to like baby you? I don't get it. Why does someone have to tell you that? You're the one playing the game, not us. I don't understand.
But it happened to me. And I'm like, how does your guard I don't even understand it. I guess if you block so many high impact moves in the corner, you lose your guard. And then they could just get a free combo on you. I don't know, but that's what happened. And I was like, wow, again, so 3 matches in a row. Basically, I'm beaten by a big lack of game knowledge, right?
May 1st.
And then I went from the ranks, I gained 2 ranks, and then I lost the rank. And I was like, oh, after all that hard work yesterday, 3 hours to lose the rank that I had earned really was disappointing, all right? But I'm not going to let it, set me back. I'm going to reevaluate. I'm going to reestablish, get back in line there and get back. You know what they say, get back on the horse. In back in the day, this would have been get back in line at the arcade, right? You lost, get back in line at the arcade, put your quarter up, get back up there and start playing and get better, right? So, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be discouraged. So, good stream yesterday of Tekken 8. Definitely rage-inducing at the end, like tons of rage and swearing, just like I was doing Street Fighter 6. But at the same time, it was really good gameplay, like the best gameplay I've done in Tekken 8 so far. So I hope you'll check it out if you haven't yet, okay? Late night stream last night was Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And basically I did for the first hour a ton of side questing. After that, I said, enough is enough. Let's do main story. And we played main story for about 90 minutes. Hey, this is it, guys. This is the final major stream of Baldur's Gate 3, because now it's going to take a backseat to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Essentially, Baldur's Gate 3 will get played like once a week as a major stream. Final Fantasy VII will be the major focus for the next several weeks. I just want everyone to be clear on this. I need to get as far in Final Fantasy VII as I can, because we're the third week of March. There's new games coming out, and I want to be very far in Final Fantasy VII until we basically, give the reins over to those games. So I need to get as far as I possibly can, all right?
All right, cool.
I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth 17 hours next week. 5 hours on Thursday, 3 hours on Friday.
I love when he says that too, because out of the 17 hours, how much of it is going to be actual gameplay and not just stalling and tip reading and chat hand holding?
3 hours on Saturday.
And cutscene watching.
3 hours on Monday.
Okay, I get it too.
That's a lot of gameplay for the launch week of a game to be almost 20 hours into it. For me, that's very rare that I would be doing that.
So I'm already going to call the fact that he's going to overplay it, and he's going to say, well, I thought this would save the business, and it didn't. And he's going to play it too much, and he's going to blame the game. Like, it's going to overexpose itself.
Okay.
I'm already calling it.
But man, I'm going to get really far into the game. Essentially, that's a third in. Like in 1 week, I'm one big third chunk into the game. I wonder how far that'll be, because if you remember the plot of Final Fantasy VII, once they leave Midgard...
Potential spoilers incoming. Be forewarned, guys.
They first start exploring the outskirts. You got to get past that serpent, the Nidhogg, in the lake. I'm sure that's going to be a thing. You got to get past that serpent, the Nidhogg, in the lake. I'm sure that's going to be a thing. You just got to sneak by it. You can't fight it at this point. It's overpowered. They end up in a couple like small towns and villages. Eventually, a lot of plot happens. Then they end up at Cosmo Canyon. Remember that?
Remember that?
And you get like Red 13's backstory. Eventually, they end up at the Golden Saucer theme park. You got the whole plot line there.
So this is interesting too, because he started off this whole segment about Final Fantasy saying that they're starting the game from scratch and it's not going to follow the original game at all. That's why he's currently explaining the original game to us. Okay.
They eventually, I'm trying to remember, like, this is supposed to be, I'm trying to remember what I said, the almost the discs of Final Fantasy VII, right? So I did this 2 of Final Fantasy VII, you almost see everything. Disc 3 is endgame content, there's a lot of right? So I think right? So we need remake. Midgard used to be what, 10-15 hours, and it becomes a giant 60-hour game. They very well could have it that this game maybe ends at the Golden Saucer, but maybe they add so much content in during that time frame that it ends up being a 60-hour game. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be playing a ton of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in the next week, okay? So because of that, Baldur's Gate 3 will be played once a week moving forward.
I had to
and I know a lot
to them snipe.
Dude, Jay Wusso with the 5, dude. Thank you.
$5 from Jay Wusso 989. Those $5 Yakuza streams sure helped out the business. Oh
God.
wait, They are meaningful. Nope, it just shows us what a pathetic skinwalker you are.
Oh yeah, I missed it. He made $5 last night
People are going to be
on a Like a Dragon stream. That's really cool.
disappointed at that. Then
That's like his Mass Effect stream where he made like 7.
again, if you actually look at people who are showing up to
Big
the
ups, Jay,
Baldur's
what's
Gate
up?
3 streams and watching the videos, it's not a lot. Okay? I don't even get 300 views on the Baldur's Gate 3 videos anymore. It takes like tons of time. For example, what was the last time I played Baldur's Gate 3? Monday, correct? No. Saturday. Let's take a look at Saturday's videos, right? Just
Oh,
for the sake of argument
We're
here.
about to audit the views. Let's go.
437 views, 309 views, 264 views. That's the views I'm getting on Baldur's Gate. I'm getting more views on Tekken. I'm getting more views on Like a Dragon. Yes, I'm actually getting significantly more views on Like a Dragon, right, than I am on Baldur's Gate. This is just a symptom of a game being so long
Here you go.
that interest wanes, you know? Like,
Final
for
Fantasy
example,
VII, by the
when
way.
Baldur's Gate 3, when I started playing it back in December, people were all over it. It was my most viewed playthrough. People were so excited.
I had to
When you
do
get
it
to hour
them
20
snipe-
Dude, thank you for the skip juice, guys. Holy fuck. Thank you so much.
$5 from SniperBait47. Any game can be hundreds of hours if you sit there begging and telling pointless stories.
Exactly.
a la Final Fantasy.
Dude, you could make fucking Child of Light 17 hours long. This dude can.
30,
Holy
no
shit, dude. Thank you. Thank you, Sniper.
one
Bait.
cares anymore. Once you get to hour 60,
Ordering
you
me
got
some
like,
skip
you know,
juice.
a hardcore group. Once you get
What the hell was that?
20, 30, no one cares anymore. Once you get to hour 60, you got like, you know, a hardcore group. Once
Oh,
you get
it's
to
his
hour
PlayStation.
100, people go to sleep. That's just how it is. That's just how it's always been. The longer the game, the incredible amount of, you know, engagement falls off. And even people who are huge fans of Baldur's Gate 3 stopped watching the playthrough. It's too long.
Nice coat.
And there's nothing you can do
Nice
about
coat.
that. The game's
Very
too long,
nice.
right? Like, I can't make the game shorter. And even if I had played it at release, it still would have had that happen. That happens with every long game ever, okay?
He just hyped up Final Fantasy VII for being like a 60-hour game, and now he's complaining Baldur's Gate is too long.
The difference there
The same
is that
thing's
those
gonna
who
happen.
are engaged in Baldur's Gate 3
Okay, whatever.
actually are very supportive.
Nothing
we have
he
not
can do,
had
exactly.
a single Baldur's Gate 3 stream where we have not hit the tier 2 tip skull. I'm serious. We have not had a single Baldur's Gate 3 stream. Oh, I take that back. I think we had a night stream once,
Why-
and that one didn't get it.
Oh
but
my
every time that I
God.
played Baldur's Gate 3 as a day stream, we actually hit the tip skull, which is crazy to think. Not the full tip skull, like the tier 2 tip skull, put it on a hat.
I love that he knows this information. Like, he just knows it and he just says it. No shame. Just say it.
That's why
Like,
you
come
almost
on.
always see me with like a Viking hat on or whatever playing the game, right? So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, like the interest of the game has waned massively, and I've used it as the main stream for like 2 months, and that's why, honestly, viewership on this channel is way down because the games I'm playing, 2 of them are giant lengthy RPGs. One of them is a fighting game that sadly this audience hasn't really liked as much. I like Tekken 8, but apparently the audience doesn't. And then every once in a while I'm doing something randomly different, but that's what I mean. That's all I'm doing on the channel. It's definitely time
Yeah, Len,
to
hey, big
have
ups, dude.
a new refreshing month, and March is going to be that. Between Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the Battlefront collection for multiplayer, Dragon's Dogma 2, Rise of the Ronin, just those games alone are nice and refreshing, right? So I will continue to play Baldur's Gate 3.
Like, all of those games are semi-RPGs. They're not the same kind of RPGs, but they have leveling systems and they're long games, and you're going to play them for a long time. So how are those any different? Because he's going to be complaining about the same thing once he plays those games and he doesn't get money.
But
So I don't see why he's
it'll only be once a week, so it might take me 3 more
like holding out hope for all of these
months
games
to beat
coming
it,
out.
and that's okay. Like literally,
Every
that's
new
okay.
game will save the
Okay,
business.
it takes you that long. All right.
Okay.
So, today is the final day where it really is the featured stream. Starting Thursday, that becomes Final Fantasy VII, okay? So, let's enjoy. We're in Baldur's Gate. We're going to be walking around, finding characters, you know, engaging, unlocking quest centers, of course, just like every other party. There's 5,000 quests probably in Baldur's Gate, fine. I'll get started again today, the stream, okay? That'll leave you. It's more like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and we are going to continue on
Schedule.
tomorrow. All right, my day off tomorrow. It's going to be a more relaxing day. At the same time, I have errands to run, and there's quite a few that I have to do.
Aww.
So once I get the errands out of the way, my wife and I will probably have a nice relaxing day, but you have to get to that point, right? Anyway, then Thursday, as I've already mentioned, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth all day long.
Holy
but
shit,
my
how
first
is
stream
he
Thursday
still
was
on this? How is he still on
You
this?
have to be here. around noon Pacific time if you want to see the gameplay and not miss the start of the playthrough. Okay, so spread the word.
Be there
Final
early.
Fantasy 7, so it's a
Okay.
full day, 5+ hours of gameplay. Friday, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth on the first stream.
Oh
Friday Night
my
Fights
god, what is
versus the internet
happening?
on DSPReacts, Retro Replay, or excuse me, Retro React on DSP Throwback.
The schedule
right now,
is
people are
awful.
voting. No surprise, there really hasn't been any kind of a flip in the polls, but to give you guys an update, the poll for what we're going to do on Retro React on Sunday is currently as follows. Continue Dark Souls 1, 16%. Play Bully from 2013, 12%. Play Bioshock from 2009, 16%. Continue with Heavy Rain, 57%. Currently, we have 335 votes. We still have all week for you guys to vote because Sunday is the day. But unless we get literally 100 to 200 people rallying for another thing, it looks like we're continuing with Heavy Rain again, which, again, I'm okay with. The Heavy Rain playthrough has been absolutely outstanding.
All right, Philza.
So,
it's time.
that'll be Sunday night. Monday, the day stream will be Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. No late stream on Monday night because on Monday night, which
It's
would be
still
what, that would
going.
be like
It's
March
still going.
4th,
I'm about to
I have to do
rope,
stuff,
dude.
whether it's patron stuff, whether it's tax stuff, I'm not even sure yet, but I need to take work on stuff. So
He has
no
to
stream
do his
on Monday night.
taxes. He has to do stuff behind the scenes. Schedule. There we go. Are we done? You took a sip. Are we done?
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Cool.
Outside of that,
More?
I've already mentioned the other games I'm excited for this month. We'll talk more about them as we get closer to them in March.
Fuck off.
The next big event is my birthday event, which will take place
Yes.
that first week of April. And in fact, my birthday is technically April 6th. I looked it up. It's a Saturday this year. So I might just do it on my birthday. I might just actually do the event right on my birthday.
As if, like, it being a Saturday even matters. Because he doesn't have a real job, like, he has to go to work? Like, what the fuck? It could be a Tuesday. Who gives a shit? You just stay home. Who cares? I don't understand why being a Saturday makes it better.
What will we do? Number one, I will do a gaming schedule update. We will go live through the calendar. We will now take all the new release dates for all the games that will be coming out for the rest of the year, and we will populate the calendar again so we know what's coming up. I haven't done this since Christmas, so it's going to be a good time to do it, so that way we know exactly what's going on. So that's number one. Number two,
The wallets don't work.
will be
on
food.
Saturday.
Now, what kind of food? Well, I'm sure my wife's probably going to make some kind of a
you're
baked
right.
good or a cake for me to have for my birthday. But outside of that, I'm not sure if we're going to order food that day or if we'll, my wife will make something. We'll have to talk about it. I mean, it's over a month away. But outside of that, like, what else we do that day is really up to us. Like, I want it to be, again, more of a chill day, nothing too crazy. So maybe we do some multiplayer that day of various games. By then Battlefront will be out, the Battlefront collection. So that's an option. Tekken 8 would be an
Yay.
option, right?
All right, we got to squad up, guys, and troll him in Battlefront. That'll be fun.
And I guess we could talk about other things as well.
I'm so down for
Okay,
that.
fair enough. So we'll try to figure this out. What exactly you guys want to see happen? And some people are like, well, will Kat join us? I don't know. That's really up to her, since she's available to come in whenever she wants. Sure, if she wanted to come by that day and spend some time with us during my birthday marathon, why not? Right? I think that would be a nice thing for her to come in.
He doesn't want to force anything, by the way, but he's already teasing that she's going to show up. Like, how do you think this makes her feel? If she literally rage quit your last stream together. She rage quit it. She bored quit it. And she doesn't want to come back. You canceled the co-op streams because of that. And then here you are sitting here telling people that she's going to show up again, maybe because the door is open, so it's up to her. Why the fuck would you put all the pressure on her to come back? Why would you ever do that? Like, he doesn't care about his wife. She's clearly uncomfortable. And you're just putting all of the pressure on her.
join us, but that would be up to her. I'll have to see.
That'd
what
be
she's
up to
And
her.
we'll-
It would be up to her. Thank you, Anthony McGee.
Really, thank you.
$1.99 from Anthony McGee. Did he ever give away those Terminator codes?
Yeah, codes? Yeah, he did. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, I think so. During the Super Bowl or one of those events he did.
We want to do, we just want to
Thank
hang
you,
out,
dude.
maybe do some Q&A, or if we actually want to try to do some gameplay together. I don't
Anyways,
know.
yeah, my point was, like, what if she's watching this stream and she just hears you mention that she's gonna show up? And then she's like, what? I'm supposed to show up now? Like, why would you put all this pressure on me? That bothers me too. Because it's like, bro, you don't care about your wife at all. You don't care about your mom.
We'll have to see. Anyway, so that's coming up, and we'll talk more about that as we get closer to it that first week of April. Okay?
Okay.
Cool. So that's really it. Like, that's really all I have to talk about in regards to schedule and games and everything coming up. I hope that sounds good. Oh, the one thing I do want to mention, you may notice something. I didn't say anything about Street Fighter 6. Well, there's good reason for that. I'm not interested in Street Fighter 6 right now. I played Street Fighter 6 literally when it released in June of last year all the way through January of this year. It was just a little over a month ago that I put Street Fighter 6 on hiatus. Okay, I'm well aware that there's a DLC character for Street Fighter 6 releasing today. He's out. His name is Ed. He's from Street Fighter 5, but been redesigned for Street Fighter 6. I saw the trailer for Ed. I was like, eh. Like, he looks like he's a combination of Dudley and some other mechanics with this, I guess, psycho power he's using to pull you towards him or whatever. I'm like, eh. But you know what? I'm burnt out on Street Fighter 6. I really am. Like, I just have no real desire to play it right now.
Okay.
I played Tekken 8 for a month. I've got to a point where I'm getting good and climbing the ranks out.
Ask me if I care about this shit, because I don't give a shit.
Fighting games at once. This is not going to work.
Okay.
So I'd like to stick with Tekken 8, even if it means that a lot of people aren't really following it. I'm enjoying the climb, and I'm enjoying getting better. If you want to watch Ed, there's 5 zillion other people who are going to cover Ed.
Jealousy?
Because they just cover fighting games. That's all
Jealousy.
they do. So check that out.
Nice toxicity.
And
Random
then,
toxicity.
when Akuma comes out later this year,
Random wake up
I would be
toxicity
way
out of
more
nowhere.
interested in trying Akuma. So maybe that's what I'll do is wait until Akuma releases, and that's when I formally go back to Street Fighter 6. Now, yesterday someone brought up a point, and they said, hey, when will you actually try out other fighting games? For example, you had talked about setting up Fightcade on your mini PC and having that set up to play classics. I would love to do that, but it has to be a time that makes sense. We really haven't had a time that made sense. You know, we got that mini PC in the fall, and then all fall we had all the new releases. Things calmed down to December, but people still wanted a last hurrah for Street Fighter 6, so I kept playing it all through January.
Nobody did.
It didn't make sense to set it up in January when I knew at the end of January Tekken 8 was coming out, right? Now it makes no sense. I already have so many things going on. We don't have time for it anyway. So eventually we will. You know, later on this year, I will set up the mini PC to work with Fightcade so we can play classic fighters and, you know, have a good time, but we have to get to the point where that makes sense, and just right now it doesn't. You know, in the next few months, probably, you know, things will slow down a bit, and that will be when we will actually look into doing stuff like that. Okay?
Cool. Discord's closed, dude.
Thank you, DJ Sonic Swag, for the first contribution of the morning. Just so you know, I shout out contributions near the end of the show, and then I answer all the questions. Okay? Just so you know, I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring you or anything like that. Okay.
Why does he do that?
Folks, it is time for a
hot.
little segment on the show. You may have heard of it. It's called DSP News, or DSPN for short. During the segment,
okay, PlayStation
I talk about news. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. That's what we're going to do this morning. All right? First of all, a new Pokemon game has been announced.
Let's see. How will he talk
called Pokemon, the one that won't run like dog shit on the Switch. That's actually what they're calling it. It's revolutionary. Like, I never thought that Nintendo would like go there and go right in line with the thoughts of the gamers, but that's what they're calling it. I mean, of course, I'm being facetious here. That's not the case, but they might as well, because if this game also runs like dog shit, like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did, I think people are going to start to be upset, because we just had a little game called Palworld that essentially takes Pokemon, you know, gameplay elements and combines it with a survival aspect, and it runs pretty good on the Xbox and PC. People are not going to put up with a Pokemon game that runs horribly anymore, I don't think. I think people are going to demand more, all right? Anyway, the name of the game is actually Pokemon Legends Z-A. Do you really want to say that from now on? It's like, hey, what Pokemon game are you playing?
Oh my fucking god, bro. He's so insufferable. God, I just need like a mental pause from this fucking guy, man. Holy fuck.
The name of the game is actually
Why is he so annoying and toxic and like just bitter? He's just a bitter old man with the brain of a child. He's so annoying.
Pokemon
It's
Legends
ridiculous.
Z-A. Do you really want to say that from now on? It's like, hey, what Pokemon game are you playing? Oh, I'm playing Pokemon Scarlet. Oh, I'm playing Pokemon Ruby. How about Pokemon, you know, Yellow? I'm playing Pokemon Legends Z-A. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? What the fuck is that? Okay, they make a better name. Could be anything. Exactly. Jesse says, that's a worse title than 365/2 days. There you go. Call it Pokemon Za. Order some Za, bruh.
The Zaza. Spoken that Pokemon
You can tell,
Zaza.
again, I have to say that they do not. They literally do not.
Okay.
Get any feedback from gamers. They just do whatever they want.
Right, yeah, this bitch talking about feedback, man. Shut the fuck up. Mentally, I need like a mental pause. Just give me like a second. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ.
And they just think, hey, it's Pokemon. People will eat it up and buy it no matter what we do. There is not a single gamer on the planet who wants to call the next Pokemon game Pokemon Legends Z-A.
Why can't they just call it Pokemon ZA? Why is that so out of the ordinary? I'm playing Pokemon ZA. Nobody calls it Pokemon Legends Arceus. You just call it Pokemon or Legends or what Pokemon Arceus, whatever the like, dude, shut the fuck. I don't know why I'm engaging with this.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Yeah, this is the stupidest fucking thing.
Right?
Fuck you. I hate you.
It sounds like you're fucking. It's a diagram to build something at IKEA.
Shut up.
Diagram
Fuck
Z
you.
to A in that order to build.
Oh, you're
this
so funny.
Stand, this, you know, nightstand.
You're the prettiest girl in school,
What the
dude.
fuck
You're
is
so
that?
funny. Fuck you. You get all the boys' attention
Anyway,
in school.
So,
Yes.
Pokemon
yes.
Legends Z-A is an ambitious new entry to the Pokemon video game series. It will launch on the Nintendo Switch in 2025. A new adventure awaits within Lumiose City, where an urban redevelopment plan is underway to shape the city into a place that belongs to both people and Pokemon. So basically, it's a combination. Like, it's not just humans anymore. Now humans are living in harmony with the Pokemon. I guess there's things specifically for Pokemon.
Oh my god. Isn't that every Pokemon game? They live in harmony with Pokemon? Literally? Like, isn't that every game?
I don't really understand.
I don't
They
understand.
showed a few screenshots, but you know, when you're looking at that, I didn't see any video. I saw some of the screen stills. So if you guys saw a video of it, maybe you can judge better. But the screenshots looked very reminiscent of previous Pokemon games. Like, nothing doesn't look groundbreaking or anything like that.
Ramsey.
And the thing is, if this is Pokemon Legends, remember Pokemon Legends Arceus, where it was open world, you walked around in a you know, it was not like typical top-down Pokemon.
Yeah,
it was a
Stray
very
Fox.
different model, right? Now, it ran horribly, too. Like, Arceus and Scarlet Violet were very badly performing games. You got to wonder if they fixed that and made it better. Also, Arceus was a game that at first was really good, and once you get to, like, the third map and you realize, wow, this is identical to this game.
Once the money starts to dry up, wow, this game sucks.
All you do is
whoa,
walk around
big
in
shocker.
open worlds,
Whoa.
fighting and catching Pokemon.
Didn't see that coming.
And, you know, exploring a little bit with not really platforming, but climbing, like traversal, parkour stuff, like climbing a mountain, getting items. And you go in a dungeon, you fight more Pokemon. Like, basically, it was really good at first. And then when you get halfway through the game, you're like, wow, they ran out of ideas. And then it gets kind of boring by the end. So I'm curious, since this is in the Legends franchise now, will it be more like Arceus, or are they going to take elements from Scarlet Violet and have those in it too? I don't know. But anyway, I'm assuming we're going to get way more information about this game as we get closer to 2025. It gives them over a year to work on it. Being that, you know, I'll say this. I'm happy with that news, and here's why.
Why?
I want them to take more time to develop Pokemon games. For a while there, they were pumping out 2 to 3 games a year, and that's really when the quality had a sharp decline. So I'm not sad that we have to wait over another year.
Like, as if you care. As if he even gives a shit. Like, why is he so fake? He's the fakest person ever.
To get a Pokemon game,
I'm
I would
not
rather
sad.
wait and get a better game.
Like, you don't
than
give a shit.
not.
Why are you
see what I'm saying?
pretending?
I'd rather have them come out in mid-2025 and it's superb than it comes out this year and it's rushed and half finished and runs like dick, right? So hopefully it's good. Pokemon Legends, what is it called? Pokemon Legends Z-A. So embarrassing. I don't want to say it. I really don't even want to say it. Anso Kamara says the worst game title of all time is Under Night In Birth EXE Late CLR. It's a fighting game in real.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the information. You're so funny, dude.
Pokemon Legends ZA. Order some ZA, bro.
Zabra.
Anyway. All right. So that was the first story. That was a little more lighthearted. The next story, sadly, is not lighthearted whatsoever. This is absolutely terrible, awful, bad news. And I hate reporting news like this, but I have to report news
Shut
because
up.
that's why I have
Shut
a
up.
segment called
I know what
News.
he's going to do. He's faking that he cares about game developers being fired.
Sony Interactive Entertainment is laying off around 900 employees. The London studio is closing entirely. Insomniac Games, Naughty Dog, Guerrilla Games, and Fire Sprite Studios are all largely affected. As part of the mass layoffs, Sony has completely canceled an unannounced Twisted Metal live service game that was in development at the UK-based studio Fire Sprite. Fire Sprite is going to lay off so many people, they just can't make
Man, there was a new Twisted Metal game? Holy
game
fuck.
anymore.
I didn't even know
Okay? So the funny part about this is, right, the story was that Microsoft is evil because Microsoft is going through with their merger. They've bought out Activision Blizzard, and the first thing that they do is they lay off a bunch of people.
Now he's
and we
yelling,
all
dude.
wag the fingers and we say, evil Microsoft. Bad. And I
that. Thank you for the skip juice,
Really,
Dudette.
thank you.
Really.
$2 Canadian from Dudette. $2
Funny money.
bet that he will mention when he got laid off.
Oh my god, you're probably right. Will he mention the helicopter company being laid off? Let's see, Dudette.
agree
Let's
with
see.
that. They shouldn't be acquiring a company and then immediately lay
I'll
off
take
a ton
that
of
bet.
people. It's pretty fucked up and evil. And I've talked about this, my personal experience with stuff like this. You know, I worked for a helicopter company, and when I first started
Oh my god! It didn't even take like a minute. It was like 10 seconds later, dude.
fucking based.
You got
There,
it.
they had just gotten bought out by another major company. But they were promised, don't worry, everything will stay the same. You're going to stay
Like
independent.
10
You're gonna be,
seconds.
everything's going to be fine. Within 2 years of me working there, all of the upper management of the company had left, and all new people from the company that bought them out now were running the company. Within another 2 years, they
Nice.
completely reorganized the company from the ground up, destroyed the culture of the company internally, and laid off a bunch of people. And I was in the second wave of layoffs later that year and lost my job. So this is what happens a lot of the times when you have these buyouts, reorgs, and things like that, right? But what about Sony? Right? What about Sony? Sony is the top console company right now, outside of the Switch, but again, that's kind of an apples to oranges comparison.
How?
When we,
How is that an apples to oranges?
really,
Thank you, Excalibur.
$1.99 from Excalibur 2010. You mean the Heliocopter company?
Yeah, the heliocopter. That's a good reference in case you don't know. In Yakuza, there was like a twist, not a twist, a test. And it was like, the word helicopter derives from what Greek words? And DSP didn't know it.
We could talk console
Big
wars.
ups,
We're
dude. Thank
talking
you.
Sony versus Xbox, correct? Sony is the market dominating leader right now. Okay?
It's not.
And
Like, how can you just discount the Switch? Oh yeah, the Switch doesn't count. Besides the hundreds of millions of Switches, yeah, Sony is the leader. What?
basically, when you
Okay.
look at this, you're like,
Whatever.
so
Fuck
wait,
off.
Sony's dominating the console market. They're making more profits, right? They're doing much better than Xbox. So why are they laying off 900 people?
Oh my god.
I mean, you can analyze this from a few different angles. You know, angle number one, they're greedy.
They're
And they want to
greedy.
increase, you know, they want to decrease their spending, increase their bottom line, cut employees, you know, or
mean, he's
maybe
not
they have a
wrong.
bunch of games in work
Yeah.
that they feel like these games are not going to pan out anymore. I mean, let's be honest, Twisted Metal live service game, when you say Twisted Metal,
What?
I think back to the 1990s.
What?
And how games
Okay.
back then were very different. Everything was getting more hardcore, risque, extreme. Everything had to have gore and sex
What?
and all kinds of extreme shit, right? That's where Twisted Metal actually came from. It was like the extreme driving game. You know, it's not
Okay.
just driving and racing, it's murdering your opponents with missiles and chainsaws and shit, right? Like, that's what it was. And Twisted Metal had a ton of these, and they were very popular for a while, and then it went away, and then they tried to bring Twisted Metal back on PS3, and it failed miserably. It flopped, it ran like shit. Twisted Metal has been dead for a long time. So now you tell me they're going to bring back Twisted Metal again, but as a live
Okay,
service
so
game.
what the fuck does this rant have to do with anything? Because it's all about, like, probably just bad investments that they made. Sony invested in, like, 24 live service games, like, fiscal year 2026 or something that were supposed to come out. And now they cut it in half, and then they lost The Last of Us. Now they lost Twisted Metal. Destiny is failing. Like, bro, it's just bad investments. I don't know. What the fuck
Well,
you
guess
want me
what?
to say?
Live service games are not doing well.
Right.
All these game companies that were making live service games either released them and they flopped, or they literally saw other games flop around
They
them
grew
and
too
retooled
quickly, expecting them to make money, and they didn't.
them
And it's going
to
down.
not be live service, a la Gotham Knights,
Allah, we got a new Allah.
a la Final Fantasy, a la Bloodborne. Think Bloodborne.
Let's go.
Okay? So retooled them to not be live service, a la Gotham Knights.
Allah Gotham Knights.
Correct? So maybe this game was in development for many years, and now since the live
Praise Allah.
service market for games crashed, this just makes sense that this would be the game on the chopping block, right? I guess that would make sense. Anyway,
Anyway,
you know,
he
the
lost
other
what he's
thing is
talking
they're
about.
laying off employees at, just think about this, Insomniac, Naughty Dog, and Guerrilla Games. These are three of their biggest studios that put out the hits, right? I mean, didn't Insomniac
Okay, maybe Insomniac was working on a live service thing. Maybe. Naughty Dog was literally working on a live service thing. And who was the third?
that put out the hits?
Who?
Guerrilla Games.
Guerrilla Games. They're also working on a live service Horizon thing. So maybe they just laid off the live service teams. I don't fucking know, dude.
These are three of their biggest studios that put out the hits,
Right.
right? I mean, didn't Insomniac literally just put out a ginormous successful game?
I don't know, dude. He keeps yelling, Indrid. I have to keep changing his
Am I
audio.
wrong? Naughty Dog, aren't they constantly publishing and republishing and
Screaming.
republishing the same successful games?
What?
I'm sorry to harp on that, but let's be honest here. How many times can you fucking release the same two games and you know, and resell them again?
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. How many times can you repackage the same playthrough and just AI upscale it and resell it to your audience and then watch it and try to make more money. You're one to talk.
But, you know, at the same time, we have seen recently that there has been a lot of problems with Naughty Dog.
Big
They were
problems.
developing the full-on multiplayer game for Last of Us, and it just got canceled a few months ago, right? And now they say, well, now we're just working on Last of Us 3. So we're all supposed to forget the fact that we were supposed to get this game as part of Last of Us 2. We bought it. It was supposed to be part of the package. They promised it was coming later for free. Then they changed their
That's a
mind, said
lie.
they were going to make a full-fledged game, so just bear with us. We promise you it'll be worth the money. And then
This right here is all a lie. I looked up the article on one of these streams. I don't fucking remember. But yeah, this is all. He's just lying.
they just canceled the fucking game, right?
Right.
But we could go on about that, right? Anyway. So, and then, of course, Guerrilla Games, the makers of Horizon, which had not only 2 successful outings in its own main franchise, but a VR game that apparently that VR game is like the only game really worth playing on PSVR. Like, that's what people say is like the Horizon game's really good, but everything else is meh. But, you know, Horizon...
Yeah, just to disprove him, just to be a petty asshole and like be kind of annoying. This is the back of the box. I know it's in like Spanish or whatever. Big up Spanish or, you know. It says 1 player. Shit, you can't see it. Here you go. 1 player right here. My mouse. 1 player. This is the back of the box. Like, it's not a scam. They didn't lie to you. The game case itself says 1 player. Like, they didn't falsely advertise or lie and scam their way through anything.
Forbidden West
You didn't buy the multiplayer, dude.
not do as well as they'd hoped. It did well, but they wanted it to be like the ginormous blockbuster. And the funny part was, by the end of the year, no one was talking about Horizon Forbidden West as a Game of the Year contender at all. While Horizon Zero Dawn was on almost everyone's top 10 Games of the Year list, Forbidden West was not. So, yeah, I could definitely see if you're looking at these different... You know what? The one that surprised me in Insomniac. Why Insomniac? What did they do wrong? It's like everything they've ever done always printed money. So why would you cut back on Insomniac? That does actually confuse me a
Oh, it
bit.
is.
I mean, they literally just released an insanely
Sorry,
popular
Sony.
game, right? What was it? Spider-Man 2, right? So why did Insomniac get a big axe to them? I wonder how many
don't know.
employees they actually lost, because that's really weird to me. If you have the company that's printing money for you, that's the company you throw the resources into. No? Anyway, and whenever people lose their jobs in the industry, you know, it's rough. And
Right.
I'm really
Now
sad.
it's time to pretend to care. Pretend to be sad about people losing their jobs. Look at this alien try to be human.
Whenever people lose their jobs in the industry, you know, it's rough. And I'm really sad because there's a difference between, like, okay, mismanagement botched and fucked everything up, and now employees are losing their jobs as a result. I look at Sony, I'm like, but Sony I thought was doing everything right.
Right.
They've got
Yeah.
the big games. They've
He's
got
obviously a gamer. He knows all about Sony's live service ambitions that have failed.
the hit
Right.
franchises.
Cool.
They've got the
Nice
studios
news segment. Thank you for all the quality news.
that everyone loves and applauds, and no one complains about bad work ethics or culture. So why are they losing almost 1,000 employees? And when you see something like that, what you have to understand is that likely this is a symptom of an overbloated industry. An industry where for so long they decided to put so much money into these budgets and things, but basically the management of the
Budgets
projects
and
was not
things.
very good, right? Why is it costing you over $300 million to make a video game? You know, honestly. And then what happens is you get a game like Palworld. You get a game like Helldivers 2. Guess what games didn't have a $300 million budget, but
I had to
sold
do
more?
it to them snipe.
Hey, Sniper Bait.
$5 from SniperBait47. Skip juice for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna go drink a bottle of cough medicine.
I'm him.
That's you, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you for the skip juice.
Right? So what's happening is we're realizing it's not necessarily about who has the most money and resources. It's about who has the most talent.
Okay.
Oops, I said it.
What?
And I know people will get offended at that, but it's
How?
too bad.
What?
It's time to realize now, when you're in an artistic industry,
What?
it's not just about who has the biggest budget, the unlimited resources, and the time and the employees. It's about talent. People who actually are good at something and can translate it into an artistic work that people want to play.
What a stupid, like, what a weird fucking childish take. That's so weird. That's like a non-opinion. What the fuck is that?
Okay?
What?
I don't care if you made the most eye-opening liberal game ever made.
What?
if you didn't have the talented people to turn it into a game people want to play, it's not going to do as well.
Liberal game.
I don't care if you had a $300 million budget to pump out the best superhero game ever
I had to
made.
do it to them snipe.
Hey, YT commenter for the 5, dude. Thank you.
$5 from YT commenter. The way Phil uses news to share his garbage opinions is so infuriating, but if you say Phil eats turds, he will say not true. No proof. Stop lying.
Yeah, dude. Sony, they're doing so great. It's just like there's no research done. That's the problem. He's calling it a news segment with no research done beyond the headline. Like, dude, what?
It still honestly wasn't as good.
Liberal
It
games?
didn't really innovate. If you really look at the games today that are actually doing well, right? They're lower budget, coming out of nowhere, almost indie studio games that do something a little different. They put a creative spin on the formula that already works.
This is such a child brain opinion. Like, he's missing the point. He kind of is getting it, but he doesn't really understand it. He's like an alien. It's because indie games put fun first. They kind of focus on the game part. Like, let's just use Helldivers 2. It's not like a live service in the traditional sense. It's kind of like they made a fun game first, and then making money is secondary. That's kind of it. But a game like Suicide Squad just feels, it oozes a big corporation live service game where it's just kind of, this is our platform to make money and you're supposed to play it. That's like kind of the difference. He doesn't really like understand how to articulate that. He's like halfway there, kind of.
Or they're combining things.
He just says talent and creativity.
Franchises to give you the product that you never had before. Palworld is only successful because they said, well, if Pokemon Company is going to give you the middle finger, right? If Game Freak won't give you what you want, then we will. And I think that's what's going to end up happening moving forward. You're going to see companies that have passion, heart, soul, talent. Those companies now are going to be pushing.
Bro, he's like Skip Bayless. This motherfucker's like Skip Bayless. He don't got that dog in him. What the fuck are you saying, bro? Like, dude, do some fucking research. Articulate yourself. Don't give me buzzwords and fucking random bullshit that I can't quantify. And just like weird, vague sentences about talent and creativity. Oh, creativity is a good thing. Like, yeah, no shit, dumbass. What the fuck is this take? I'm so confused.
To the forefront.
He halfway gets it, but he can't quite get it. It just escapes him.
Now are actually informed. This is no longer the dark ages where we're all sitting there reading gaming magazines for the next snippet of information about what games are coming out from E3 this year. We all know about these games instantly. The moment that they're announced, you've got all this promotion all over the internet for them, right?
Right.
So you know what the game is. You know when it's coming out. You know every aspect of a game, right? Hell, you even get games that get torn a new butthole before they're out because they've got microtransactions in them or because they're games as a service and it seems to be some kind of an abusive formula, right? So basically, we are now way more conscious of how the industry works than we ever have been before, and we need to make more informed decisions, okay? In the case of a game like Suicide Squad, that's exactly what happened. People saw this game early and said, okay, we'll give Rocksteady the benefit of the doubt. It looks like it could be good because we like Rocksteady. But then as soon as we started seeing gameplay elements, wait, it's a team-based, almost looter-shooter? Wait, why does it look like a generic game that you've played already? Oh no, it's Suicide Squad. Does that mean there's going to be tons of cringy dialogue and all kinds of dumb shit? Yes, 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 yes. So previously, everyone might have lined up and pre-ordered, bought, and played Suicide Squad. But now, instead, we actually look at games like that from the outside critically and we say, nope, not going to waste my time and money on that shit anymore.
He has such a juvenile take on this. It's like he's so close. He's so close, but he just doesn't get it. He can't understand. Like, he's missing the fact that people already are playing their live service games. If I'm already playing Fortnite, what's going to take me away from Fortnite? Like, there's a nuanced discussion to have here that he just is not capable of having. It's a whole thing. It really is, and he just doesn't understand it. Thank you, Rebsy.
$5 from Rebsy. Ultra Kill. An indie boomer shooter was made as a side project and it was a success when it was released as an early access.
I've played that. It's really good.
Thank you.
I like that game a lot. I played it a little bit though. I was waiting for it to come out.
$2 from Lord Kane 666.
Thank you, Lord Kane.
My mom, my wife has the same opinions. FR.
My wife. And by the way, Kat agrees with me.
And she agrees with me. And you, Lord Kane. Thank you, dude.
I'm him.
Thank you so much.
Right?
Right.
And a game that has a giant budget and giant promotion flops. Suicide Squad is one of the biggest, if not the biggest flop Warner Brothers games has ever seen. They outright just said last week, they said, it's a big, big disappointment for us
They
right
didn't
now.
say that.
So they were banking on that game being their big hit of the year.
They didn't
and
say
instead,
that.
it's one of their biggest flops of all time. And that's because gamers are informed.
They
now,
didn't say it's a big, big disappointment. They said it didn't meet their expectations. Come on.
right?
Come on. Come on, the news segment. Big ups the news. I love the news. So,
Is this the beginning of the tipping point where now these big companies, Sony, Microsoft, right? And
Right.
now let's think of all the big third-party developers, Ubisoft, EA, right?
Ubisoft.
Is this the end of us just trusting them to
What?
always make good games?
who trusted them ever? What?
Are we now going to give more chances to the smaller indie developers?
What do you mean we?
5 years ago?
This fucking guy doesn't play any indie games. He doesn't even open Steam. What the fuck does he mean we? What the fuck? Bro, tell me your scheduled games you're gonna play this year. How many are an indie game? Fuck you mean? Go on Steam, new and trending. What's there? Tell me one game that you recognize, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? We.
I don't think Baldur's Gate 3 would have won Game of the Year.
What?
That's just me being honest here. I don't think so. 10 years ago, I don't think people would even know what Baldur's Gate 3 was unless you were just a PC
What?
player, right? But
Okay.
now, things are
Right.
changing.
Nobody knew Baldur's
Smaller
Gate.
studios are getting...
Diablo 3, best-selling game, like on PC ever? Yeah, 10 years ago? More than 10 years ago? Yeah. People didn't know what that was. Who the fuck knew what Diablo 3 was, huh? What's Diablo 3?
the tension, the
What?
shake. And
It's a PC game? Oh, it's not good.
the big guys are no longer just benefit of the doubt trusted to put out the good game, and people aren't just tossing their money. Now, by the way, there's
That's so
exceptions
lost.
to that rule. The Pokemon Company is one of them. You know, Game Freak seems like no matter what they make, people buy it anyway. People complained so much about how bad Scarlet and Violet ran on the Switch, and then it was the best-selling Pokemon game of all time. So sometimes they're, you know, it's kind of hypocritical or the opposite, but it's weird because I do think we're seeing this trend. So maybe that's what's going on is
What? What's happening?
Sony just thinking things were going to be the same forever, massively overexpanded and overspent. And now, even though some of their games, like Spider-Man 2 from reports,
It's like Sony moved across the country on credit cards without realizing they were in decline. It's kind of like a similar situation.
did really, really well, right? Sold really
Right.
well. Maybe it's a moneymaker. But maybe not as much as they wanted, you know? And now you got Naughty Dog fumbling the ball, canceling a whole multiplayer game, wasted years of development time on literal junk.
What?
Guerrilla Games with a disappointing Horizon Forbidden West, you know, return. So maybe that's what's happening. Maybe the industry is changing. It's sad though that these people, I'm sure if you were, think about this, if ever you thought your job would be secure, right? For sure you would have thought, oh, it would have been, you know, working for Sony
Why?
of all companies.
Why would you
Sony,
think
one of the
that?
big ones, right?
Why would you
I
think
don't have
that?
to worry about that. No. Even no one is safe. I've been saying this too. People just have this weird...
Like, again, dude, Sony had so many canceled live service things in the past year. They had 24 planned. I think they canceled half of them or some shit. And then a few more got canceled. They obviously things didn't go as planned, and Destiny 2 failing doesn't help either. Like, come on. The writing was on the wall, dude.
Very, very...
It sucks, but come on.
How can I say? Almost like gullible, ignorant notion of job security.
What?
Okay?
Okay.
There's no such thing as job security.
Helicopter
There's
company.
one case where you can have job security. If you own the company you work for. Because then the only person that can fire you is you.
Brunel Productions.
That's it. Outside of that, there is no job security.
Right.
Anywhere. At any time, a job can decide you're just a number on a spreadsheet that needs to be cut off so that we can improve our bottom line, and you are done. All right? That's it. You want to know who actually benefits from this stuff? Contracted employees who have a real contract, because then if the contract gets severed, they get paid. You know how many people have that? Almost none anymore. Almost everyone has what's called at-will employment in the United States.
What
this is, basically, is when you work for a company, they have the ability to sever their tie with you, and you have the ability to sever your tie with them at a moment's notice for any given
What?
reason, as long as
Hey,
it's
my U.S. brothers, is that correct, or is he lying?
not deemed illegal.
I'm willing to bet he's lying.
Like prejudice or something like that, right? But outside of that, anyone can quit any job, and the job can fire you, and there's nothing you can do and no real recourse, and that's that, right?
depends.
It's not like it
Okay.
used to be. It used to be you're a contracted employee, you have a contract with a company, and they have to pay you a certain amount for a certain amount of time, a certain amount of work, and if they violate that agreement, they owe you money. Well, no one does that anymore. So all these employees, at any whim, we've reorganizing our company, you're fired, bye-bye. Huh? But I have a family. but I have a responsibility. I'm the breadwinner for my family, and we moved out here to be part of your studio, and I've moved my whole family, uprooted my life for 2 years. I've been working for you, and oh well, we don't care. Bye. Get the fuck out.
What?
Oh, thanks.
What?
It's really awesome. And now what are you going to do? The problem right now is
Helicopter company? What?
the industry scaling back. The gaming industry is scaling back right now. So if you just lost your job at Sony, how are you going to get another job when everyone is scaling back, right? So anyway, that sucks. I'm very sad to hear about this. I do hope that these Sony employees from all these different studios find jobs elsewhere, because this is just awful to hear. The pattern continues. All last year, people could argue last year was like the worst year for gaming because so many people lost their jobs. Well, here we go. It continued. The pattern's continuing. Microsoft just had layoffs. Sony's having layoffs. Everyone seems to be doing it, right? Oh, but by the way, don't let our government tell you that things are bad, because they'll tell you, oh, you could go get another job quick. It's like, yeah, I could go work 2 part-time jobs, one in a retail store, tagging clothes, and another I can go, work the fryolator at McDonald's. And between the 2 jobs, I can make like half as much money as I was making at my previous job that I just lost. So thanks a lot, United States government, for acting like we have a good economy when we really don't.
What the fuck is happening?
But that's some DSP politics for you, and that'll be at another time. We're not going to get into that this morning.
Holy shit,
okay?
I love him being gaslit into doing this. That's so fucking funny.
But anyway, it's very unfortunate. I hope that those employees land back
It's very unfortunate.
on their feet. This is terrible news, and I'm wondering what's going to happen, right? Hopefully they do get some good, new jobs and everything. You know what I mean?
Some good new jobs and everything.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
he really cares.
That's what I've got for you today. And being that it's already past noon,
that was great.
I feel like we should probably just get into shoutouts and
sweet,
and then the finale of our show.
1
so
minute,
thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Okay.
Oh, look at all this delicious skip juice we have. Nice.
All right. So thank you.
And we got more. Hey, we got more, dude.
Really?
Thank you, Lord Kane.
$2 from Lord Kane 666, acting like he cares or can relate. He's jobless.
Yeah, the thing that gets me is just him saying that he's sad. Like, no, you're not, dude. Shut up. No, you're not.
First contribution of the day is from DJ Sonic Swag, who did that super chat, and he says, on your birthday, why not play Street Fighter 6 or Tekken 8 in a crossplay private lobby and entertain you instead? Wait, what? Why not have us play Street Fighter 6 or Tekken 8 in a crossplay lobby and entertain you? Now I'm confused.
How are you confused?
Are you saying
you're gonna watch?
Like I make a lobby and people play and I just observe and commentate?
Yes, dumbass.
Yeah, I never really even thought of that. I always thought if I'm gonna stream, people want to see me play. Okay. I literally not once ever even thought of that at all. I will say this: one of the things that I'm very now apprehensive about. I've heard that in Tekken, you can essentially make really, really risque outfits. Of course, it's not intended. But imagine making like a dude.
You can wear a bikini, dude. He's married. He can't do that.
Completely almost nude, and then has like a big baguette coming out of where his dick is.
What? Why does he go to the dude?
But imagine making like a dude completely almost nude, and then has like a big baguette coming out of where his dick is. Well, I'm gay. And he's like, oh, so this is the character, right? It's like... And so apparently what's happening is actual prominent Tekken streamers are doing fan nights, and they go to play, and people are coming with like these most ridiculous sexualized outfits, right? And they're like, what the fuck is this? It's like... So I'm a little apprehensive about that, because that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to make like naked characters and really sexualized, fucked up characters.
Bikini ladies and naked dudes right? with a baguette.
So there you go.
So there you go.
Anyway, well, it's something to think about. Maybe, but I don't know. Would I really want to just sit here and commentate on other people playing? I don't know. Maybe though. There was a point where I was.
He did that for the Super Bowl event. Why is it banned for the birthday event?
Considering, like, just watching and commentating on other people's gameplay. Low tier God. Remember that last year and all the controversy that caused? That I would even suggest.
Hold on. What?
Considering. Like, just watching and commentating on other people's gameplay. Low tier God. Remember that last year and all the controversy that caused? That I would even suggest that I would watch some LTG gameplay and commentate on it and tell you my thoughts about it. Remember how the crap hit the fan there?
What?
It's so fucking stupid.
What?
Anyway, so maybe. It's a maybe. Thanks for the suggestion. Thank you for the super chat.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking
Pizza
about.
Box Gaming did a $5 super chat.
No drama. Yeah, no drama, by the way.
It's the age of the indie studio. I'm here for it. AAA gaming needs to die, at least for a while. Get the suits out of gaming and bring back the passion. Well, there you go. I don't think there's anything wrong with the notion of a AAA studio. I don't. You know, it's the same as the notion of a giant film studio. My problem is when the notion of the AAA studio went from, oh, we're going to make some of the best stories, gameplay elements, and amazing games ever, to we're going to make a product to print money for the shareholders. And if it ends up being good at some point, that's just a moot point. As long as it's something that hooks people to keep spending money and it lines the shareholders' pockets, that's all we care about.
Thank you.
$2 from JWasso989. All this is schizophrenia on stream. I wanna die.
Get the rope.
A la Final Fantasy.
Thank you, Jay. What's up?
That's you're in an artistic field. You understand? Like I understand
you are. You're definitely in an artistic field,
I get that,
brother.
but you also have to make something worth
Really,
making.
thank you.
$1.99 from DJ Sonic
Whoa, it's
Swag.
DJ Sonic
I tried
Swag.
to help him, man. I tried.
Yeah, I don't know. Big ups. I saw you gave DSP money. Welcome to the stream.
And that's where we've lost our way. So many AAA studios pumping out these
He
very
was confused by your question.
uninspired, paint by numbers, very samey, in the same genre, following the same formula, same game you've played 400 times, but you tacked on a sequel number, or it's a spin-off, or it's similar to someone else's game with a twist, but it's the same fucking game. It's a live service, microtransaction, take money out the ass, charge you $70 for the game at launch, then $20, $30 for a future of expansions, buy a season pass when you don't even know what's in the fucking season pass because they don't even fucking tell you yet. Online connections suck ass at launch, and then the game is online only, so you're stuck with a game you can't even play for another fucking week. I mean, I could keep going on and on about the awful things about the AAA game industry, right? You're a fucking beta tester even though you bought the fucking game. Game industry, right?
Hold on.
You're a fucking beta
Damn it. It doesn't sound good.
tester even
God damn it. I was hoping we get a sound clip there.
though you bought the fucking game, right?
Right.
But let me calm down here for a second. Let me get my heart rate back down. Sorry, I was getting a little worked up there.
You're so funny, dude.
Yeah, like, basically, when AAA has lost its way, someone else will take the place. There is so many people now passionate in the gaming industry that I think that's the problem to the people running the AAA studios. The gamers, right?
Please, brother.
I think that's the problem to the people running the AAA studios. The gamers,
Eves Gamuz.
right? Don't understand is that there is massive competition out there waiting to slip right in and take everybody's attention. No one's playing Skull and Bones because it's a piece of dog shit made by a bunch of fucking people who were forced to make a piece of dog shit by a management team that runs their company like dog shit, right? So then what happens? Helldivers 2 comes out. Who the fuck cares about Skull and Bones? Oops, you got fucked up by a company that really was like 1/10 the size of you and made you look like a fucking amateur night dev team.
He's so toxic, man. Naturally toxic.
Anyway. Oh, excuse me. I've miscriticized. I forgot that Skull and Bones is the first quadruple A game. So there you go. Oops. I misspoke. I'm sorry about that, and I correct myself
Run that
now.
joke into the ground.
Anyway, that's enough ranting for me. Thank you, Pizza Box Gaming. On the tip side of
retard. I shouldn't have said
things,
that.
hold on a second, because it looks like a tip got frozen.
Frozen tips.
Oh, I know why, because it's a troll.
Troll
It's a
tips.
troll. So I just ignore them. There you go.
He's got the
Cool.
tips going.
I can ignore it. I received a $25 tip this morning. Hold on.
Okay, 1 minute man, big ups.
1 minute man, he says, the reason you didn't meet the imposter last time, the imposter.
Huh, remember when he got a suggestion about hand holding? Huh, what is this 1 minute man thing gonna be? I don't know, let's see. He doesn't get handheld, right? Huh?
Huh?
For now.
Hey, Armadeus, Helsing. Welcome, dude.
Oh, are you talking about,
Yeah,
Orin?
Red Animator.
Yeah, he says the reason you didn't meet the imposter last time is due to the randomness as to where, when, and who the game progresses, maybe what patch you're even on. If you speak to Gortash late...
Nice. Doesn't get handheld.
If you speak to Gortash late, you might have met the
Oh
imposter.
my
Okay,
god, very nice. We're getting an extended Baldur's Gate 3 hand-holding segment.
No hiatus.
Right.
Well, sorry, it's not a hiatus. It's basically, we have played, and I should say this, all right? You know what? Let's get 1 Minute Man up on the leaderboard. Thank you, 1 Minute Man, for your support.
Look at how long this takes
All right.
him. Oh my gosh.
So, Baldur's Gate 3 is not going on hiatus. It's not
Jesus
going on the
Christ.
shelf. It's just taking a back seat. I've played Baldur's Gate 3.
It's not going on a hiatus. It's just taking a back seat. What the fuck are you on, brother? What is the point of that, Mr. Semantics? Like, shut up.
Pretty much more than any other game besides maybe Elden Ring at launch. If you remember Elden Ring, I played the living hell out of it, and it took me a little over 2 months to beat it, and my playthrough was around 100 hours long. Well, as of today, we will be over 100 hours into Baldur's Gate 3. I feel like I've done as much as I could without sacrificing the quality of this channel being called a variety channel. You know, like I played Baldur's Gate 3 literally 3-4 times a week sometimes as the daytime stream. I really wanted to please people who love this game. I've enjoyed playing this game as an outsider to the franchise, as an outsider to D&D in general. I really did enjoy my time with the game, and I will continue to enjoy my time with it. We're not stopping the playthrough. We're just playing it way less because at some point I have to move on and play new stuff, right? As much as I know there's people who are like, just keep playing Baldur's Gate 3 nonstop, I can't do that. I am a variety creator. If I just play the same game 3-4 months in a row, I'm going to lose monstrous interest in my channel. I already have. This month, views are down. All right, I just want you to understand that. Views are down on this channel this month because I played Baldur's Gate 3 for so long. There's nothing I can really do to get people's interest back in the game. It's just too long of a game to retain interest on a channel like mine. So instead, we've got to do other variety stuff. And to be honest, I'm happy. We've got a big blockbuster here like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We've got good variety of the games that are going to be coming out over March. That's going to, I feel, reinvigorate people to come back here and check out the stuff again. But man, you know, I feel like I did as much as I could to do this game justice. Even though I didn't kiss this game's butt like a lot of other people did, I was honest along the way. I played the living crap out of it, right? And I enjoyed it. And I want to say thank you to everyone for the last 2 to 2.5 months who was on my streams, who recommended this game, who engaged with this game, who helped me to understand it, day by day, going through every challenge, every confusing part. You guys helped me through it to understand what was going on. Again, I know I would not have enjoyed this game without the audience. I 100% know that. And I will say it's the on-demand audience as much as the live. The live audience has been absolutely great.
He's pretty much just saying I would not have liked the game if you didn't give me money. Like, really? Come on, no shame.
But I've got some great people watching and commenting on the videos, you know, giving me advice.
Advice.
All after the fact, and that is very, very, very much appreciated, okay? So I want you to understand how much I do appreciate you all. Not that, you know, I don't want you to think that I took it for granted. This is a crazy 2 months where if we didn't have Baldur's Gate 3, it might have been hard to figure out what to play. I might have played stinkers like Suicide Squad and wasted everyone's time. I'm glad that we instead had something good to play during this time, even though it wasn't appealing to the masses. It appealed to a core group of people that wanted to be here and wanted to support my content. You understand? Okay.
Okay, can we not do that in the mic? Please? Sound good. Take a sip. Let's go.
Thank you all for a great 2+ months. Really. I really, really appreciate that. I hope that you guys appreciate it and enjoyed it. I certainly did.
Yeah.
And so, now it's going to be played once a week. And first of all, I want to say, I hope that those of you who've been along this ride with me will continue to show up once a week that I play it. It's going to suck now that because I'm reducing the amount I play Baldur's Gate 3, if I play it now and we get like no one on the stream, you know how far in we are? We're in the home stretch. We are literally in the final 30 to 40 hours.
Okay, I don't care anymore. Please move on.
When I play this game, it's not going to change. I'm still going to need input. I'm still going to need your help.
I still need money. I'm still going to need hand holding. I'm still going to need your money, dude.
I play it. And again, thank you. But understand, it's not going on hiatus. It is continuing. I don't want people to get that misconception. Oh, Baldur's Gate 3 is now on hiatus.
Like, okay, it's getting ridiculous now at this point. How fast I am going and how I'm not skipping anything. He just rambles on and on.
So there's no confusion. You know, I missed out on the one Baldur's Gate stream this week.
Look at that, he's still on it.
You're well aware, so you can't miss. Okay, cool.
There we go. He's done. Finally. Whoops.
I received a $1.50 tip from Anso Kamaru. Truth be told, it's not that hard to dodge spoilers. Use filters for sites like X or Twitter. Try muting any other notification from other forums. You'll be fine. I haven't been spoiled by anything in 10+ years except Final Fantasy 16 and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League's ending on YouTube. I don't know how you're going to do it being a streamer. Exactly right. I will not be spoiled usually by like Twitter. I get spoiled by idiots who come by and spoil everywhere. They'll come and spoil in the stream chat. They'll try to fucking, do comments. They do it on purpose, and it's really hard to avoid spoilers. It's gotten to the point where I'm so used to it at this point that it's just like, nah, what are you going to do?
Really?
Also,
Thank you.
He doesn't care.
$2 from Joshua Doughty, cause you gout that.
Thank you, Joshua Dougherty, for the 2. Cause you gout that. That's a good song, dude. I love that song.
A lot of the time, spoilers are so stupidly wrong
that
it's hilarious. Like, I still remember the most infamous time ever, okay, that someone tried to spoil, and it was the most epic fail spoil I've ever seen. So we're talking a decade ago, okay? We're all on Twitch. I'm streaming Grand Theft Auto 5. All right? And as I just start to play it, some idiot came into the chat and posted...
Dude, it's kind of crazy how he still remembers this. That's kind of ridiculous how he still remembers a fail spoiler. And he's talking about it more than 10 years later.
Michael dies at the end. And that was the most hilariously bad spoiler ever, because people were like, oh my god, they spoiled the whole game. Because Grand Theft Auto 5 has multiple endings. Michael could die at the end, or he could survive. Also, the other characters can die or survive. Like, it's your choice how you want to play it. So, I found it hilarious that they tried so hard to spoil the biggest game of like a decade, and it was just a non-spoiler, because you can't really even spoil the game. Right?
How is that he literally spoiled it, that someone can die? Okay.
So, that's what I mean. Like, it will always happen. There's nothing you can do about it. You will happen. I will pledge to you that if I see spoilers, I will do my best to immediately remove them and hopefully not really acknowledge what the spoiler is.
Yes,
so that way we're not all ruined on the games. But again, it's not possible to 100% foolproof anything. Any idiot can just do it, and then you just gotta be like, So I'll say this: be careful when you're looking at things like super chats and shit like that. Don't just immediately say, "Oh, a super chat. Let me read this ginormous paragraph word for word." Right? Don't do that. Just be a little careful, especially this week. We're going to see probably 4 million spoilers. I already know.
Hey, Devil
right?
Man.
I already know it's coming. So.
Welcome.
Okay. Excuse me. From Casanova. He tipped $1 that there's a new device called the Game Scent. It's using innovative AI to release scents that match the gameplay on screen. Like a car race, rain after a storm, or leaves in a forest, you buy individual scent cartridges for consoles and PC. Man.
Is that real?
I can't wait to smell all the smells of Tekken and Street Fighter. All that.
Nice. All right. Put your bets in. Fart. Scat. Bets now. Let's go.
Your mouth drooling fucking retard. I shouldn't have said that. Body sweat. And can you imagine what Kuma smells like after a nice intense fight? In fact, I can't wait for the scent to release just as my face is being pile driven into the ground between the two butt cheeks of King. Help! Man, it released the scent then. Right? Excellent. Sounds like a great idea. Okay. So, I received $1
from...
from...
bet your whole house that was going to happen.
Play Cool, who says, you did your best, good boy, to the point you've surpassed me in the game.
Wait, what?
Who says, you did your best, good boy.
Good boy? What?
So, I received $1 tip from Play Cool, who says, you did your best, good boy,
good
to the point you've surpassed me in the game. I was not able to pick it after end of Act 2. I was finishing Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Remake. Every Baldur's Gate 3 stream is spoilers now for me, so I'm happy you will play it less. It gives me time to get into Rebirth and then finish Baldur's Gate 3, then go back and see your final streams, having finished the game myself. Meanwhile, hype for Rebirth. There you go. Thank you for the tip. Okay. All right. We have very precious little time left. So if you guys have any questions, you'd like to tag me in the chat, and we can discuss quickly. Let's do that for like the next 5-10 minutes or so, and then we'll jump into Baldur's Gate 3 for the day. So what's on your guys' mind? Can we change the lean-in emote back to the old one? With the new one, you can't tell the difference between the mic and your shirt. It blends in too much. Maybe we can just get another one, a better one? Then again, I don't think we can because I don't think we have as many memberships anymore. So sadly, if we try to change it, it's probably we're going to lose the emote slot. Yeah. The way YouTube works, which is incredibly stupid, is
let's see.
If you earn an emote slot, you have to add in an emote right away for it.
Yeah.
If you do, great. But then if you don't have as many members anymore, and then you try to edit the emote slot, it'll check and say, oh, you don't have that many members to qualify for that slot anymore, and then it just removes the slot. So I think we're stuck with that. Nothing I can really do about it.
Nothing I can do. Sweet.
Dark Gaming, I'm well aware of this. We all know they tried last week. It didn't work. It's not going to work moving forward, so don't worry about it. We're good. No worries there.
No, what did Dark Gaming say?
What does the lean-in emote mean? Well, actually, the lean-in emote doesn't really apply anymore.
What?
Basically, I used to have a big pop guard. Actually, it's right here.
What the fuck does the pop guard have to do with the lean-in? And he's going to go get it for us. Why is the pop guard?
So for 9 years, I had this pop guard on my microphone. And so here I am. Now I got a double pop guard. I wonder how well you can actually hear me. So here I am doing my stream, and then I can't see the chat.
Sound,
I'm not even
dumbass.
kidding. It blocks the entire chat. So for me to see chat, I have to do this or this. Okay? So
you
the
still do that.
lean-in manual ban emote is when if someone was misbehaving and I needed to manually ban them myself because maybe a moderator wasn't around or not noticing. And so I would have to lean around this to see, right?
You
like
still
this,
do that, though.
or like this. And I would lean in to ban someone around this giant pop guard.
Okay. Whatever.
Orange says, man, that pop guard looks ridiculous now. It's crazy now that you've upgraded, seeing things how noticeable it was. Yeah, look how tiny this one is, right? Actually,
what?
There you go. It's tiny. And it works just as well.
That's a good little out of context.
This one is, right? Actually, there you go. It's tiny.
It's tiny. May 1st? May 1st. It's tiny.
And it works just as well. This pop guard was literally 4 times as big. Look at it. Blocking everything, right?
Why did he go there? What was the
Anyway, so I can see fine. Now this pop guard does not block chat at all. I can actually see all of you easily, which is really cool, right? By the way, one other thing I'd like to bring up. Did you notice that the volume level is much louder now?
No.
This is a result a couple nights ago when I was on my throwback stream. People were saying, "Can you?"
Okay, I'm gonna not enhance his audio. Look at how quiet he is.
Your mic volume, and I was like, "Well, I tried this before, but let's try it again." So
this is his improved mic audio.
I tweaked it, and now this—I'm not even kidding. The mic's like twice as loud, isn't it?
He's so fucking quiet still.
So you might notice that the volume is much louder. Now there is sadly a drawback about this. Some games, sadly, the game volume is really low for no good reason. It's just the game itself. And I hate to say it, it's Baldur's Gate. That's one of them. What? Baldur's Gate is one of the games that for some reason the volume is incredibly low, and I don't know why. I have no explanation as to why the game, all other games are okay, but Baldur's Gate is just really, really low. So I don't know what's going to happen today. You might not be able to hear the...
I think he just added some gain to it. That's all he did. But it's still really quiet. Like, he didn't up the volume. He just added gain to it so you can hear more of his background and shit.
Volume, and I have no way to increase the volume of the game besides... I think in OBS...
I have no way except for the way I can do it.
Advanced audio properties, you may be able to artificially increase the decibel level of just the game, but I've never tried it before.
Right. He has no way to do it, but he's never tried it.
So I guess we can see what happens.
That's so cool. I love that he says that.
But I am a little nervous that today the volume levels are going to be way off and you're not going to be able to hear. People are saying they hear a noise in the background. Yes, it's called the shower.
What? We hear the shower?
The shower is running behind me. The bathroom's behind me on this wall. It only lasts like 5 minutes. It's okay. Relax.
I guess Cat is in the shower. I think Cat is unemployed again, by the way. He changed something in his schedule or some weird shit with his day off or something. I don't know. It was weird. Cat's unemployed. That's my Theo theory.
By the way, today is only Tuesday. Guess what that means? No landscapers. We're avoiding the landscapers this week. I won't be here streaming on Landscaper Day. I guess I should put this into my closet now, huh?
Why did he just show and tell that to us? Okay. Big ups to Cat in the shower. Gotta hose her down.
Look at this guy. He looks so depressed. Oh my god, I hate my job so much.
Also, I was asked, when will I change my background? Probably tomorrow when I'm on my day off. I'll probably come in here at some point during the day and try to set up the background and have a new one starting Thursday. And it'll just be Thursday and then the whole month of March. What will it be? I don't know. Got to look for what combinations of art maybe I haven't done yet. I mean, we didn't have a Mega Man one this month. Maybe Mega Man will come back. We didn't have a Mario one this month. Maybe I'll bring back a Mario picture.
Okay, really?
I got to think about it. What I want to do.
I don't care. I don't care. Please.
All right.
Thank you. Would you ever run for office at DSP Gaming? Please answer that. Please answer that question.
Look at this troll.
What?
Wow, you're an idiot.
That's a troll.
Dark Viking, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Unlike me, I'm currently dealing with a breakup. I'm looking for a chill time. Well, this should be a pretty chill stream. I'm sorry to hear that, obviously.
Let's go. Talk about yourself. Talk about yourself.
In life, these things happen.
Talk about yourself,
everything
please.
Always works out. And just know that even though right now might be a low time in your life, there'll be things to cheer you up. There'll be things that you'll have fun with. You're going to smile again. This is not the end. You still got lots more to go, and hopefully many good times ahead. You just got to get there. So just get through this rough patch now, and you'll get to a better time. My life has been like this.
Yes! Let's fucking go! I knew it. I knew he couldn't resist. I knew he couldn't resist.
Get there. So just get through this rough patch now, and you'll get to a better time.
This piece of shit.
My life has been like this.
This been like this. Like a wave.
Like, seriously.
Like the hand
this
graph.
Is my fucking life.
Like the depression hits you like this.
It's like, whoa, things are going so good, and everything's all right, and then what the hell is it? Whoa! Right? And that maybe that's you right now. Maybe you're literally on a roller coaster heading straight down, but eventually it's gonna hook and it's gonna go back up. So just hang in there. And
you see, life.
The stream should allow you to forget some of that.
It's like a box of hand graphs.
Habib Gaming, what's going on? 14 months as a member.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Gaming, good to see you here today. I haven't said it, but guys, please support the stream today if you can. Anyway, anything is appreciated. A super chat, a membership, a gifted membership, a tip, all appreciated. Thank you to those. I mean, basically the Baldur's Gate 3 streams have been the most consistently supported in ages, and I'm really appreciative of that. Oh, one final thing. I forgot about this entirely. All right.
What?
I may
What?
be getting something cool
Donated.
for
I
the
had
playthrough of Final
to do
Fantasy
it
VII.
to them snipes.
Something cool for the playthrough of Final Fantasy VII.
$4.99 from Anthony McGee.
Dude, Anthony McGee.
Absolutely insane. He's acts concerned about a pop filter but burps and snorts into the mic. Big ups, monkey spank ya, filthy animal.
Fucking based.
That's great. Yeah. He cares so much about his sound quality that he buys neck phones before adding filters to his mic and a mute hotkey so he can mute his snorts. That's so right, Anthony McGee. Thank you. Dude.
All right, I may. So we shall see.
What did he get? A wig? Did he get like an anime hair wig that he'll put on?
Someone just said, "Am I ready for the snow later today?" How much are we getting? I didn't check. We're not getting a lot. It's probably just going to be like.
Don't care. Oh God, YouTube. Hello, for now.
Okay.
Let's see. What's next?
So yes, I may be getting something silly and fun for the Final Fantasy VII playthrough. We'll see if it actually happens. I don't know if it will.
Is it a
but
Buster
it may,
Sword?
And if it does, I think it'll be pretty funny. So we'll have to see. Okay. What are the snowy parts of Washington? What's stupid?
Okay.
It took like so long to finish. Remember Final Fantasy?
What?
It was an insanely long, drawn out playthrough.
What?
Or fucking, a wagon.
What happened?
And so then you go to the grocery store, and they'll be like, they're out of this, and
Okay, hold on. I didn't expect this weird politic
pass
complaint.
or something. We'll have to see. Okay.
Oh, hold on, guys. We gotta rewind the stream.
What are the snowy parts of Washington? What's that part? It's called like Snoqualmie Pass or something like that.
Sikorsky Pass?
Commercial highway where all the major trucks drive that carry product to the state. And whenever it snows, it always snows on that pass, and the pass fucks up, and then no one can get product. I don't know why they haven't figured out that this is an awful infrastructure to do it that way, that they have to find alternate means to do it, because every time it fucking snows here, that pass always is closed. And so then you go to the grocery store, and they'll be like, they're out of this, and this.
His ears are dancing, dude.
And yet, what happened? Why do we not have half the products? Oh, didn't you hear it snowed on Snoqualmie Pass or whatever? It's like, so why the fuck didn't you figure out another way to do it? It's 2024. It's not the dark ages where you're a fucking horse and buggy or a fucking, a wagon trying to fucking get the stuff. Like, can we figure this out? Use our brains? If it snows, we just get nothing. Oh, okay, dunce.
What?
That's a great way to operate your business, right?
Dunce? Who are you even talking to right now? Who is this dunce? Who did you talk to? What?
Fire Emblem was a good playthrough. Will I ever play this? So
Okay.
I'm starting to feel like there's too many, and they're not good anymore because there's too many.
Yeah, Fire Emblem sucks, guys. In case you didn't know, nice. Good opinion. Thank you. You know those good games? Yeah, they suck, actually.
What's the worst weather
Because there's anime girls in them, and he's married, and he can't play them.
I've ever experienced? Ugh. I mean, I've seen both extremes.
Both.
There was one summer here in Washington. We had 111-degree weather for about a week. I take it back. It was around 3 days.
What's 111?
And that's the hottest I've ever experienced. And I've been to California. I've been to Florida. I've been to Texas.
43 degrees?
111-degree weather. Right?
44. Even.
It was so hot, the pavement outside was becoming sticky. The pavement. That's not good. Basically, nothing here is built
grease was
to
sticky.
sustain heat. So the homes were like 130 degrees on the inside. We had air conditioners pumping, and it was still 80 degrees in the hallway, just standing there. It was 80-something degrees with all the air conditioners on in the house. That was absolutely the hottest weather I've ever experienced. The coldest, I would probably say there was a couple times where there were crazy blizzards when I lived in Connecticut, where it was so bad that I was snowed in for like a week. Like that happened once when I was luckily I was a YouTuber at that point. This was the early days of
luckily
YouTuber. So
I remember
bought
this.
all the games that I think I needed for the week.
I remember
and then we got
this.
this crazy snowstorm.
John Rambo was supposed to drive to his house from New York.
And it was so bad that I just basically stayed home and, gamed all week. I didn't even go out. I just stayed, and it was funny because I was at home for like 4 or 5 days straight, didn't even leave. And then I went out to the outdoor parking lot because I didn't have a garage back then. And my car was an igloo. Everyone else's car, they had to dig out because they had to drive to work. And I didn't have to. I worked from home. So my car was just encased like a giant igloo of ice and snow.
5 days?
And I had to like break through this fucking igloo to get to the house. To get to the car. because it was like a house over my car. It was so bad. The snow was so bad in Connecticut this one time, they had to push the snow into rivers and lakes. They had nowhere to put it. They'd been plowing it for 4 days straight, and there was no room for any more snow. They had nowhere to put it. They'd been plowing it for 4 days straight. Snow into rivers and lakes.
I'm sorry.
They had nowhere
Get my mind out of the gutter.
Put it. They'd been plowing it for 4 days straight, and there was no room for any more snow. So they just had to start pushing into bodies of water.
I
in the hopes that it
apologize
would
for my sins.
eventually start melting. Now, other weather, I've been through hurricanes. I've been some pretty bad hurricanes. My parents, there was a twister that actually touched down 1 block away from their house on a green. There's like a big central area. There's 2 roads, and in between there's a bunch of green areas with like trees and park area. And a twister touched down in the park and ripped all the trees and the foliage out of it and knocked all the power lines out. So they didn't have power for like 2 weeks because they had to rewire the whole neighborhood because the fucking twister ripped everything out.
Damn.
So that was close to me, but I didn't live there. That was close to me.
What?
So
it wasn't you then? What?
The scariest weather I've ever experienced.
Okay.
I was on a plane
Whatever.
flying from Connecticut to New York City. It was one of those, I think they call it like almost like a puddle jumper flight, meaning it was a very small plane. And it was only me and one other woman on the plane.
Uh-oh. I'm married.
Taking this, it was like supposed to be like a connection flight. Like you're flying to New York and then you're flying from
It's
New
like
York
a
to,
fucking
Kingsford
private
somewhere in
jet
the
or
country.
some shit.
So we're on this tiny plane and we flew through a storm. And it was so bad, the turbulence, I thought we were going to die. I legit, and you know, it's rare in my life that I think that kind of stuff, but that turbulence was so bad, I thought we were going to die because that plane was going like this in the sky. Like you think roller coaster? Imagine you're on a roller coaster for 2 hours and it never stops and it's nonstop like this. Like that's exactly how the flight felt. It was about an hour. I think it was about an hour.
Of course.
Like this. Okay. And then when I got off the flight was so bad. The flight attendant said, "So we don't do this usually, but that was so bad. They gave each me and the woman, it was like a $200 flight certificate to say you get a free flight later because that flight was so bad.
That looked good."
And I was like, "Holy shit!" So that was the worst weather I've experienced up close. Okay. All right. Anyway, any final things, or shall we adjourn?
We should adjourn.
Oh,
dude.
I don't know. Orange, you're talking about mid-2000s. How much was the flight? How would I know? This was the mid-2000s.
Bruh.
You know, when I was flying around playing Street Fighter in my 20s.
He remembers the cost of like specific burgers that he had 20 fucking years ago. But he doesn't remember the cost of a flight? Why is that so like out of the ordinary for you?
I don't know how much it cost.
What? Okay. Whatever.
Here, cheaper than now. There you go. Now everything's so much more expensive. You know, this is probably like 20 years ago.
Okay. Burger.
All right. I think we'll adjourn.
Yeah, he remembered the cost of the voucher, but he can't remember the cost of the flight.
Thank you guys for a great podcast. I hope you enjoy.
Very believable.
You know, I hope you all have a safe Wednesday. Remember, I'll not be here. I know it's weird because I'm here almost every Wednesday. You know, like clockwork. You get used to a schedule. And I understand that when that schedule gets, you know, changed a little bit, it's a little confusing.
Shut up. Let's go to the unrecorded segment. Let's see if he says any gamer words. And then we'll adjourn.
Good podcast, everybody. Good show.
Yeah, good, yeah.
Let's now get set up for Baldur's Gate. I am going to take a brief break to go use the restroom, but it's not going to be a long one. So I'm not going to do like a commercial break or any music or anything. I'm just going to mute the mic and run and use the potty, as they say. Here we are. So, by the way, yeah, it is installed. Here it is. Rebirth is installed and ready to go. I'm excited, obviously, for this, right?
I sound excited.
So, hope to see you all Thursday morning for a whole day of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, right? But in the meantime, let's get this booted. You guys can listen to the title screen music while I use the restroom, okay? You guys really like the music, huh? Abdullah is saying Ed in Street Fighter 6 seems really good, but also it's hard to use. I probably will never use him. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. Like, since I'm skipping him, I'm probably never going to bother with the character. I'll probably just start playing when Akuma comes out and just skip him entirely and not give a shit. So, by the way, my microphone is way louder now, but I can't increase the volume of the game here in the menu of OBS. We can see it in the game itself if you can adjust the volume if we need to. Or what I can do is there's a special menu, the advanced menu, where you can like increase decibels in OBS. So if I need to increase the in-game volume, I can do that manually. All right, but I can't actually do it with like the volume's all the way maxed already for the game. So, all right, I will be back with more in just a moment. Please be patient. I'm just gonna mute the mic. I'll leave you with this. I'll be right back. Baldur's Gate 3. See you then.
Hold on. He's leaving people with this. The sounds of nature.
Burnell? Mr. Burnell, you there?
Big ups to the sounds of nature. That's very cool. So he's on. Let's go live. And he's not here. He's still gone. Guys, I gotta press X. Why is it not working? Guys, it's not working. Oh, we're live. Shit. Okay. I guess this is it. I mean, he didn't say any gamer words or anything. Oh, I wanted to see this. Okay, so we're done here. We're done with this live shit. But, okay, Final Fantasy VII is an interesting game because he actually hates it. He hates Final Fantasy VII. He didn't even like the remake that much. So I found this video. Big ups Edit Man. I can't read that. Apparently this is a bunch of clips of DSP hating on Final Fantasy VII. So I want to check this out right before the game comes out. And we're going to check it out. I'm curious what his opinion is. Okay.
Let's get into these meat of these questions. Next question. Whoops. Hi, Phil. Obviously, your opinion is highly valued when you review games of series such as The Hateful Truth. And it's also obvious that you loved role-playing games of the past. Final Fantasy IV, 6, Chrono Trigger is my personal favorite. However, I could be wrong, but it seems that what people are saying is that for some reason you dislike Final Fantasy VII. My question is, what exactly do you dislike about Final Fantasy VII? I personally think that it was a great RPG. Please give us a mini hateful truth
Look at him
about the
sway.
game. By the way, this is the third time asking the question, but you never responded. So here's hoping to have you answer this. That's from TSF2. So yes, I'm finally going to answer it. I'm not going to do a mini hateful truth because it's going to take too long, but I will say this. The Final Fantasy series of games, when they were going through the Nintendo and the SNES, had this, this evolution. And I really feel that at that time of Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger was the best time for RPGs. There were other series as well that were going on at the same time that were really freaking good. You had Dragon Quest, you had Lunar. There were all these different role-playing games going on at the same time that were really high quality. And then, all of a sudden, Final Fantasy makes this leap to the PlayStation.
Okay.
And it was a giant announcement. It was actually released on 7/7/1997. So it was like even a date. It has a play on numbers. Oh, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII. So you start playing it, and
all right.
Let me put it to you this way. I think a lot of people hold Final Fantasy VII on a pedestal because it was the first major RPG to ever be in 3D, meaning to have 3D graphics, not 2D drawn graphics.
No, what does 3D
It
mean?
was the first CD-based Final Fantasy, okay? And it was on the PlayStation, which was an insanely popular system at the time. Like everyone, you have to get the PlayStation, you have to play Final Fantasy VII, okay? I really think that it was overly hyped. I think that in a lot of people's minds, Final Fantasy VII was actually the first Final Fantasy they ever played, and because of that, they hold it up on this pedestal.
Okay, so that's interesting too, because he really likes Final Fantasy VI, which, no surprise, is one of the first that he also played. And it's the one he played as a kid. So isn't that the same logic here? That you like Final Fantasy VI?
This is the best role-playing game ever made, okay? There are people who will say that Final Fantasy VII is just the best one out of all of them. It just is. And you ask them why. Oh, well, the graphics and the story and this gameplay element and that gameplay element. I grew up earlier than that with the earlier Final Fantasy, with Final Fantasy 4 and 6 in particular, which were actually called 2 and 3 in the United States at the time.
There you go. He liked 6 in particular.
I thought the story was great. You had a multitude of characters, major story arcs.
Right, that's 7
turns.
too.
Final Fantasy 6 in particular, one of the longest, interesting RPG plots that doesn't drag out. That's the other thing about it. It was perfectly paced, never dragged out or felt like it was taking too long, and you get emotional attachment to those characters. Final Fantasy VII...
As if 7 doesn't have this? What?
In comparison, the narrative is not that good. There's several parts of the game where the story drags out. several things that are never really explained, big plot holes. For the first time in a Final Fantasy series, the ending was ambiguous and didn't really explain a damn thing about what happened after you beat the game. And actually became kind of anticlimactic because after that, Final Fantasy games and role-playing games in general started having endings that weren't very good. And that was really the first game that did that. What the fuck?
Final Fantasy VII is to blame for other games having bad endings?
Did I just see ending?
What?
You know, I thought I was going to get more than that. Especially after the ending of Final Fantasy VI, which is like fucking 20 minutes long, explains what happens to every character after the game, an amazingly emotional ending, and then they just throw it all away with Final Fantasy VII. What it really feels like they were trying to do, that it's gone in now. Amazing visual presentation. Amazing art direction, okay? Tweaked gameplay to the point where they think it's good, even though the fans might not agree, but kind of going in its own direction and ignoring the fact that the story, the characters, these are the major focuses of role-playing games at that time, that those should be the focus of the game. And I really feel that the game suffered because of that. Again, I think there's a group of people who this was their first role-playing game, and because of that, they hold it on a pedestal, especially because Final Fantasy VIII was fucking horrendous. Final Fantasy VIII, probably by far the worst Final Fantasy game.
I like
series.
8. What the fuck?
Horribly boring, horrible story, everything about it was horrible, okay?
Oh man, I'm toxified.
So, having that be the first 3D Final Fantasy, I think it's overhyped, and a lot of people just like it too much, you know what I mean?
I don't know. Because again, it just applies to himself. He likes Final Fantasy VI because that's the one he played as a kid. It's the same shit.
It's funny, again, because, you know, I get the feeling a lot of people who think, oh, it's the best, they never played those classic games. And then if they were to play them today, they probably wouldn't like them because, I don't really like the graphics. They're 2D, you know? The gameplay is kind of repetitive and boring. Yeah, but that's what JRPGs were back then. You had to fight repetitive enemies and grind, but that was part of the enjoyment of the game because you leveled up, you gained new abilities and spells by going through the grind, so it was rewarding. It wasn't like a lot of the times today where you just have to go through fights for the sake of going through fights to kill time, and back in those days there was a purpose to it. So, I don't know, for me, Final Fantasy VII, I'm not saying it's a bad game, I'm just saying I think that it was massively overhyped and that people give it way too much credit because I really think that the story, the narrative, the pacing, the gameplay, and the characters of the previous Final Fantasy games, 4 and 6 in particular, were actually better than Final Fantasy VII, and people just give Final Fantasy VII way too much credit simply because it was 3D. Ooh,
that sounds dumb.
Were 3D.
I never really heard anyone say Final Fantasy VII is good because it's 3D. I never heard anyone say that.
You know, there's only so much you can.
People always praise the characters and the story.
You can give credit to because they jumped to 3D. Okay.
Right, it's 3D.
Okay.
That's why. Let's go.
All
There's
right,
more.
so
There's more, guys.
So
this is a year later. Let's see how his opinion has changed.
New generation of games came out, all right? And the Nintendo 64 came out, but there was this big controversy at the time because here's
this
what
looks
happened.
so weird.
Nintendo, in all their wisdom, they've been like this forever. They thought they knew better than everybody else. And they said, listen, we really like the cartridge format. All these other systems that are being developed are all saying they're moving over to CDs. We're not doing that. We're going to put out a new console that's just as good as those, but runs on cartridges. And they did. They called it the Nintendo 64. The problem
I didn't know
was
that.
cartridges, number one, were a lot more expensive to develop and produce, and number two, held significantly less data than a CD could. So when Square was actually developing the next Final Fantasy game, they said, we can't fit this fucking game on a Nintendo 64 cartridge. It's too big. And Nintendo said, well, tough titty, we're going ahead with our cartridge-based system.
Tough titty.
So Square said, all right, then to hell with you. We're going to develop our next Final Fantasy game. We're actually, for the very first time, taking it off of a Nintendo console, and we're putting it onto the PlayStation 1. And this was huge news at the time. Every gaming magazine's all they talked about. Huge news, Final Fantasy jumping ship from Nintendo to Sony, backing Sony. This is actually going to give Sony like a killer app to buy the PlayStation 1 for. You're definitely going to want a PlayStation 1 to play the next Final Fantasy game. And that's when all the hype started for Final Fantasy VII, and people were like, it's going to be the best Final Fantasy ever, because they can't even fit on a cartridge, there's so much content, and it's going to blow you away, it's moving into the 3D realm for the first time, 3D graphics, it's going to be gorgeous, it's going to have awesome sound and whatever. And,
God,
you know, I bought into the hype, I did.
Wait a minute.
Said, wow, this is, you know, I can't wait, because I remember, I played Final Fantasy 2 and 3, or at least what I thought were 2 and 3, and I absolutely loved the games. And I said, wow, they're jumping to 3D, it's going to be so much a better game, I cannot wait to play this game.
So he's the one that was hung up on the 3D part, but everyone else loves it because it's 3D?
Okay.
What?
So I remember, this is a funny story. I remember the day when Final Fantasy came out, Final Fantasy 7. I think it was actually 7/7/97. So July 7th, 1997.
You gotta love him pretending that he doesn't know the date when literally he already said the 777 thing. 7/7/7/7/7/7.
Came out in the United States. And
nice feigning ignorance about that.
I went to EB Games, Electronics Boutique, to pick up my game. And there was a...
Hold on. I went to EB Games, Electronic Boutique.
Electronics Boutique, to pick up my game. And there was a giant fucking line of people. I was like, there's so many people here to buy this game. This is nuts. And I guess what it was that if you were one of the first, 50 people to buy the game, they had promotional posters to give you, and it was a two-sided poster. One side was, the box art, and the other side was actually, a map of the
yeah, why does he look so weird here?
So people were, loving this. Wow.
It's like the field of view on his webcam is, extra.
Early, and I got
extra deep.
I remember the guy who was number 50, he got the last poster, and the guy behind line him, he was like, no, you're kidding me. You can't be out. You can't be out. He turns to the guy who's number 50, and he goes, dude, I want your sign. Or no, I want your poster. Can you give me your poster? And he's like, no, I'm not going to give you my poster. What, are you out of your mind? He goes, all right, I'll pay you. And the guy takes out his wallet. Now, keep in mind, this is probably
Top 10 things that didn't happen?
And a guy in his early 20s, so this isn't like a kid who's begging his mom for the poster. This is like an adult. Oh, I'll pay you. And he pulls out his wallet, and he's taking wads of cash out of his wallet. I'll pay you for it, man. I'll pay you. I want that poster. And the guy goes, you're out of your mind, buddy. You're not getting my poster. And the guy was so upset. He was flipping mad that he couldn't get his poster. Meanwhile, I'm sure the thing's worth nothing today. You know what I mean? But it's just so funny. It was back then that kind of collectible shit was such a big deal. It wasn't like today where every game that you pre-order, you get a pre-order bonus poster and, some kind of swag or whatever for the game. You didn't really get that often back then. So those people were just so blown away that you were getting this, and the guy wanted it so bad. He's chasing the guy through the mall with money out of his pocket like a knucklehead, all right?
Like a knucklehead.
So, here's my honest opinion on Final Fantasy VII.
Let's go.
And I know this is going to be controversial. A lot of people have asked me about Final Fantasy VII in the past. And what I thought about it, and what the Square did with it. If you want my honest opinion, I think that Final Fantasy VII was a critical development point for the series. It was where they decided, whoever it was who's in charge, said we don't want to keep making the same style of game. We want to start mixing it up. We want to start changing things.
Okay.
So that this could be we could say it's different, all right?
Right.
And so they changed some critical things, although for the most part, the gameplay of Final Fantasy VII is extremely similar to the same turn-based combat of the previous Final Fantasy games. But they made critical design decisions with the game.
Like what?
That kind of threw me for a loop, all right?
Like what?
Number one, the music. Now, don't get...
Critical gameplay design decisions? Number one, the music. Yeah, everyone hates the Final Fantasy VII music. You know that soundtrack? It kind of sucks, right? Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there are some iconic tunes in Final Fantasy VII, like the boss theme.
Oh no! I fucking rewound it so far.
Final Fantasy VII, alright?
Fuck.
And I know this is going to be controversial. A lot of people have asked me about Final Fantasy. It was where they... For the most part, the gameplay of Final Fantasy, they made critical design decisions. The music.
Here we go.
Now, don't get me wrong, there are some iconic tunes in Final Fantasy VII, like the boss theme. Or the theme of, what was it, Red 13's Town or whatever, where it goes dun 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 bum 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 bum. Like, those themes were really iconic, but again, guess why? Because Nuobu was the guy who did the music for the game.
Nuobu.
But for me, and this could just be me, but I was like an audiophile. Like I said, I really liked the audio of the Final Fantasy series. It didn't sound as good as the music that was on the SNES cartridges.
Can you
It just
imagine?
didn't to me for whatever reason. I actually thought that the music that came out of the SNES cartridge sounded more like an orchestra than the tunes that came out of Final Fantasy VII on a PlayStation 1 off of a disc. And in fact, in some parts, I almost felt that the music sounded like MIDI music from off of a computer. Now, you might not know what a MIDI is, especially since they've been outdated for a long time, but it was a music format back in the 90s.
MIDI music?
Used to make songs with, but it's a very low-quality format.
My die?
High-quality audio on a MIDI. But that's kind of what
Isn't it literally CD quality music on a PlayStation?
It almost sounded to me like they had good music and they compressed it to make it fit on the disc, and somehow it lost its quality. And I don't know, maybe it's just me being an audiophile.
This motherfucker really trying to tell us he's an audiophile?
But I always took issue with the way
Really?
that Final Fantasy VII sounded, okay?
The fuck out of here, audiophile.
Now, another thing.
PDF file.
That really,
Shut
really
the fuck
pissed me
up.
off about the game. The ending. It's horrible.
The ending.
Every Final
Spoilers.
Fantasy game up to then had an ending that fleshed out what happened, especially the two that I played, Final Fantasy 2 and 3, you know, which is what they were calling in the US, had extended endings where you would follow along the characters, find out what happened to the characters after the game ended. It even had kind of epilogues. Final Fantasy 3's ending is like 25 minutes long. It's insane. That's like the best way to end a game. Final Fantasy 7,
Is it?
There's a final boss, and then a final boss after that's kind of weird because it's nothing like anything else in the game, and then one pre-rendered cutscene that lasts like 30 seconds, and the game fucking ends. I remember beating Final Fantasy 7, okay?
Okay.
And I stood there at the ending screen when the credits started rolling, and I went, is that it? I just played this game for how many hours, and that was the fucking ending? I invested all this time and effort into the game. This is a series that always has had rewarding endings. What the fuck happened? It's almost like they didn't want to end...
I don't know what he means. He's not even explaining what's bad about it. He just says, okay? Question mark. That's it. There's...
The game,
like,
they didn't have a definitive ending, so they just said, here, look at this generic cutscene that doesn't explain anything.
generic cutscene.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
what is a
seriously,
generic
like,
cutscene?
What the fuck?
What does that mean?
What were they thinking with that?
What were they thinking?
To this day, I still can't understand what they were thinking, okay?
Reminder, this whole rant started because point number 1 was gameplay. And then he started talking about music. And now the cutscene. This is gameplay, by the way. This is his gameplay complaint.
And also, I didn't like the fact that in Final Fantasy VII, you could only have a 3-character party. This was the very first Final Fantasy game where they reduced the party size. Ever since before then, it had at least been 4 characters.
But why is that a bad thing?
This was the first game where it was less than that. It was only 3. And
So?
I said, I don't understand. If you have better technology, more storage capacity, better graphics, why would you reduce the amount of characters that you're playing with?
But
And
that
that's what I
doesn't
really
make it
found
bad,
about the game.
though.
I like having a big party with a variety of characters who are all unique and different. Instead, now it was more like, well... here's three and too bad, deal with it. And it was funny because since then, think about Final Fantasy since then. A lot of them, including 8, I don't know about 9 because I didn't really play it that much, but 10, 10-2, they all have 3 characters. Even today, Final Fantasy 13, 3 characters. Like, why did they reduce it to 3 characters and then stick with that formula? I don't understand that. Very confusing to me, okay?
Why is that bad, though?
So,
I don't get it.
Honestly, I thought that Final Fantasy VII was a disappointment. Not to say that I didn't enjoy the game, I absolutely did. There are a couple parts that I really fucking hate.
Is it the dress-up part?
Like the stupid Shinra Tower. It's the most stupid. You don't know where the fuck to go. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You have limited resources. It just keeps droning on and on and on. And there's just parts of the game that are like that. And I'm like, they could have definitely streamlined this game and made it a little better. I actually liked the pacing and the combat and the gameplay and the story of Final Fantasy 2 and 3 a hell of a lot more than Final Fantasy 7. But the thing that really pissed me off is that the game got insanely overhyped just because it was on PlayStation 1 and on a fucking disc. It was like,
what?
It's the first 3D Final Fantasy, it's on a disc, it's the best Final Fantasy ever. Like, no, it's not. I actually like Final Fantasy 2 and 3 better than I like 7, but...
So because I like 2 and 3 better, that means this one is not the best. Who are you even arguing against right now? Like, what does this even mean? It's just not your favorite.
People
I
are
don't
just like insanely
like,
hyped for this game. Now, for a lot of people, Final Fantasy VII is the very first Final Fantasy game they ever played because that was the era when they got into console gaming. And for them, they almost put it on a pedestal and say that's like one of the best games of all time. To which I beg to differ. I'm like, sorry, if you haven't really played all the other Final Fantasies, you can't make that statement.
Sorry.
Right? So here we go. After 5
That is
years
so
of waiting,
weird.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to reveal the game that I was going to play in Project 7. Ladies and gentlemen, the game that we are talking about is a game that many of you guessed over the years, some of you did not. The game is, yes, you've probably figured it out by now, Final Fantasy VII. Okay, well, it was Project 7, Final Fantasy 7, that was so easy to figure out. But, you know, over the years, I kind of tried to do things to, you know, get people to not think that that's what it was. And quite honestly, over the years, I had ideas that it would be something different. I kind of thought, maybe I'll change it. But Final Fantasy
That's
VII,
just your opinion, Invisible Mute. I don't like the early
you know
ones.
what, I already can tell you, this video
I
is
think
going to
they're
tons of
boring.
thumbs down. Everyone, oh, Phil's talking bad about Final Fantasy 7 and Project 7 and all the thumbs down. I don't care. You know what?
But I'm not going to call you wrong.
Thumbs down the goddamn video. I don't care, all right?
What thumbs
Final
down the
Fantasy VII,
video?
in my opinion, is one of the most overregarded, overpraised.
Overregarded.
Final Fantasy VII, in my opinion, is one of the most overregarded,
Uh-oh, that's familiar.
overpraised, kiss-ass games of all time and doesn't deserve it. Here's why. Number one, the game released on PlayStation 1. It was a huge acquisition for PlayStation because up to that point, the Final Fantasy series had only been on Nintendo. So to go from Nintendo and kind of jump ship to Sony was a huge deal. Number two, it was one of the first major RPGs to have 3D graphics. Yes, most RPGs at the time were still 2D animated sprites.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Really, thank
Lord
you.
King.
$2 from Lord Kane 666. Regarded in the past plus still regarded equals no change.
Exactly. That's a great formula. That's the formulaic equation, dude.
This is the first game to jump
Formulatic,
into full
whatever.
3D.
I don't know. I'm
Okay,
stupid.
and so people, so
Thank you,
hyped
Lord
for 3D.
King.
Number three, because the series already had such a huge installed fan base, regardless of the fact that the game might not have been, in my opinion, as good as previous games in the Final Fantasy series. People felt this was the future. This is the jump from Final Fantasy to the modern era. This is the game. This is what people say. Final Fantasy VII is the game that brought Western JRPGs to America and made them popular. I completely fucking disagree. I think that JRPGs were already popular in America.
Said that?
Here's what I think. Final Fantasy VII was the first game to receive insane media hype because at that point, magazines and everything was becoming huge business.
Okay, so it seems like what he's really upset about with Final Fantasy VII, before he gets into like the cross-dressing part and all that stuff, is just that people were excited for it. So it kind of just seems like a current day opinion. It's kind of like he's never changed. He's just upset that people were excited and hyped for a game. That's kind of really his problem. And he played it and it wasn't his favorite. But is that really like a bad thing? It wasn't his favorite game. Why does he hate the game for that?
Hype the fuck out of Final Fantasy VII.
I don't get
We'll
it.
sell a ridiculous amount of magazines. We'll sell, ridiculous, because it's not like it is today where it's all about the internet and everything was free. Back then you had to go buy the magazine to get the news on the new game. And I remember 7797.
Yeah,
Everything was
contrarianism,
7777, buy Final Fantasy
77,
VII. And people who didn't
77,
even play video
77.
games ran out and bought PlayStations and bought Final Fantasy VII because it got so fucking overhyped. So, that was the game that I was going to play. And I was going to do gameplay of it, like do a playthrough I would say off stream. Gee, I didn't stream back then. But I was going to do a playthrough on camera with my old camera like I used to. But it wasn't going to upload the footage raw. I was going to use that footage in the series, okay?
Raw.
Final Fantasy VII has a lot that can be made fun of, all right? Just off the top of my head, a few silly things
it's a
about the
goofy
game that I
game.
know could be hilarious in a series. Number one, why do the characters in the game in combat look normal? In combat in Final Fantasy VII, they walk up, they've got normal proportioned bodies, they look really cool, they kind of look like
What?
anime characters. Then they go to anything outside of combat, and they're like little squished chibi characters with really disproportioned heads and limbs.
What?
It makes no fucking sense. Why did they do that? If
It's
you could
like the scale. What?
obviously make the characters normal size in the combat, why couldn't you do that in the normal game? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any logical sense. I think
It literally makes logical sense. What are you on, bro? What?
it's honestly because it was going to take too much storage space. 'Cause
Okay.
The game itself, I believe, was 3 or 4 discs.
But it doesn't make any logical sense. Thank you, Lord Kane, dude. You just got fucking scammed again. What is happening? People like Final Fantasy VII for its compelling story, memorable characters, and groundbreaking graphics and gameplay for its time. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why. And it's okay if you don't like it. But it just kind of seems like his reason for not liking it is just people were excited for it. And I didn't like it as much as them, therefore I hate the game.
And at that time, that was one of the,
It's
4
so
discs
weird.
at launch. People, it was high production cost. And
But
so they
now he's excited for the remake, of course.
say, oh, we want to, no way we can have another disc or two to have the characters look higher resolution or better outside of combat. But it was so silly. I think the characters look terrible in the game. The music. I hate to say this because I know a lot of people love the soundtrack of Final Fantasy VII. I actually do. I love the overworld theme, and I love the boss battles theme of Final Fantasy VII. I also love the song at the end, the Sephiroth song, One Winged Angel. I love that song. Oh, and the Genova theme I like. So there's like 4
Okay,
songs
so
in the
he
game I
likes
really
all
like.
the songs.
But compared to the soundtracks of Final Fantasy 4 and 6, the other 2 games that had been localized for American audiences as Final Fantasy 2 and 3, I like the soundtracks of those games way better than I like the soundtrack of Final Fantasy VII. In fact,
Yo, shoutouts to
if
Nerd
you
Brew.
listen to the music of Final Fantasy 4 or 6, and then you listen to the soundtrack of Final Fantasy VII, you're like, this game was on a CD. Why the hell does the audio, the game music sound so terrible? Because it does. It sounds like MIDI music, like. Wait a minute, it's on a CD. You couldn't hire a fucking real musician to fucking play the music. And the funny thing is, it was Nobuo Uematsu who orchestrated all this music, but the music sounds like shit a lot in the game. But then he went and he did symphonies, and he has a band who plays it, and the music sounds fucking badass. Why couldn't they make it? It's a CD fucking game. Record real quality music.
All right, let me hear this, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Let's look up FF7 battle theme, PS1. Oh, I see what he means. It sounds good to me.
And put it on the CD. Don't fucking, and that was the thing, because again, space constraints, right? But for me, it's like, you're bringing this game into the new era, the era of CDs. Go all out. And it seems like they kind of skimped.
I guess he's upset that it doesn't have like an orchestra recording, but like games didn't really do that back then.
As high quality as I would have liked it to be. I didn't like that the graphics were different in combat than outside of combat. It looked like little chibis. And also,
man, he hates
the
chibis.
characters. Some of the characters in Final Fantasy VII are the poorest poorest developed characters I've seen in a role-playing game. Coming off of games like Final Fantasy 4 and 6, where every character had this big fleshed-out story, with a few exceptions here or there. But when you played a character in those games, you cared about that character. You learned about their backstory. You learned about their personality traits. Some of the characters in Final Fantasy 7 is like Kate Sith. It's a fucking robot that's controlled by someone who works for the Shinra Corporation. And that's it. Like, there's almost no backstory for Kate Sith. You can play as the character for most of the game, but there's never really that much backstory. It's never really, it's not fleshed out. There's entire characters in that game. Cloud. Cloud sucks. Cloud sucks as a protagonist because he's got amnesia. So he's really a non-character.
What? He's got what?
They must have amnesia. They forgot that I'm him.
Brood, emo, brood. And he was kind of the first kind of stereotypical JRPG character. That's the stereotypical male character, brooding.
That's Cloud.
And it's stupid.
It's stupid.
I thought that the characters, the protagonists from the previous Final Fantasy games were way better.
I don't know. I don't have a problem with him having his opinions. It's just interesting in current day when he tries to use these games as hype. When he complained about hype before, like, hype is convenient whenever he needs it to be, and it's bad whenever he needs it to be. And also, the biggest issue, I think, is just he doesn't explain, he can't articulate why he likes something or why he dislikes something. He struggles with that. He really does.
Do it to them, snipe.
I'll continue after this. Thank you, Ramen Brahmin did.
$4.99 from Romain Bremen. I think part of his psychology is he doesn't know why he hates a thing.
Exactly. I was just saying that.
He knows he is having an emotional reaction to it.
Yep.
So he makes excuses.
Great point, Ramen. Yeah, just what I was talking about. It's like he can't articulate why he doesn't or does like something. He just kind of feels a certain way. That's a great way to explain it. And instead of understanding that and maybe internalizing it and thinking about why he's feeling the way he does, he just thinks that the way he is thinking is the correct way, and everyone who disagrees with him is wrong. And everyone else is overblown and hyping shit up and going crazy over this thing. When it's not really like that. You guys know it's okay to have different opinions. It's just, if you're a YouTuber, you'd think you'd want to explain and articulate
do it to them, snipe.
why you're thinking this, instead of just saying it sucks.
$5 from Punished Lasagna.
Thank you, Punished
I would
Lasagna.
counter that he only loves or hates things based on how other people feel.
That's true.
He has very little kid pain of his own.
That's interesting too, because he keeps bringing up the hype for Final Fantasy VII. It's like he's a contrarian. He hates it because other people like it. So that's also a really good point too, which is also interesting now because he's hyping up the remake, the sequel to the remake, and he's part of the bandwagon now. So I don't know. It's like, it's just convenient whenever he needs it to be.
Here and talk about Final Fantasy VII for about 4 hours.
But again, it all ties back to him wanting to be taken seriously, and he always feels like you have to respect his opinion. When he doesn't really, he struggles with giving you his opinion. He can't really explain why he thinks what he thinks. And that's why he was never able to be taken seriously, even to this day, like with his Elden Ring take. Shout out my Elden Ringers. We're circling it back. It's like I planned it. This was in my script. The Elden Ring take. He doesn't have all the information, and he goes off his head, and he goes off headlines, and he can't be taken seriously because he doesn't know what he's talking about, or he comes across like he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't think the game is anywhere near as good as Final Fantasy 4 or 6, just from my perspective.
But he so desperately wants to be respected.
I'm sure there's tons of people out there who are going to disagree with me because
sorry
they've
about
got
that tangent there,
those
guys.
rose-colored glasses on, right? This was the first major Final Fantasy game that hit Western shores.
This is him being toxic
by American media, and people loved it, sold like crazy.
This is him being toxic because there is no reason to say this. There's no reason to toxify people that actually liked it. Why would you say that they have rose-colored glasses and you have to be toxic about it? You don't have to do this. You can just disagree and say it's not your favorite game and explain why. You don't have to make everyone who does like it like a sheep, a bandwagoner, rose-colored glasses type guy.
It was their first Final Fantasy, so for then, of course, you're going to say, well, this is the best Final Fantasy, and I completely disagree. Now, I will obviously agree that there were other Final Fantasies that were far worse than 7. I thought that 8 was fucking atrociously bad, and I think 10 is actually pretty good. Now that I've played the whole game, I think it's a pretty good game. I actually never played, I had 12, but I never played significantly into it. I got so caught up with the open world combat at 12 that I played it more for the combat than the story, but I digress.
Do it to them, snipe.
Dude, Wesley H with the 5, thank you so much.
$5 from Wesley H. but he needs to be a part of the bandwagon now because he knows subconsciously that his business depends on hype and day one views, not his vibes.
Exactly. Like, he doesn't have a real opinion anymore. He can't even, like, trust his own feelings towards a game. We can't even trust it as, like, an audience because it's all based on the money that he makes. He loved Elden Ring until it was making less money, then he started to hate the game. Palworld was awesome and super cool for one day when he made money playing it, and then it was played out the next day. It's all correlated to money. He doesn't really have opinions on games anymore because he doesn't really care. So there's also that to factor in too. Thank you, Wesley.
Final Fantasy VII was the game I was going to play. And you might not know this, so here's some more reveals, right? In 2010, I actually played it. I played like half of the game. I got all the way... I actually remember, I got to the Shinra Corporation. I fucking hate that stage. That's one of the most poorly designed stages in a JRPG I've ever played because you don't know where you're supposed to be fucking going. You end up walking in circles. You end up getting so many random encounters that the fucking thing takes hours to beat. And unless you know exactly where to go with what key card to open what fucking door on what elevator, you can be stuck in Shinra Corporation for like hours on end and it's torture. Once you get past Shinra Corporation, the game actually picks up and there's a couple really good parts of Final Fantasy VII. But I remember I was doing this playthrough and I'd already done 2 to 3 sessions of gameplay at the time. We're talking hours, because back then I used to record for a long time, so we're talking I probably had like 10-15 hours of gameplay of Final Fantasy VII recorded, and it just never came together. I had the gameplay, and it never came together that I made the series back then. And I even had the infamous bathhouse scene, the infamous cross-dressing scene, all the infamous, ridiculous, silly, Japanese culture, hilarity that really doesn't translate well into American culture. All those jokes, I'm all filmed and ready to go. I never did anything with it.
Okay, and to close this off, oh god. To close this off, we might as well big ups The Outsider. We have to. We're on Final Fantasy. It comes out in 2 days. We have to. We gotta close this off with the infamous part in the remake that DSP hates because a man dresses like a lady, and it makes him really uncomfortable because he's married. Stupid. So let's get to it. Hold on.
Explain the situation and see where that gets us.
So this is a really good part.
PW Dubs to the 50-bit cheer says pain is pleasure. So I'm curious because in Final Fantasy VII, the original, there's a lot of cringeworthy stuff that happens around this point, and I don't know how much they've actually included and how much they haven't. I will not say anything until we reach the end of this segment, and then I'll tell you what I think, and I'll also tell you about how it happened in the original Final Fantasy VII. Okay? Alright, I guess we're going in. Of course everyone's in here. Every character.
You just sit tight until Andrea takes the stage. Look at his muscles. Aw, he's
Oh my god.
I'm married,
And again,
stupid.
Cloud wants none of this. He's like, come on, what the fuck?
He's just like me, fur. He must be married. That.
Oh my god. Alright, this is way more elaborate than the original game. What the fuck is this? Look at this shit.
He hates this, but he secretly loves it.
Really? Welcome to the Honeybee Inn, Cloud. You seek my approval, do you?
Oh. This is so bad. Paradoxes, what are we even playing anymore? I don't know. I gotta dance. Look at this. A dance challenge.
He's so closeted.
A dance-off challenge.
Like Norm Macdonald. Dude. Get into it, Phil. Come on.
Wow. Oh my god, this is so bad.
Why is it bad?
This is so bad. Wow. Oh my god, it's so bad. Oh my
He loves
Lord.
this shit, dude.
What? Come on. Come
Michael
on.
Jackson.
Yeah. Come on, Cloud. Bust a move. You've got to bust a move now. Oh my god. Cloud, bust a move. It's just so fucking ludicrous.
Luda.
This is in the game. Why?
He doesn't even know what to say. He's so starstruck.
You know, to be this synchronized, they sure look like they've been practicing. I'm just saying. There's been some stuff going on behind the scenes we're not aware of here. I think Cloud's been here before. Fucking gay. It's so bad. Oh, I fucked it up. It was off camera, so I missed it. Some of them were tough because they're close.
Come on, when does he dress up, dude? It's coming up. Here he comes.
I missed one. Yep. 27, great. Missed one. Oh my god.
Into a vision of beauty.
Oh my god. Servant of Future said it's Cloudy Spears.
What? Here he
Shadow
comes.
the Hedgehog did a 500-bit cheer. Said this gets me into when you want to watch the movie Cats. Yeah, I think this whole thing was choreographed by the people who made
This is his least favorite part of the game, and
Now, here
partially
comes the
why
best
he
part of
hates
the
it.
game by far, right now.
Here you go, listen.
The people who made Cats, actually. Now here comes the best part of the game by far, right now. If you're playing Final Fantasy, this is what you were playing it for. Right now, this moment. Here we go. Oh, fabulous.
What?
Oh, yes.
The gay voice?
Oh, yeah.
What? He pulls out the gay voice in 2020? What the fuck? He's changed.
Right. Why is she so excited? You were born for this. Oh my
Proud
God.
ally.
The pedestal is lifting. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Dancing Queen Trophy. Dancing Queen. Time for more dancing.
He can't look away. His eyes are glued to the screen.
Wow.
Whoa, dude, he's fucking loving it.
True beauty is an expression of the heart. A thing without shame, to which notions of gender don't apply. Don't ever be afraid to try.
Brunel?
For now?
Dude, fellow tractor, thank you so much.
Final Fantasy, everybody! Final Fantasy! Grandiose fantasy on a higher level. It's so fun.
I can dance too.
I'm married, stupid.
Did you drink tonight? I can't help it. It was amazing.
Wait, what's going on? Oh, I'm controlling Aaron. I didn't even know.
Probably not. Did you see their look of surprise?
What am I doing? Hold on a second.
What do I do?
Forward. Beast bought to me $1 says that's definitely better than the original, right? Oh, it's superb, spectacular, amazing. Again,
So this is him not knowing what to say, so he just pulls out the sarcasm.
I'm not saying nothing until the segment's over because we're still in the midst of the segment.
I'm not gonna say nothing until it's over.
Wow. Now I'm Cloud.
Watch the way you walk.
Talk to Chadley. Oh, I passed him. Why does Chadley say something?
So I can realize how lucky I am.
You know.
Oh my god.
Who is she? I need to learn everything about her.
Forgive me, miss, but the way you're staring at me is rather... Oh goodness! I'm experiencing an emotional response.
I never believed it. But love at first sight.
He's experiencing an emotional response.
It gets better, guys. It gets better. Just wait.
Ugh.
Dude, he hates this, but he loves it
It's gonna be
secretly.
so exciting. I
How
seriously just can't wait for
exciting.
this to be over so we get back to the normal game. It's such a fucking weird, like 3 to 4 hours of the game.
It's weird because you cross-dress, dude.
What the hell's this music now? Now it sounds like fucking Kill Bill.
Beautiful ladies, time to line up for the dawn.
Dude, it sounds just like the
Uh-oh,
soundtrack of Kill Bill.
Tifa. He's married, dude. He can't see that. Dude, that part in Rebirth's gonna kill him. You're right.
Jesus Christ,
Chat
look at
poster.
this guy.
Very nice.
His eyes will be everywhere except the screen when Tifa comes up, when he's at the beach part. In the new game.
Shall I pick you?
Disgusting freak. Lech, gross motherfucker.
Just like me, fur.
No! First he picks Cloud.
See him.
God! Roundhouse kick.
Come on, comment about Cloud some more, please.
Steel chair. Steel chair shot.
Would you prefer Aerith or Tifa? Someone just asked him that.
Look at that.
Will he not answer it?
Giant chunk of damage.
I bet he won't answer it.
Look here. Look, listen.
What?
I'm married, stupid.
Jesus Christ.
This guy totally doesn't get it. He's so stupid. Duh, he's like, he's a guy. He's a guy.
So you're a man, huh? What are you three up to?
We'll ask the question. Asking about Avalanche. Spill the beans. Or...
Just start punching his nuts.
Punching his nuts?
I'll talk.
Paid by who?
I can't tell you that. They'd hunt me down like a dog.
Well, you better. Because if you don't...
He keeps looking at the camera.
I'll rip them off.
Nah.
That's a good nut.
Nah.
Dude, remember how much he used to goat laugh back then? That was insane.
Or I'll smash
Nah. Tuh. Tuh. Duh.
Oh, I think we're done. I think that's the end of the segment.
Oh, he's done.
So, in reality, that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, although that was pretty ridiculously cringe.
It was cringe.
So, actually, my issue with the
Let's
original
see.
Final Fantasy VII is that it's actually even worse than that. It
It's
actually
worse.
is. Like, I'll tell you in a minute once we get past this cutscene.
No, tell me now. Tell me now, please.
Jeez. Luna took $2 said he thought the segment was awesome. Well, thank you for the $2 tip.
Well, you're wrong, idiot.
That makes one of us.
That makes one of us.
Chapter 10, Rough Waters. We
Oh, I
did
can't
it.
wait for that
We got out
beach
of
part.
Chapter 9, we survived.
Okay, can you tell us why cross-dressing is bad?
Sewer.
Mega
Alright,
triggered rant inbound. You may want to skip ahead if you don't want to watch DSP unveil childhood trauma from playing Final Fantasy VII.
We continue.
Okay, here we go. This is it. This is the rant he went on.
Allow me to explain my issue with Wall Market in the original Final Fantasy VII. And also, allow me to explain why I was dreading this part coming up. I mean, I still hated it. I thought it was really fucking annoying. I actually think it's worse than the original Final Fantasy VII, alright? So in the original Final Fantasy VII, the entire segment is treated as like a big running, like, sexual slash gay slash trans joke. And there's actually another part in there that's even worse than everything we just saw, where Cloud, I guess what it is, if I'm remembering, I could be wrong, but I think it's supposed to be like a massage
Feigning ignorance.
parlor or a sauna. And Cloud is told to go in there, and he goes in there, and it's a bunch of giant muscular dudes who are like nude in Speedos. They're oiled up, and then it just like fades to black, and you don't know what happens. It's implied that something sexual happened between Cloud and these people. Okay? I remember that. And it's like, just think about this. Now, by the way, Wall Market in the original Final Fantasy VII only lasts about half an hour to 45 minutes. Most of what we did in there was added for this version of the game. So, it's just very fucking weird. Because it's like, you go to this place, it's full of crime, debauchery, sexualized content. Naked dudes are basically doing rub downs or sex with you, who knows. Then you got a segment where Cloud and Aerith have to be taken in by Don Corneo, and Cloud cross-dresses, and actually, if I remember correctly, the segment with Don Corneo and Cloud is even longer, where it's like, he's really going on and on about how sexy he thinks Cloud is and all this. It's just really fucking awkward and out of place. And then, yes, the game continues on, you go to the next part. And then after that, literally, not once is it ever spoken of again in the game. It's kind of like, that was a really weird, out-of-place segment for Final Fantasy, and why is it in the game? Now, I have two major reasons I don't like the segment. The first is because it's so out of place for Final Fantasy. Every Final Fantasy up to now, every once in a while there'll be something silly or over the top. But usually it's like, oh, there's an optional NPC in a town that does something silly or something. It's never like, oh, here's a giant segment of the game you're forced to do that has all this sexualized, weird content in it that just seems so bizarre for Final Fantasy.
I thought it was really short.
I would even go as far to say Final Fantasy had always been completely family-friendly up until Final Fantasy VII. Then all of a sudden in Final Fantasy VII, they wedge in this segment of just weird, oddball, sexualized content. And I was just like so confused as a teenager. I'm playing it. I'm like, I wasn't expecting that.
He was confused as a teenager, huh? Interesting.
Want that. I didn't enjoy that. I don't know why that's in my Final Fantasy. Okay? The other thing is, all right, in the modern era, in 2020, right? Today, we're far more accepting of people who aren't just fitting the binary of male, female, straight, homosexual. Now we got, trans and everything, completely accepted. And that's fine. I've said many times, I'm 100% accepting of anyone. Be any gender you want to be, however you identify. I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine. I don't care. I'm not one of those people who gives a shit about other people's personal stuff, okay? But in the original Final Fantasy VII, it treated the whole thing like a joke. Like Cloud's cross-dressing, ha ha ha. It's this Japanese-style like humor where it's like, oh, it's an uncomfortable situation because he's cross-dressing, ha ha ha. He's a male forced to act like a woman, ha ha ha. It's like, I didn't find that funny.
Ha, ha, ha.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure today there might be people who see the situation and they're like, well, there are people who actually identify as a different gender than the one that they were born as. And if they see the game...
Wait, he's trying to, like, make it modern day why he hates it, but you hated it as a kid, though. It confused you. You straight up said it confused you as a teenager.
Big joke?
Huh.
Is it really funny? Because there's real people in real life right now forced in these uncomfortable situations, and let's treat the whole thing as a sexualized joke.
This is really weird.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually surprised that it was put
He's bringing up current day stuff for why he hated it as a kid in the 90s.
The game this way.
Right.
But in reality, I actually think the modernized version...
He was like 16
version
years
handles
old.
it better than the original. The original, like I said,
Some bullshit.
dudes,
I don't know, 13.
Oiled up dudes that are gonna like freaking do something to you, gang.
Hold on.
I actually think the modernized version handles it better than the original. The original, like I said, the dudes, oiled up dudes that are gonna like freaking do something to you, gang bang you, or rub you down against your will, and then it fades to black or whatever. It's like so fucking weird. And like, why is that in the game? That wasn't in it. They took it out. And they turned that segment, that awkward segment, into, it's like an It's a Bomani game where you press button presses, time to the music and stuff. They tried to make it more lighthearted in this version, so I actually think it was kind of handled better. And that Don Corneo scene actually wasn't nearly as disgusting and like lecherous as it is in the original Final Fantasy VII, to my knowledge. Okay? So I think this was handled better. Still, though,
Sure, we'll watch that.
That's so fucking weird. And by the way, like I said, never again in the game will this be mentioned. It's a complete 100% filler. It didn't need to be in the original Final Fantasy VII. It didn't need to be in this one. What it was in the 1990s, this was the first Final Fantasy game to be edgy. They wanted adult content. They wanted to have modernized locations, modernized technology. We have to be like 1990s, so we have to have sex, we have to have gore and violence, and that's how it was in the 90s. Everything went over the top. I was talking about this on my pre-streams recently, how you had like, okay, Street Fighter, great, it's a fighting game. Oh, but now you have to have Mortal Kombat, where the women are half naked and the dudes are ripping each other's arms off.
What the fuck is he going on about right now?
Right? That's how the 1990s was, where I had to take everything and go the extra step to make it edgy or extreme to try to get that teen viewership or that teen demographic.
Wait,
and
what?
I think
you said that you done this before.
that whole segment of the game was literally put into the game so that teenagers would talk to each other and be like, did you hear about that segment in Final Fantasy VII? Yeah, wait till you get to it, man. It's like, it's stupid.
What is he going on about?
Future Final Fantasy games, that stuff never happens again either. Like, you never have a whole segment dedicated to stupid shit like that.
Stupid shit like that?
So I don't like it. I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to be cringeworthy. I'm actually happy it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be, because in the original there was worse stuff, but I'm just happy we're done with it now, okay? And now we can just say, we'll never talk about it again.
Oh my
We'll
god.
act about like nothing happened, and we'll just continue on with a good game. Because until that point of Wall Market, I liked the game. I've hated all the time in Wall Market, and hopefully now we can continue on with the game and it'll be good again, okay? All right. A couple shout-outs.
Great.
Oh, this is disgusting. All right, I haven't enough of him.
Get him out of here! Get him out of here!
Big ups.
Guy's saying fucking disgusting stuff, so he's banned. Beastbot just gifted a sub to Shadow the Hedgehog. Congratulations, Shadow, and thank you, Beastbot, for the support. All right.
Oh, thank God. It's in
Let
the
us
video.
now
I don't even have to find
move
it.
on, my friends. It was a different time. The 1990s were a different time, okay? Let's see if they're okay.
It was a different time. Oh, okay. Well, I do have to look it up then because it's not DSP's thing. Okay, so now to actually cap off the stream, I guess. Let's look up the original just to get the trilogy done. We're gonna finish off the trilogy of the awkward cross-dressing bath scene. We're gonna get it.
What is going on?
Here it is.
Not really. Not that you care, but you sure know how to make people mad. What?
Huh?
What is going on? I just don't understand this. What was the point of all that?
Here it comes.
I have no idea. A bunch of dialogue that's completely pointless. And now there's no music. The music is glitched. The game glitched! Anyway, we're definitely going to go into the group room. Here we go.
Here we go.
All we have to do is enter this room. Don't make me repeat myself. I want into the group room.
This is the thing that traumatized him as a kid.
I love the group.
It confused him.
Room. It's a very entertaining room. You'll find out why shortly. Because I remember. Get ready.
Get ready.
Please. Oh, yeah. Shall we begin? I guess since you chose this room, that would mean you hate being lonely. Cut the small talk. I don't want to talk right now. You're so moody. Everyone's waiting. What am I doing? Here they come. Here they come. Here comes everyone. Yeah, big beefy man. Ready to slap down some meat. Yeah. Someone named I'm gay, I'm totally gay just hit me $62 and we hit the tip skull for the night. You know, they said nothing. It was just I'm gay, I'm totally gay. That's all they said. They probably just wanted me to say I'm gay, I'm totally gay multiple times during the stream. You know, Drakiri just resub for 4 months and said I'm gay. Congrats. Come on, boys. Let's give them a mustache ride.
What?
What's up? Smile. Yes, this is part of the game. This is ridiculous, I know.
Dude, he's making it some weird, like, sexual thing. He is creating it. And, okay, it blames the game.
Man.
Thank you.
Let me show you something inspiring.
Really, thank you.
$2 from VLX11387, the origin story of Pride Flag Pig.
Well, you know, I'm gay.
Thank you, VLX. This is the thing that confused him as a teenager.
Take a look at this.
The Proud Ally, origin story.
This could be dangerous. Looks like I'm always going to be facing the crises all of my life. Heave and pant. Don't be so embarrassed, boy. Loosen up, buddy. Come on. Let's wash up all our sweat and dirt together. Come on, get in the tub.
What? All right,
Come
boy,
on, meaty
it's
man.
time.
Let's do it. Yeah, come on. Bobby, so you're the intimate type, eh? Yeah. Oh, look at that. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't bathing great? It soothes you. Yeah, how is it, Bubby? Say nothing. I don't feel good. Let me out. You'll get used to it. Try counting to 10. 10 big dicks.
What?
Huh?
Hi, I just want to say thank you for saving me. Well, let me show you how special I think you are.
What? The gay
Saving
voice?
me. Let me show you how special I think you are.
He's changed,
Go
guys.
back to my room, my quarters, my private chambers.
Sponsors the
10, 9. Hey, Bubby,
Like,
how old are
nothing's
you
even
anyway?
happening.
8.
I think the joke is that it's just a small bathtub. It's a funny situation.
21. You're less than half my age. I'm so jealous. How about it? You want to join my young Bubby group? 7, 6. Not to be rude or anything, but could you do someone else? Could you do someone else? Fat, loser, faggot. Well, if that's how you feel, too bad. We have a trip planned to the cabin out in the country. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, that's 10. I'm out of here. Why don't you stick around and play with us a bit? Come on, Bubby. Dad is so lonely.
Daddy's so lonely.
Yes, this is in the fucking game. Now, do you understand why, when this game came out, why I was like, what the fuck is with this game?
Because they're gay.
Jesus.
Nothing like this was ever in Final Fantasy before. All of a sudden, this game has all this weird shit in it. It's like, why is all this sexual content? Why are both...
I don't
Tifa
know.
and
It wasn't
Aerith
that
living
bad,
with
dude.
Cloud?
Come
Why
on.
is Cloud having homosexual bathtub
What?
segments in the game? Why are there all these scantily clad women at the Honeybee Inn? Like, seriously,
What?
I was
It's
playing
a
the game and I'm
fucking
like,
burlesque
this is so weird to me because
thing.
Final
What?
Fantasy had not done anything like this before. And you feel like there's a whole new writing team or something with in the game. And it really, I'll be honest with you, it actually annoyed me.
It annoyed me.
Because I thought Final Fantasy was fucking fantasy. Serious plot lines, heavy shit. And I'm playing the game, and here I am like 4 or 5 hours into the game, and this is what the game is throwing at me. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And this actually is one of the reasons why I thought the game was just way over the top, over-exaggerated with how good it was. Now, the further you play into the game, it gets
So
better.
this is why he thought the game was over-exaggerated? This?
And it doesn't have all this shit.
Now the truth comes out.
Just so odd and weird that these parts are in the game. This entire segment is so off base compared to like the rest of Final Fantasy to me. Anyway, here's a memento of our time together. The bikini briefs. Hope we meet again.
I don't know,
Yeah.
dude. It wasn't that bad.
Another mustache ride.
That, like, traumatized him.
This is some underwear. I'm supposed to wear this? Well, if it's gonna save Tifa, I guess there's
I
no
had
choice.
to do it to them snipe.
Thank you, Wesley H.
$5 from Wesley H. If he did come out, do you think he'd be a better person / content creator,
No.
or is he always gonna be like this?
No. Wesley H, I don't think him coming out of the closet would change anything. I think he would be more annoying. He would feel more untouchable because you can't make fun of him. He would feel that way. He would feel like, you can't make fun of me because I'm gay now. That.
Well, you know, I'm gay.
I don't know. He wouldn't change. He wouldn't change. Thank you, Wesley.
Wasn't that exciting?
Wasn't that exciting? Yeah, it was very exciting.
How
dude.
do you put this on?
Like, that's the part that freaked him out as a kid. As a teenager, it freaked him the fuck out and it caused him to hate the game. Like, bruh, what? That's it? I expected worse, to be honest. Oh, anyways, I guess we're done here. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That was insane. DSP is insane. He is an insane person. That rant earlier about whatever the fuck, the gaming Sony layoff pretending to care about people was wild. I'm glad we saw the trilogy. The trilogy of Final Fantasy VII hate. Just in time for the new remake. Big ups. Big ups to the Tifa scene. You guys know he's gonna hate the Tifa scene. Yeah, he's just gonna hate it. He's gonna look everywhere except the screen. So big ups to Tifa for making a man feel such a good emotion that I have to look away from the screen because I'm married. Big ups. Hey guys, anyways. Yeah, I guess we're done here. See ya, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for just chatting. You guys are funny. And I'll see you next time, brothers. Man, the trilogy of hate for Final Fantasy. It's so ridiculous. I bet you he'll love the new game until he doesn't. Until the money gets low, then he'll hate it. But yeah, pretty much. That's just how it always works, you see? Anyways, that's me. I'm done. Thank you so much, guys. See ya!
Well, you know, I'm gay.
I'm him. I'm really him.
Big boobed women, big juicy butt, blue blocker, a la Bloodborne, a la Final Fantasy. And by the way, Kat agrees with me.
Look at this guy, he looks so depressed. Oh my god, I hate my job so much.
That makes me cringe. Ugh.
My wife. And by the way, Kat agrees with me.
I'm him. I've been him. I will continue to be him.
What was that noise? Uh-oh.
What was that noise?
Young out.